Very unexpected at the time and very good at piloting it as we kick things off here in round 4.
Okay, here we go. So Owen is kicking us off here, and he is playing the Mega Low Pony to Dunsparce EX deck that we were talking about before. So as he plays out his turn, let's have a little rundown. As he is going to start off with a Fan Call, then you search your deck for any 3 colorless Pokemon with 100 hit points or less and pop them in your hand. So Owen's deck is built on that Mega Low Pony EX, has 2 very good attacks. The first one, Gale Frost, 60 damage plus 170, that's right, if you move Mega Lopunny into the active this turn. This means Owen will be playing musical chairs often as he tries to get that Mega Lopunny back into the active. And make no mistake about it, Spiky Hopper is also very good for 160 damage going through all effects of your opponent's Pokemon. We did see Crystal make the finals of Prague. Spiky Hopper says, no, not today, Crystal, to the discard pile you go. So how is Owen Karaman drawing cards and playing musical chairs then? Well, he has the Dunsparce, of course, with that runaway draw ability, letting you shuffle itself away. Does work from the active, and then you draw 3 cards. One more card I want to draw attention to here though, Mike, is that sneaky little Abra that lets you pop it, shuffle it back into the deck if it's in the active spot. Keep an eye on that one.
And what a deck it will be into this particular matchup. The numbers just work out so well. Mega Lopunny hitting for 230, which will knock out pretty much all of Tobias's board, as we haven't teased what he's going to be playing here, but the Cyrano will definitely reveal that. Going to be playing Raging Bolt EX, which has been a deck lots have been looking to play into this Dragapult meta, as it does have a pretty favored matchup there. And it is that combination of Raging Bolt EX with Ogerpon that is able to get so much energy in play and hit for big knockouts. In this particular matchup, that allows you to take those knockouts on a Mega Lopunny. And so Owen will have to be very aware that a one-hit knockout could be coming at any single moment, as the Latias and Raging Bolt EX come down to the field, potentially as the Meowth EX will likely go to hand and use that amazing ability. Definitely one of the MVPs of post-rotation. Meowth EX has been seen in many decks here.
Yeah, probably the best card coming out of perfect order, as we do see the free retreat thanks to Skyliner into that Mega Kangaskhan EX to draw 2 from his ability, Run Errand, Till Dance, drawing 1. And as you did say, Mike, it's going to be a really interesting game because Tobias' list has a lot of tricky cards, you know, Iron Leaves, Persimmon, Lily's Clefairy. He won't be using any of them. He is just going to be announcing Bellowing Thunder as often as possible. So I was going to see the pass over to Owen, who's going to start the turn off with that evolution into the Dunsparce and the runaway draw. Now, bear in mind, I'm going to say you can't promote Bonaria and then evolve into it to get the extra damage. That actually has to be the Mega Lopunny hitting the active there. So we do have to promote the Dunsparce, but I do believe that one has a free retreat cost, doesn't it? Yep. So Gale Frost is still currently live.
And we saw a little tease of the Moltres in the hand, which will allow for an easy knockout on the Ogerpon. Typically, we see Raging Bolt just leaving that Mega Kangaskhan in the active as it can tank most hits, but on this occasion, it's just going to be a free retreat into the Moltres and taking an easy 2-prize knockout with just a 1-prize board state.
Wow, what a strong turn. That's our first prize cards here at the Utrecht Regional Championship from Owen Kammerman with the big uptrade from the Fighting Wings Moltres. It is over to Tobias now, though, who's had enough of that. He's put down that Raging Bolt. He's starting to turn off there with that Run Errand. Now, it won't be too hard to announce Bellowing Thunder for the KO on the Moltres, but then, you know, your opponent's taking 2 prize cards with a 1-prize Pokemon. You're responding. Oh, we are going to see Meowth for that last-ditch catch, and it's going to be for the Crispin, letting you search your deck for any 2 different types of basic energy. Attach 1, and 1 goes to your hand.
And it will be that fighting energy, allowing you to start powering up that Raging Bolt. A very versatile card here, Crispin, as there are a variety of energy types in the deck. You want to be often getting the fighting and the lightning, but sometimes you utilize that second energy as a grass energy to be able to attach to a Teal Mask Ogerpon as the Pheasantipity EX comes down, trying to set up a bit of stability on the board. But it might not be the most ideal of board states for Tobias, as that early knockout puts a lot of pressure on him.
It does. You need to respond, right? And we can definitely respond with attaching the energy here. But, you know, the board is filled with low hit point Pokemon. And you know what Mega Lopunny does, Mike, as we are going to see the Bellowing Thunder for the KO here. Mega Lopunny says, Meowth, discard pile. Pheasantipity, discard pile. Latias, discard pile. Owen Kammerman has a very easy prize map here. Let's see how he can respond.
Playing the 4 bosses orders in the deck, wanting to try and gust those smaller Pokemon on the bench, lower HP, and you see a boss drawn there off of that Dunsparce. We'll now just be looking to try and set up the Mega Lopunny for the attack.
Do we have a way to grab? Oh, we have the Hilda. Oh, and a buddy pop. And Hilda is so good in this deck, Mike, because Hilda letting you search your deck for an evolution Pokemon and an energy. So that can search you the Dunsparce, it can search your Mega Lopunny, it can search you the energy cards that you need as well. As we do see the little flash of the A-Spec there, it was the enriching energy. Not something you see all the time, but a fantastic card in this deck.
And with recent winning decks like Mateusz over in Prague, you might be wondering if the Dunsparce EX is available. It is not in this deck. That would be a great attacker here to knock out the active Raging Bolt, but is not in Owen's list. Oh,
yes, with the Tenacious Tail, yeah. That's a good thing, because the Raging Bolt actually has 240 hit points, and Gale Frost does 230. So that's a rather irritating number there for Owen. So it looks like he can play an Ultra Ball to grab Mega Lopunny, but hasn't got the energy. So he can't play the boss. So it looks like he's going to do the Dunsparce EX here. If I should say a runaway draw. If this finds you energy and the Mega Lopunny, we're laughing. Let's have a look, because then he can play the boss's orders and go around the Raging Bolt. Boss's orders energy, but I don't think we have a way to find the Mega Lopunny.
Yeah, and there's none of those Teal Mask Ogerpons on the bench to try and get an easy KO with the Moltres.
Nope.
So that's going to be the Hilda required here. So running out of draw from the Dunsparce, not able to naturally find the Mega Lopunny and energy together to be able to utilize the boss this turn. And that's been a huge part of this format. Without things like Counter Catcher in format, not many decks playing Prime Catcher, boss's orders is the main form of Gust in every deck. And so when you need to use a Hilda, a Wally's Compassion, a Crispin on Tobias's side, you cannot synergize it with Gust.
No, you would have loved to have so close, but yet so far on this turn. So it looks like the Hilda is going to grab the Mega Lopunny, and it is going to be for that enriching energy, that A-Spec. When you attach it to one of your Pokemon, you draw 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. And the main reason why this is played in the Dunsparce deck is that if you get ahead of yourself on energy attachments, you're going to attach it to a Dunsparce, shuffle it back into your deck, then you can reuse that multiple times, Mike. Absolutely incredible. Here it is going to get attached here, though. That's 4 cards. That finds the Ultra Ball. Would have loved that a bit earlier.
And you can see how many cards this deck draws. The Dunsparce engine in combination with enriching energy, so good, but on this occasion didn't find the combo. And that is one of the weaknesses of some of these draw-based decks, is they need that draw because they need such big combos. Mega Lopunny is there and will be available for an attack. It's just whether leaving it in the active with no energy on Tobias's board is enough to keep it in play and surviving.
Now, I think where these Raging Bolt decks used to have, Professor Sardo and stuff, I think it's going to be a lot harder to get to this, is it 330 hit points Mega Lopunny has? Yeah, it's going to be hard to get there. Now, it's not impossible with enough Teal Dancers and things along those lines. We are going to see Buddy Poffin. But yeah, not super ideal here for Owen, but, we'll be firing off an attack at the very least. I mean, he could leave a 1 prize ring if he really wants to, but...
Yeah, and I think with the board having no energy on, you're confident that you'll be able to hit it. I mean, there's the Glass Trumpet for Tobias, which would be able to get 2 energy at a moment's notice. But on this occasion, it will be that 230 swing into the active Mega Lopunny, efficient attacker, Gale Thrust 60 plus 170. On this occasion, just 10 damage short on the Raging Bolt. And now it's for Tobias to respond.
Here he's trying that Area 0 under depth. It's not actually live yet, but if you have a Terra Pokemon in play, you can have up to 8 bench Pokemon. We will need that. There's a Persimmon, that fighting type attacker. Then you deal with fighting weak Pokemon, which I guess Mega Lopunny actually is. So what's that? How much damage is that one doing again? Is it 20 plus 20 for bench? So 20 times.
20 times for each of your basic Pokemon. So up to 9 basic Pokemon would be possible to take the knockout that way.
Okay.
Does have the Glass Trumpet.
Crispin. Oh, yeah, and Glass Trumpet Energy Switch.
Yeah, there's all sorts of ways.
Tobias is playing a full of 4 copies of Energy Switch, by the way. So he's playing musical chairs of his energy. Wherever you see it attached, it might not stay there for very long. Okay, so can the Persimmon, that coordinated throwing, coordinates that Mega Lopunny into Disc Upper? There is the Glass Trumpet, 1 and 2. Now, bear in mind, they can be energy switched off. Boss's orders, what do we have?
Got the Night Stretcher in there. There is an energy switch or 2, and you've got the
There was a Teal Mask as well. There was a Teal Mask. You can activate your Area 0. There's the energy switch. Oh, little bit of a rapid fire combination, are we then, Tobias? Okay, at this early in the morning, round 3. Okay, 1 errand first, though, drawing 2. Rapid fire combo, 200 damage. Flip a coin until you get tails, 50 for each heads. So, now you mentioned the hand size earlier, Mike. Zerosic Machination. That's going to force Owen to discard till he has 3 cards in his hand.
And I've just realised on the other side, no Terra Pokemon in play, so can't go wide with that Area 0 under depth.
Because concession? That was a concession from Tobias. He wasn't happy with how that game was panning out, so he has wrapped it up there, going to advance. Game 2 here, Tobias will be kicking us off. That is a scary Pokemon to lead in the active. That Wellspring Ogerpon can access your opponent's bench very easy with Torrential Pump. We are going to see the benched Latias EX as well, and we are going to see the pass is over to Owen now. Going second, what can he piece together? Has led one of the best Pokemon you can lead in this format with that Fancool Rotom. Searching the deck, 3 colorless Pokemon, off to the races. And
it works so well with the Baneri. You can see the Dunsparce engine and the Mega Lopunny both working so well with the Fancool, but does have a Buddy Poffin in hand, so we'll be able to fill up the bench here and protect from a complete dismantlement with this Wellspring Mask Ogerpon. One of the scariest cards to be facing down when you have these low HP basic Pokemon, and will be that single energy attachment crisping away from taking the knockout next turn. So Tobias's hand doesn't need much to be mighty effective during next turn.
No, yeah, so the thing is, he only plays 1 copy of Water Energy, does Tobias, but with Crispin, you can just pluck it out exactly when you need it. So it looks like we are going to see that Fancool conclude for Owen, for Baneri ×2, and a Dunsparce. There's a Buddy Poffin as well, basically saying, whoever wants to hit the bench, you're hitting the bench this turn. So Dunsparce, 1 with a free retreat cost, 1 without, and we have the Baneri as well in hand, Baneris, I should say. Wow.
Just everything you need to set up here. And
no supporter though, Mike.
Yeah, we'll be able to draw next turn with those, but for that first turn, you are kind of reliant on seeing cards through things like your supporters in that hand. So by going first, Tobias is in a much stronger spot here.
And if you look at Owen's deck list, you know, 4 Lilies, 4 Hilda, 4 Wallies, 4 Boss's Orders. He is, and then 4 Pokegear results. Does that a miss?
I think that's a miss on the Pokegear there.
Oh, wow. That's just as I was going through the amount of supporters, the Pokegear does fail. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Take any supporter card you find and put it in your hand. Yeah, quite a streamlined deck there for Owen, but no supporters. Well, to support him, you could say, in this turn 1. But they're full bench, though. Who needs a precious trolley, Mike?
Well, there's a concern here for Owen, 100%, that 2 of these really important Pokemon could get taken out next turn.
Which
you know, we've got a Baneri here and here, and if both of those get taken out next turn, then that would be scary. But there's also just the draw engine.
Oh, hold on. Can I just interrupt? We did see the Nighttime Mine get placed there from Owen. Terra Pokemon attack costs 1 colorless more. That makes the Torrential Pump harder without a staging replacement.
Unfortunately for you, Shay, got instantly bumped there by the Area Zero Underdepths from Tobias.
Fair enough.
But it's good that we know that's in the format right now. Nighttime Mine, a card that many people will have not seen before this event, and it's an option that many of our players have chosen to try and counter Dragapult, but it works conveniently here against the Terrors featuring in Raging Bolt.
I thought Owen was quite happy that he found that stadium there, but has 0 uses right now. Well, I guess it forced out. But there we are going to see the Torrential Pump, 120 to the active, 120 to the bench, KO. Double KO, I should say. That's 2 prize cards there from Tobias. Board state looking a little bit anemic, though. Not a lot else going on, but is in the driver's seat.
Was able to take out that energy as a priority, and one of the Dunsparce to reduce the draw, but an Ultra Ball here, getting rid of the Air Balloon and Baneri, start drawing cards, and I think Owen at this stage is quite far behind, and so he'll be relying heavily on these 3 cards he'll draw right now.
Yeah, because we know there's no supporter in hand. This could be a big runaway draw, enriching. Oh, I mean, that's pretty good, to be fair. I mean, it's no supporter, but that is what we need to find. Mega Lopunny and an energy.
From this point, can take a KO next turn with that Mega Lopunny, has the Enriching Energy to draw more, has the Pokegear to potentially get more cards in this hand. So very good draw there from the Dunsparce, and will be going into a very strong turn, and it will rely a lot on Tobias to rebuild after this.
It's definitely forcing Tobias to answer some questions here. Now, I think Owen would love to try and get that Enriching Energy onto a Dunsparce, but I think when you hands like this, you have to just accept it will get attached to Mega Lopunny. But it's fine, though. I mean, yeah, still 4 cards.
And you can see, just thinking through the turn, what else do you want this turn? You found all the things you need to get the knockout you're hoping for.
I guess you could Pokegear first if you really want to try and preserve. We do find a Hilda there and a Wally, so now you can, I guess you can preserve your Enriching Energy now.
Yeah, that's a brilliant...
And find the Dunsparce for your bench one as well.
That's a brilliant decision there. Owen just recognising how important conserving these resources are. You know, the ace spec of choice here, the Enriching Energy, is a one-of in the deck, as all ace specs are, and can be such a vital card in any given situation. And given he doesn't need too much more this turn. We'll just be looking to try and set up a bit more, and that's going to be draw 4 with Enriching Energy.
Wow.
Another Dudunsparce has that Battle Cage just to try and bump the Area 0. But really, at this stage, maybe he wanted to gust down the Latiasi X. Perhaps that was the factor there.
Yeah, I think you might be right, trying to hoping that Pokegear would find the boss's orders. But we are going to see the Hilda being played here, grabbing an Evolution Pokemon and an energy card, any energy card, so I can find special energy as well, of course. But yeah, watching Mega Lopunny deck, honestly, it's so fun to watch, isn't it? Just, there's the stadium replacement, musical chairs, Wallies, supporters, drawing cards. When you watch it here, Mike, you're thinking, how has this deck not had a, you know, a super deep run?
Especially as it seems to have a reasonable matchup into Dragapult, because you have the Wally's Compassion to keep healing away any damage.
Yeah.
And just going to be looking to set up more here, potentially. Maybe trying to get more Dunsparce out onto the bench. But actually, at this stage, this is quite safe from a Wellspring Mask Ogerpon return KO. So if that were to be recovered, but ultimately, for Owen, he's thinking long-term right now. He's not thinking about this current turn. He's got everything he needs for this current turn. He's just thinking about how he can be best positioned if Tobias has a huge pop-off moment after this KO.
Did actually draw a Dunsparce there off that 1-0 draw and an Ultra Ball, so can reload the bench if he wants. We are going to see a free retreat though, thanks to the Air Balloon. Gale Frost, big KO, prizes evened up here in our Swiss Round 4 Game 2 feature match here at the Utrecht Regional Championships. Is over to Tobias with the Latias. We are going to see flip the script Presentipity for a 1-2-3 card draw. He needs to reload and needs to respond now.
See that Lily's Clefairy, not going to be much use as an attacker at this stage. Beowulf as well, missing attackers, and that hand is big, but doesn't have the pieces that Tobias needs at this stage. No energy on board, very little support available. Might even need to just send the Meowth to try and get more cards with the Lilies or something like that. This is really a rebuild moment now for Tobias.
I mean, does have the Iron Leaves in hand, so he can fire that back up. But the problem is of using these two prize attackers is that the Gale Frost just deals with them so effectively. You don't really want to be using them if you can avoid it.
Yeah, the Mega Lopunny EX main downside is it needs to come from the bench for its attack. But in combination with the Dudunsparce, you can very easily retreat into a Dudunsparce and move it back into the active. So the synergy there is definitely apparent. And for Tobias, he's very aware that 230 swings across 2 turns would win the game for Owen. So he needs to find a knockout at this stage.
Try and get a Raging Bolt in the active, or perhaps you need at least force off boss's orders. Has benched a Tilmask Ogerpon. Till Dance, draw 1. Big cards.
Well, what was that one card?
I think it was an Area 0.
I mean,
Glass Trumpet. I mean, that's not actually live right now, unless you bench that Meowth.
There's no energy in the discard pile because Wellspring Mask Ogerpon shuffled them all in. So really not much going on in this hand. Does have an E-switch, which is always useful.
Does have an E-switch, yeah.
Moving energy about in this deck is key. But what's he going to get off of the Meowth here?
Crispin? He's been moving about that Mega Wardino quite a few times. I don't think that's very helpful. That attack is 80 plus 20 for each energy attached to your opponent's active. I don't think that's going to be helping much. Maybe he's consulting a prize card here. It's going to be the Cyrano. Okay, so we can get some EX Pokemon now. Raging Bolt looks like Mega Kangaskhan could be getting eyed up here. Rapid fire combo again. It
might just be put the Mega Kangaskhan in the active, draw some cards, and hope it survives the next turn.
Yep, I mean, that is the hardest Pokemon for Owen to KO. Isn't possible for him to one-hit KO it, so I don't think that's a, what's the word? This isn't a crazy situation for Tobias to hope for here, but doesn't look like we're firing off a meaningful attack, at least at this point, unless the Run Errand draws are, you know, top tier. Let's have a look at them. Run Errand, 1 and 2. Go on, Tobias.
Just more stadiums.
That Area 0 times 2, Mike. Well, we are really in the underdepths right now, then.
Well, there was a chance that he could have drawn towards that Persimmon and found a way to take a big knockout with energy switch, go wide, but on this occasion, just asking too much from that limited board pre-knockout, and Owen will be happy to see the pass back to him.
Owen's turn's going to be rather one-dimensional. He's got 2 things to do this turn, folks at home. Let's go through them. First thing, musical chairs, Mega Lopunny. Get to the bench, back into the active. Second thing, play up boss's orders. All he wants to do this turn is Owen. Let's see if he can pull that off. Starting us off with a Buddy Poffin.
As we mentioned previously, 4 boss's orders in the deck. Such a key card in every one of our post-rotation decks, as there's not many Great Gust options. and does actually have that Abra you mentioned before, a great way to play those musical chairs, as you say, with that teleporter ability.
Yeah, when it's in the active spot, just shuffle it away. So you can just, if you had a switch, for example, get Abra into the active, teleporter, then you can get Mega Lopunny right back into the action. It's like a way of retreating twice, even though you can't retreat twice, of course. Ultra Ball being eyed up. Mega Lopunny, Wally's Compassion. So this, I imagine, will be finding a runaway draw to Dunsparce. And then we can get off to the rail. Moltres looking eyed up here. Maybe Owen's price checking here as well.
Well, that Moltres now live, thanks to the Teal Mask Ogerpon on the bench.
Point.
So various options here, which might also be relying on that Dunsparce again. The Dunsparce in the first turn, attacking turn for Owen, was so key to finding the pieces needed for the knockout.
Really was.
And now it's going to be key once again. Drawing 3 cards is so powerful. And it will reveal some great resources, I'm sure, for Owen.
I mean, there were formats before, Mike, in black and white, where drawing 3, Cherin was the supporter, best supporter in format. And now we have this on an ability that we can do multiple times a turn. But here we go. Runaway draw, 1, 2, and 3. Pokegear, that could find the boss.
Wow.
But still need to get out the active, though. What's on?
Well, can do a attach retreat and maybe reset that way. And thanks to the Abra now being on the bench, that should be good. And you just see how many boss's orders are in that deck. 2 at the front there, and we'll be using that Pokepad to thin. Wanting to thin maximally here is that Pokegear finding a boss's orders at this stage would really put Owen so far ahead against Tobias here.
It would be. Here we go, Ultra Ball being eyed up here. I imagine to be for another, the Dunsparce runaway draw. Can Owen start running away with this game? Here we go. Switching cards would be needed, or an energy attachment, as you say, because then you can pay retreat the 1, get Abra into the active, teleporter, Mega Lopunny back into the active, then that will satisfy Gelfrost. Here's a Pokegear, 2 bosses, or don't even look at the rest of the cards. Lysandre entering the hand, and I will imagine he'll be entering the discard pile relatively quickly.
And that boss's orders can target so many different Pokemon on the bench, can either target Pheasantipity or target that energy on the Ogerpon. Or maybe even the Latias for mobility. So many cards.
Options. There we go. Pay and retreat. Attaching Miss Energy. Pay and retreat. Abra into the active. For now, there's the boss's orders. Who's it going to be? A lot of good options here, Mike. Fez, Latias, Meowth, Teal Mask Ogerpon. Basically everything apart from Raging Bolt.
Just going to be taking the time as it's such a key decision. It will be the Pheasantipity EX with that flip the script, bringing so many decks back into the game when behind. On this occasion, Tobias will not be given that opportunity to draw, and it will be another 2 prizes here for Owen. 230 damage with that Mega Lopunny and a KO, putting him 1 KO away from winning this game.
Massive turn there from Owen. I told you what he needed to do was move Mega Lopunny and play boss's orders. He's on exactly that. Tobias is feeling the pressure here. Currently at 4 prize cards to take. Owen is at 2. What can Tobias do? Let's have a look. What we got here then? It's got to be Raging Bolt, right? Or the Persimmon again. We're in that same scenario as game 1.
The only saving grace for Tobias is there is no future attacker on the bench for Owen, but does have that Moltres that could come in at a moment's notice to knock out the Teal Mask Ogerpon. So some interesting lines here for Tobias to try and take this one-hit knockout on the Mega Lopunny and potentially stabilize the board to protect him from that Moltres.
I mean, that is all he can do at this point. But there's the Area 0 on the deck, which is now live, of course. You can have up to 8 base. Oh, Cypher Maniacs deciphering. Then you look at your deck, put 2 cards you like to the top, shuffle the rest, put them back on top. So basically saying, if you can draw cards via One Errand or Till Dance, you're basically getting the card you want. What could these 2 cards be here, Mike?
Well, it could be, need some energy in play at this stage. Might be able to use that Raging Bolt this turn to take the knockout, and potentially looking to try and bump the Stadium with the Shen Pao to remove those Ogerpons. There's all sorts of lines that could be taken, but actually a bit of disruption could be very powerful at this stage, because that would take away the easy musical chairs, as you called it, for the Mega Lopunny. So Tobias might be recognizing the safe route is disruption at this stage rather than trying to get aggressive.
Yeah, oh no, Meowth has 170 hit points. I was going to say, could you imagine getting KO to the Spiky Hopper with the boss's orders? But the Meowth is 10 hit points away. There is the Cypher Maniac concluding there. Shuffle the rest, and those 2 will go back to the top and run Erwin to immediately draw them. So energy and unfair stamp, not reset stamp, I apologize. Till Dance, draw 1 first. Okay.
Wow, might even be able to attack with the Mega Kangaskhan this turn with that energy switch onto the active.
Does have Crispin in hand as well.
Yeah, might even be looking to go make that bench as wide as possible with Latias.
Oh, here we go, Mike.
There's all sorts of options on the other side of this unfair stamp, but it's asking quite a lot out of 5 cards and no supporter.
It is, and you're really forcing Owen. Owen has to play the musical chairs and play boss's orders. If you're giving him a 3-card hand to start the turn, you're going to make that as hard as possible. There is the unfair stamp, the A-spec from Tobias. Shuffle your hand away. If you play it, you draw 5. Your opponent draws 2. Here we go. This is one of the most popular A-specs here in the format for good reason. This will start making Owen answer some questions here, Mike, and the turn continues for Tobias.
I'm just looking at that clock as well. 23 minutes left.
Yeah.
An early scoop from Tobias to try and maximise his chance to win those last 2 games. A very strong performance from him, even though he's had his back against the wall with how much pressure Owen's been putting on. What are those 5 cards showing? There's energy.
Glass trumpet. Oh, no. I think just a turn. Oh, okay, because we can still turn attach. So rapid fire combo is still live. Just want to quickly say, Owen's hand, there's some bricks right now. They're not good. They were not good. Here we go. Rapid fire combo, then 200 damage, 50 for each head you flip until you get tails. Here we go.
That's 1 head.
That's 250.
And that's going to be a tails.
250. Okay. Could you imagine? Now, that would have been a game swinger right there. For the 350 plus the unfair stamp. Didn't see it quite now. That is over to... Oh, I apologize. They were the Dunsparce. I thought they were just normal Dunsparce. Owen's hand is fire.
Going to be drawing 3 with that runaway draw. Does have the air balloon, so we'll be able to reset the attack. Just now needs the boss's orders to win the game here. Very similar scenario to the last game. Just needs to find a way to reset that Mega Lopunny and find a boss's orders. And there are still 3 remaining.
I think we've got a couple hurdles to jump over here, though, because we need to find the Abra if we're going to try and do the retreat thing again.
Can use the Dunsparce to do that, but it would be risky because you'll be committing all in at that point into that as your retreat back into the Mega Lopunny.
But how would we get the Dunsparce in the active, though?
The air balloon in hand.
Oh, sorry, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm learning as well, folks.
So it's a simple deck, this one, in terms of what's needed each turn, but it's actually quite complicated in how you line up the whole game. You've got a big 3-prize liability in that Mega Lopunny, so recognizing the best way to protect that is there's a poker gear. I think we're going to be seeing a poker gear for boss's orders once again to decide this game. Owen, 2 prize cards left. Needs to find a boss's orders. Will thin his deck first, but this could be the moment right now.
I guess in theory you could also find Wally here, but we haven't got an energy to attack, unfortunately, so that's not ideal. I guess doesn't Wally puts it back into hand?
Yeah, and that'll be draw another 4 as well.
So Wally's is also live. Boss wins the game. Wally's, is also quite good as well.
Yeah, it does help out.
2 big supporters from the Poke Gear. Buddy Poffin. So what Owen's basically doing here is taking as many unuseful cards he wants out of his deck. So basically, any card that's not Boss's Orders or Wally, he wants them out of the deck. So that's why the Pokemon's going to grab that.
And with 4 prize cards on the other side for Tobias, would still need quite a lot.
Yeah.
Would need 2 knockouts following this moment, as the 3 prize cards of Mega Lopunny wouldn't win in the game. No Briar available to try and get a 4 prize turn or anything like that. So Owen at the stage looking for a boss.
Boss's orders! That's the game for Owen, winning 2-0 here in our Swiss round 4 feature match. Runaway.
Jump straight to that table and have a look who we've got.
Yeah, so we have that name right at the top, very top just a moment ago. Flavio on the left-hand side up against Toki Asso on the right-hand side. Both our players currently 4-0. We'll be playing this Swiss round 5, looking to keep that undefeated, maybe just a completely winning record heading into future rounds as well. Trying to get as many points, accumulate as many points as they can to try and hope and go through into the sort of top cuts. Well, at least the first stage, phase 2, and then into the top cuts, I should say.
Already at a phenomenal ranking, both of them, and we've got you at home. We know what you wanted, and we brought the action. We've brought that Team Rocket box, and here we go, straight into the game. Flavio versus Toki.
Yeah, here we go. It's going to kick things off now. It looks like Toki on the right-hand side piloting that Team Rocket that will be going first, kicking us off with that bug-catching set there, looking at the top cards. Finding 2 of grass Pokemon or grass energy. Does find double Spidops there. So we'll just begin trying to set up the board as soon as possible. We'll be going first up against this Dragapult list on the other side of the field, as we do see the Dreepy in the active spot as well. That Mimikyu is going to be something to keep an eye on for sure. But is there anything else from Toki? No, it's just a bug catching set, and it's just that lone Mimikyu in the active spot there as Flavio goes with the energy attachment, and it's a pass back over. It doesn't feel like much is going on here, Amy.
Oh no, that is not great, and that's the downfall of this build of Dragapult. It is the Blaziken build, and sadly, with all of those extra cards, sometimes your consistency is what falters. You've swapped out consistency for power, and it's not paid off in this instance. Hopefully next turn we'll be able to bring forth a bit more of the action. Now luckily for Flavio, Toki is kind of going slower anyway. Like Team Rocket's deck's not commonly attacking on their first turn, going second, and of course we're going straight in with that Lily to get ourselves back up to the mark a little bit here, because we're actually really quite low on basic Pokemon for this deck's beginning. We're going attaching a grass energy onto Team Rocket's Mewtwo, passing back over to Flavio.
Yeah, still not finding any of those Taruntulas, I should say, Team Rocket's Tarantulas, those 50 HP basic Pokemon to try and get into the game. We do get a first recon directive of this tournament here in Utrecht. We do find a Pokepad as well, so it can give us an opportunity to start building up this board, of course. Just we'll need to start heading into more of those Dreepies, really get those recon directives live so that we can actually start getting through the deck, getting to the points where we can get that Blaziken EX as well and start utilizing that fantastic Seething Spirit ability, really start trying to apply a lot of pressure to Toki's side. But at the moment, both our players on a really, really slow start.
Yeah, one more Dreepy is going to help out, but we need to get that engine online. We need to get more draw into play. Getting that attaching of the energy nice and early is fantastic, so I'm rather pleased to see about that. But unfortunately, it's not going to help us much in this turn, so it is a retreat into Budu, our favorite pollinator, to go ahead and itch up the opponent for a moment to allow for no item cards. Attaching a fire energy back onto the Dracloak, and we're itchy pollinating for the start here. No item cards available now, and Toki's hand's looking pretty item heavy right now.
Yeah, as we get a chance to kind of have a little look, what can we work with? Because we are now limited here, as we do get the supporter being played. Does have many cards in hand already, so can only Ariana for 2 additional cards. Does find another Mewtwo EX there.
Oh
but
my
again,
goodness.
just not what you're looking for, and that Budu really sort of inhibiting what Toki is able to do here. Flavio may have found a way into this matchup, does finally find that first piece there. That Torchic does come down, and a Crispin to boot.
The pieces of the puzzle are starting to come together for Flavio, and that's what this deck is all about. You've got that slow early game, the possible inconsistencies, but if your opponent cannot punish that and you get set up, the deck is just quite damning. It's really oppressive and can put so much into play at once. And unfortunately, typically these Team Rocket style decks don't have the HP to support it. So this could be the pivotal turning point where we see the Flavio just explodes with this Blaziken and Dragapult Fury.
Yeah, it's one of those key things here. As we do get the Crispin energy acceleration to that Dracloak, it will just be another Itchy Pollen. Does get another energy onto the Dreepy there. You know, he's not quite happy with this setup for the moment. We're slowing the game down enough where Toki isn't really doing too much. Does get another grass energy attachment. I've never seen more passes before, and this is one of the few things we've seen with Team Rocket decks. Despite having so many good supporters, just sometimes you find yourself in these positions not being able to really get into the game.
The decision there was between Boss and Crispin. It's kind of the continuous setup or the aggression. We went for the Boss, so we can expect that at some point soon we'll be breaking out of this item lock. But for now, we're continuing with it because it's working so well. Why stop until you're entirely ready to rumble? Tarantula finally finds its way onto the bench, and it's another pass with a 50 HP Tarantula on the bench, Alex.
Yeah, something that's really susceptible to a Dragapult's Phantom Dive, and that's what we've just seen from that Recon Directive. Dark Energy hitting the bottom of the deck now. Can start moving into it. We do get the rare candy straight up from into Dreepy as well. So now we keep Recon Directive live. But is this the turn that you want to start firing away against your opponent's Pokemon? It does remove the threats. That Mewtwo, Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX, does find a bit of a harder time to try and start swinging away. As we do get another Buddy popping out for that Torchic as well. We're starting to get real set up here. It's taken a few turns, but it doesn't matter if your opponent hasn't been able to at all.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Once you get rolling, there's just no stopping this Dragapultapalooza. So we need to be able to solidify that opportunity of back-to-back attacks. And that's what we're doing here. We're setting up. We know that there's an unfair stamp as a possibility. And so having the extra around is perfection. And here we go. Straight into the Dragapult for the first aggression of the game.
Yeah, this will be a Phantom Dive to take the knockout, it looks like, on that Mimikyu, putting 3 additional damage counters on that Tarantula right now. And now that Mewtwo is heavily damaged, but items are now once again available. What can we work with from this spot? We do have already that Stadium in play. We do have the evolution up to the Spidops now. But is this too little too late at this point?
You know what? We're lacking that psychic type energy at the moment, which is one of the pitfalls of this deck, is that if you don't get that Team Rocket's energy, you're just not able to get going. So of course we're going for Proton here, and that'll help us to get a little closer to where we want to be in making sure that the board state stays nice and healthy. Just assessing which basic Pokemon we'd like to take and which ones are available right now as well.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a shame we weren't able to utilize that on the first turn, because it is got a unique effect in that it can be utilized if you do go first. But we're just beginning to try and set up the board as well. I mean, that Mewtwo looks like it's likely to just have to go down if we don't have that Rocket's energy in hand already. Just targeting another Team Rocket's Mimikyu, another Tarantula, and then, of course, that Articuno, which has that fantastic ability as well that will help protect some of the shenanigans that Dragapult causes with that Repelling Veil. Prevent all effects of attacks used by your opponent's Pokemon done to your basic Team Rocket's Pokemon. Another way to protect you from those little small Pokemon getting knocked out too easily.
Yeah, the only valid
just drawn into it, Amy.
Just got it from the Team Rocket's factory.
So maybe we could start swinging away, but just chooses to attach it to the bench for the moment. But at least that could have been one way just to start applying some pressure maybe, but it will be a pass over. Back over to Flavio. Sorry, Emmy, didn't mean to interject there.
No, good call. I didn't spot it and you did. That is fair play. It's such a huge moment being able to see that we've got that attack now on the bench coming forth at some point. So now it's just up to Flavio to, again, continue to put that pressure on. We want more Dracloak in play to give us the maximum card draw available in case at some point we do get disrupted.
Absolutely. Here comes first recon directive here. Vezendipity chosen to go to the bottom of that. It looks like a boss's orders has now also once again hit the hand. Second recon directive here. Does have access to both a Munkidori and another Dracloak, but none of them being able to be utilized in this stage. Do we start trying to maybe apply some other pressure with that boss's orders once again? Let's see the decision that Flavio takes. We do have the boss's orders on the other Mewtwo EX there. Remember, Phantom Dive can't be placing damage counters on basic Team Rocket's Pokemon, so all 6 will be hitting that Team Rocket Spidops.
Yeah, Spidops, having evolved, is now more susceptible, but would have been knocked out if it stayed a Tarantula. So this still bought a little more time for Toki, and that's exactly what he needs.
Yeah, so what can Toki in this position work with here? We do have the grass energy to attach to the active. We can start swinging away. It looks like it's just going to be a Team Rocket Mewtwo EX Erasure Ball here, just choosing to discard the 2 from your benched Pokemon here as well to deal an extra 60 more damage for each card you discarded this way. So it will be 280 damage on this Dragapult EX here, really just applying that pressure back on.
It's just not enough, but we will have the opportunity of using Gemstone Mimicry later to maybe mop that up. So the damage being placed right now, although it may not seem substantial, is actually incredibly important for later on. Yeah,
real cute opportunities here as we get the Recon Directive, Rare Candy, potentially going into hand. We haven't seen the Blaziken EX come down yet at all, but hasn't been able to get it into the hand or even evolved up initially to a Combustion, for example, as we do get both Recon Directives now utilized. Lily also hits the hand as well. What is the direction here? There's not really much we can work with. There is the Combustion, in fact. And now we're just likely to just play the Lily's Determination, shuffle your hand in, draw 6 because we have taken a prize so far. Just kind of getting into some more important cards. But at this stage, what more are you looking for? You can take down your opponent's Spidops on the bench as well, and the active Mewtwo EX. And then from that stage, you're only really 2 prizes remaining.
Yeah, the prize race is now starting to heat up as each player has damage on their board, energy aplenty, and now it's just who can land those ferocious hits fast enough. I mean, at the moment, we don't even need the Blaziken necessarily. It'd be nice, but we've managed to manually attach and use Crispin to make plenty of Dragapult action on the board already. And we're going there in. Yep, that will take out the active Team Rocket's Mewtwo and the Team Rocket Spidops on the bench.
Yep, did have 2 damage counters left over after the knockout. We'll be going down to 2 prizes remaining now, but of course those 2 damage counters won't be able to place anywhere else. Here comes the Mimikyu in the active spot. One of those other cute things about it, it does have free retreat.
It does, and that's a lovely Pokemon to always promote. But of course, going for the Team Rocket's energy, we look like we're going for a Mimicry here, but we don't have the Team Rocket's Giovanni, which would have been a... Oh, we do have the Giovanni to be able to put some pressure, maybe after a reset stamp.
Yeah, so an opportunity to look for it at this stage. One of the other cute cards that Toki does have in his list that was in his hand was that Lily's Clefairy EX as well. So if that Dragapult EX was not damaged, could have found a way maybe to just use the Lily's Clefairy EX to actually deal a 1-hit KO and still place the 6 damage counters on Flavio's side of the board.
I misspoke. It's an unfair stamp. It's unfair. Yeah. But it is resetting their hands.
Very true. Very true. So important because you can still play your supporters here.
Yes.
Should you find one. And here we go. There's a Spidops, so we can start building up the board. We get the energy attachment from that Spidops ability as well, charging up, attaching a basic energy card from your discard pile to this Pokemon. It looks like there was a couple of options there. We do have the Transreceiver also in hands. Another unique inclusion just to be able to get that level of consistency because you could just search your deck for a supporter as an item card. This way, I mean, there's a lot of things you could do here. You could start trying to target down other things, but you want to try and utilize that Mimicry to Phantom Dive because you know how strong that attack is.
I imagine we'll be possibly placing some counters to mop up some Pokemon later. Maybe we'll take out the Badoo just to kind of catch up and turn off that potential of item lock later.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those tricky things. He has been eyeing up the Team Rocket's Archer to the active spot. It will just be the Proton instead, being able to search your deck for a trainer card, reveal it, and then put it into your hand. Is one of those that allows you to set up cards like the unfair stamp and just kind of prepare it as well. Does telepath his next turn with that Team Rocket's Giovanni going into hand as well. Another way of gusting up as we do also get the Team Rocket's factory draw.
Oh, another Team Rocket's energy, one of the most important parts of this deck and one of the hardest to get in hand as there's not a lot in format that can search for those. So we've managed to secure that for next turn as well. So an excellent hand crafted. And now it's time for Phantom Dive of Mimikyu.
Yeah, and we're going to keep counting up those Phantom Dives, but there's a massive knockout just from that 60 HP Mimikyu. Gemstone Mimicry, as you called it, Amy. Choose one of your opponent's active Terra Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack. So now you can now use the Phantom Dive's placement of 6 damage counters also coming down to your opponent's side of the board. Looks like it's going to be 4 on that Combustion for the moment, and then 2 more to be placing, just targeting one of those Drakloaks on the bench.
Kind of putting some pressure on, saying if you don't evolve up this Combustion, then I might knock it out next turn. So just again, telepathing what Toki might be able to achieve next turn if Flavio doesn't respect the Phantom Dive that can come back at them. But only if Flavio actually does have another Dragapult in play, because currently we don't.
Yeah, so we're going to be utilizing those Recon Directors to try and find it. Does find himself with a unfair stamp of his own into the hand now. We get the Ultra Ball first. Looks like we're just going to be going a particular direction. Maybe protect that Combustion, which has taken 4 damage counters. That Blaziken EX now of choice. Evolved up and an unfair stamp to send straight back over to Toki after that knockout of the Dragapult EX. Does have access to 1 more Recon Directive, and of course still a supporter for turn because we haven't played that Judge that was in the discard, that was discarded with the Ultra Ball. So let's just see if we can maneuver into a Dragapult EX and really start causing some more shenanigans once again.
Only 2 prize cards remaining to take, but Mewtwo is safe on that bench, so we're okay for a little bit longer.
Does find Night Stretcher and Ultra Ball, so there's a couple of options in terms of what we want to try and cherry pick out. especially knowing that one Dragon Ball is already in the discard pile. And then, of course, that Ultra Ball is in hand to be able to search it out as well. Just trying to decide what to discard here. Ultra Balling away the Lily's Determination and a Dark Energy. Going for that Pheasantipity play just to see some more cards as well. But we already know we have access to Dragon Ball EX because that Night Stretcher is in hand.
It'd be really nice here to be able to remove the Team Rocket's factory and potentially combo that with resets, with Unfair Stamp at some point, because that's going to allow you to kind of put that pressure on and prevent your opponent from drawing more cards. So that might be kind of the aim, is just to thin the deck a little bit more. See more cards is never a bad thing.
Yeah, just kind of getting confirmation whether that active Drac Cloak's Recon Directive was utilized as well. Rare Candy going into hand. Probably not as useful right now. We can just Rare Candy up into that Blaziken EX in hand as well. So we've got multiple Seething Spirit ability Pokemon now available. But there looks like we're just getting a concession there. And it looks like Flavio will be taking this game one just because of the position he's found himself in. Toki unable to really do too much after that Unfair Stamp. And that's going to be Flavio, I believe, taking game one here of this Swiss round 5. And let's just see how both our players are going to be working with the prize as well.
Unfair Stamp in the prize cards. It did make a difference last time.
Yeah, absolutely. That Team Rocket's Archer there. We do get Toki once again opening that Mimikyu in the active spot. Does have the free retreat, does have Trans Receiver, which is a fantastic card in that opening turn. We've already highlighted it. You have now access to the Team Rocket's Proton, and you can start setting up your board.
That's it. And again, we've spoken about how fundamentally cards that break the rules of the game legally. And that's exactly what Proton is doing. You're allowed to play it on your first turn. Going first, you can go ahead and make that board state nice and flush. But first off, we're going to go in with the bug catching set to see if we can thin the deck a little more, maybe get some energy into the mix. And we've done pretty well there.
Yeah, we've got a few different options there. I'm sure it's going to be that grass energy. Yep, get the Spidops going as well, because if we can already start getting some of the little Pokemon out, we can just evolve it into it on the next turn as quickly and as soon as possible. Just kind of eyeing up a few different options there. That Mewtwo EX, we've already seen use that Erasure Ball for massive amounts of damage. There's Tarantula, Mewtwo EX, and that Team Rocket's Articuno coming down as well, knowing that we need to try and just stop those Phantom Dive shenanigans where possible. We already have another Tarantula in hand as well. Energy attachment to the Mewtwo. This is looking vastly better than it did in game one already.
And absolutely...
Lost for words.
I'm lost for words. I really am stunned.
That's exactly what you want.
Such an incredibly different game too already, and we've only just started. It's Flavio's first turn of the game, but we've seen the power that those cards that fundamentally break the rules are. This looks more like a turn 2. Like, this looks like it's not the first turn of Flavio's game here. So he's going to need to put some real pressure on, and the hand is not looking fantastic, Alex.
It's not a pretty hand. That's the only little worry we have right now. We have Crispin. It looks like this is going to be a very awkward angle that Flavio is going to try and take right this moment. He does have Blaziken EX in hand as well, so it looks like it's going to be maybe just kind of charging up this little Torchic on the bench for the moment, but let's get the Psychic Energy to the active for the moment. I guess we could actually even try and take out the Mimikyu with Mind Bend.
Yeah, it does 60. Does 60 damage and confuses, although that Mimikyu will be in the discard pile before it can even think about getting confused. So, yeah, no, that is a valid opportunity at this point, is to kind of buy time that way instead of our traditional Badu route, which we don't really have access to right now. I think that might be it for the turn right now, unless we want to attach another energy. Yeah, we're just going to go for the Mind Bend by the looks of it.
Yeah, I mean, one of those things that he's chosen the Fire Energy rather than the Dark Energy there is because if we get the Fire Energy in the discard, we can try and Seething Spirit it back with that Blaziken EX, as well as we do now get Toki going straight in here. Grass Energy attachment to the active. Spidops evolved up on the bench as well. Does have access to yet another Trans Receiver, so has a plethora of supporters we can work with. Ariana up to 8 cards. Yeah. Because there's already 4. Or was it 3?
I've got Whiplash, Alex. There's so much is going on in Toki's turns. It's a stark opposite of last game, and we've now got, plenty of cards to play with. Multiple Transceivers, Lilies, and of course, a fantastically set up board thus far.
Yeah, there we go. Just a Razor Ball for 160 damage. because you don't have to discard the energies from your bench Pokemon. Just deal the base 160. And what can we work with here? He does have the rare candy Blaziken that I kind of mentioned a little bit earlier. But then from that point on, what else can we work with? Here comes the rare candy. We do get the Blaziken EX now in the active spot. No Dreepies or anything else. Nice stretcher for the Monkey Dory. This is 2 games now where this Dragapult Blaziken has really struggled to actually get going.
But we are making a very good attack. At least we're managing and we're holding on, and that's what we got to do, is just hold on long enough to get set up. So now our Blaziken does have enough to use Smolder Assault for 200 damage. Not quite enough, but still we saw how impactful damage lurking around on the board was last game.
Yeah, it's just back over to Toki now. What can we do from this scenario? Blaziken does have 320 HP, just like that Dragapult EX. So Erasable not going to be able to deal enough damage. Well, even right now, we haven't got the energies on the bench Pokemon, but we do get a Proton being utilized here once again. Just being able to grab any 3 of your Team Rocket's Pokemon, put them into your hand, of course. And now what are we working with? We have an Ultra Ball. So then this is one way to get some energies into the discard pile. Discarding that Shaman, which we know is not useful in this matchup. Or at least that's what he thinks.
And we've got another Spidops on the board now. So Tarantula is now a lot bigger in HP. And we have multiple uses of that charging up ability. We have 1 Grass Energy in the discard pile so far. Another Team Rocket's Energy, which, again, We've seen a few misses of those in the past that have been quite detrimental to people's game plans. So it's nice to see them nice and early. We've got lots of energy on the board, lots of big attackers. We can't one-hit KO Blaziken, so we're going to have to put some work in.
Yep, so we're Eraser Balling here. Just the 1 discard, because we know we can sort of re-energize that back up with charging up on those Spidops. It's going to be that 160 plus 60, or is it plus... It is plus 60, right?
Yeah, 60 for each energy you choose to discard. Yeah. Yes.
Just making sure my map was correct. I was just a little bit worried, as it just looks like now we're going to go into some crazy shenanigans here. Monkey Dory going into the active spot. Did get an energy from a top deck there, so maybe looking to try and just Mind Bend once again. Psychic energy attachment to the active. Can't obviously use Adrenabrain because we don't have the Dark Energy until we had the fantastic ability again. Remember, it doesn't have to be a fire energy. It can be any basic energy card from your discard pile, which is a really cute, unique way of getting your board state set up with energy.
Yeah, Blaziken's a lot more versatile than people originally think. It can take any energy with Seething Spirit, so we can now use Monkey Dory to full effect. We can Mind Bender. We can use our ability as well. We can Adrenabrain some damage across, do 60, and confuse our opponent.
Yeah, so I think there's even an opportunity. I mean, Mewtwo has 280 HP, right? It's already been dealt 200, so you can just move it to the active spot, and then Mind Bend will take the knockout here. Ooh, it will be able to take 2 prizes without Dragapult EX, really setting the tone in this game too, which is not what you'd expected when you don't see any Dreebies.
Oh, I don't like the unfair stamp here. That does feel unfair. Your opponent's already struggling, and putting them down to 2 cards in hand doesn't really feel like it would be a advantageous position, although your opponent hasn't really done a whole lot yet. So I don't know, it's a strange position. They clearly don't have a lot to work with. Do I make it even less? Or
how good are those 2 prize cards you just taken?
Yeah, right?
So this unfair stamp, I think this is where Toki's making that decision right now as well. Is it worth it, or should I just be taking out the Blaziken? Chooses not to play the unfair stamp, and just Lily's determination has taken a prize on that Monkey Dory, which has returned back to the field already. So it's only going to be drawing 6 for the moment here. Just will those 6 cards be useful and in this matchup, in this scenario? I mean, that Monkey Dory is a little bit easier to knock out. Actually, both are, because the Blaziken's already damaged. We've got plenty of grass energies.
I think at this point, you could even consider leaving a single prizer in the active, and you could consider attacking with a Spidops itself and using Rocket Rush. It does 30 times the amount of Team Rocket Pokemon you have in play, and then that'll leave a single prizer in the active. It's an easy knockout on a Monkey Dory. So I think at this point, yeah, it's the angle of I'm not going to be greedy. I'm going to just play to my strengths.
Yeah, I guess just believing that his opponent's 2 prize cards weren't useful enough for me to use the unfair stamp on this turn. So let's just keep applying pressure, take the knockout here. Spidops maneuvering into the active spot there. He's already charged up. Rocket Rush actually taking the knockout here and leaving Flavio with just the Blaziken EX. What can we work with now? With 3 cards from the last turns. We hit Pleasantipity off the top deck. Does this save the game? Buddy Poppin'. And the Dreepy.
And a Dreepy. We're going to be a Dreepy overload at this point. We're going to have plenty of Chicks and Dreepy. So we're going for those Torchic, Dreepy, seeing what's left over, seeing if we can re-stabilize this board state. Flavio still has an opportunity to win this. We are not out of the woods yet.
No, certainly not. I mean, we do start to put some easier targets on the board, say, knowing that that Pheasantipity now is on the board, and we're still only at the Dreepy stages of these Pokemon. You know, we do have rare candies to kind of explode up into certain Pokemon. We do get the energy attachment to the active Blaziken EX as well, so now we can utilize that ability and start swinging away once again with another Smolder Salt. Love that attack name. It's great.
Great name. 10 out of 10 name.
10 out of 10. I'm in. Ultra Ball is being considered here as well. I mean, we just haven't really seen any draw supporters at all. I mean, there's not many. It's just the Lilies and the one-off Judge. But
quite often you can get into those because of your Dracloak.
Yeah, exactly that.
Dracloak, so we're not going to be able to utilize that. Normally you have on-board draw support, just like why decks like Golden Go have been so impactful in the past is that they have that already built in. Of course, we're eyeing up the Meowth now, potentially to get a draw supporter. Meowth EX, one of our saviors in this format for being able to cherry pick something as incredibly important as a supporter.
Yeah, and there we go. There's the last ditch catch ability. Once during a turn when you play this Pokemon from your hand to your bench, you may use this, search your deck for a support card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. You can only use one of them each turn, but generally that's all you really need, as you do get the Lily's Determination instantly played there. Let's shuffle in, be able to draw 6. We've taken 3 prizes after all. We can start up taking the 4th prize, and actually going down to 2 prizes puts you still in a pretty good spot, especially when you have certain ways to just cause chaos in your opponent's side of the field. We do get rare candies, Dragapult also in hand, which is going to need, and Crispin. That next turn is going to be looking pretty good at this moment in time if there's the right energies in the deck as well. So here we go. It's going to be Deceiving Spirit.
We've got a little bit of everything going on. Going to just attach that Darkness Energy so we can go in with the Smolder Salt. Just take a really nice, easy knockout on this Team Rocket Spidops, and he goes down, and we're into Team Rocket's Mimikyu for that easy pivot with the free retreat again.
Yeah, down to 2 prizes. There's 2 prizes still on Toki's side of the board. I mean, a little bit harder to deal one-hit KO on that Mewtwo EX there, but what can we work with from Toki's side? We'll probably just have to go with another single prize attacker, I'm sure. Maybe just to, you know, just only keep a single prize in the active spot. We're already protected from Phantom Dive shenanigans because that Team Rocket's Articuno is there as well. There's charging up to the Spidops. Attachment to the Mewtwo EX here. We're going with a Trans Receiver. We can get whatever supporter we'd like here. Looks like it might be eyeing up that Petrel for the unfair stamp. This is the turn.
Here we go. No, that great hand, Alex. No, it's all going to go away. Keeping that unfair stamp until later, not being greedy and playing it early may have paid off. And, you know, Toki doesn't even know how impactful this is. We know, because my goodness, if he chooses to play it now, it's the perfect opportunity.
Yeah, just eyeing up that Lily's Clefairy as well. Just doesn't want to put himself in a position where the bench and board is not locked out into sort of options in this deck, right? Especially when if you put a Lily's Clefairy onto the board, you know, that your board set is no longer just Rocket's Pokemon, but ignoring that option.
Stamp!
Let's go. 5 cards to the player who plays the card. After shuffling your hand in and you just had a Pokemon knocked out in your opponent's last turn, your opponent gets only 2 draw cards. And especially when your opponent does have Pheasantipity, bear in mind, but you're still trying to slow the game down to a point where Flavio can't play the game. I'm interested to see what Flavio's working with, but it's Toki here in sort of a decent position despite being 2 prizes behind.
Toki's in the driver's seat as we continue of a flurry of cards now entering our hand. We have possibly everything you could ever want. I'm going to be honest, Alex, because we've got a bug catching set that can get us more grass energy or grass type Pokemon. We have a look at the top there. We got the one grass energy. We take it. That's kind of what we were after anyway. It's like the only weakness of this hand. We have the Team Rocket's energy. We have Pokemon. We have Pokemon Search. Or don't we have grass type energy? So actually that's really helping to keep on going. Of course, we're going to go straight back into this Spidops. Of course, Rocket Rush is going to knock out and Blaziken goes down, and we're now evening up that prize race. Does Flavio, after getting stamped, have enough?
Yeah, so it's just going to be that Pheasant Dip. So you flip the script. It looked like that top deck of an energy card. There's not much else at the moment. We do have Pokepad to get Dracloaks out, so we can actually finally see some Recon Directives here, but that's where it's going to be real tricky. Does Recon Directive get enough cards when you need multiple cards for a combo piece here to just try and deal with whatever your opponent is setting up? There's the Dracloak of Evolution on the bench. Recon Directive, just a little cut there from Toki. Keep the game going. How good are these? Night Stretcher and an energy card.
Well, not ideal. We're still lacking any substance of Dragapult here. That's really what we need, is to be putting on some pressure here. We want to be able to deal damage kind of to more than just one Pokemon at this stage to catch up. One Spidops alone isn't going to be enough. We need that extra pressure.
Yep, 16, just over 16 minutes remaining. We do get the Night Stretcher now being played. Just a number of energies are already in the discard pile, usually sort of recycled because of that Blaziken EX ability. Does look like he's going for the other Torchic going onto the board state now as well, despite having a couple of different options on in the hand, I should say. And it's just a pass.
Oh my goodness, this might allow Toki to really pull forward. If we've got a Giovanni and or did we have it?
Is there a transreceiver there? I mean, we would have played it if there was, right? Unfortunately,
not yet. So this might not quite be it. We might be able to kind of set it up for later, but
yeah, just for the moment. I mean, even if you take the prize here, it still feels like you're not in a terrible spot at all. I mean, it just depends on how your opponent can impact your hand, because, you know, your opponent's playing Unfair Stamp, as we do get all the energies attachment now. They're charging up on the second Spidops there, but then also the Rocket's energy on the Mimikyu. We do get Ariana for full 8 cards as well. We have it ready for next turn, Amy, but can Flavio impact what Toki is working with in his hand? He's got plenty of work, and there's a Rocket Rush, taking him down to 1 prize card remaining. What can Flavio work with? Looks like a Pheasant Dipsy. Flip the script as well. Will this change the game in any way?
We have an Ultra Ball. We can make a Dragapult if there's enough energy left in the deck, but we have gone through quite a lot. I imagine this is going to be to check what's left.
What you would really want to try and combo this with is something like that Unfair Stamp. We know he took it off the prizes a little moment earlier as well, but is it enough to be working with? There's the Ultra Ball pitching away that Lily's Clefairy EX as well. What can we sort of...
How much energy is left in the deck, Alex? That's my concern. But we can use a Blaziken. That's the thing. So I think that's what we're going for. And the nice thing about the Blaziken is Mimikyu can't copy its attack. It's not a terrestrialized Pokemon. And so actually that energy attachment then feels lackluster.
Does indeed. Still can be utilized for a Razor Ball discarding, I guess, is one of the other options. So they Recon Direct him into an easy choice of Dragapult EX or Dragapult EX.
I think I'll take Dragapult EX.
Yeah, just I believe so, but it's just...
Lilies. Really grasping at straws, aren't we? Yeah. Really grasping at straws. You've got to not only slow your opponent down, but also put some pressure on, ideally kind of going for that winning turn, and I just don't know if it's going to be possible now. We can't play a boss's orders. Yeah,
no boss's orders, no rare candy into the Blaziken we just took from the Ultra Ball either. Lily 6, is there something we can work with here? No, there is Unfair Stamp, so we can still go into more, but we're really clutching at straws here. But let's see what this Unfair Stamp can do here as well, putting Toki down to 2 cards, and Flavio will be able to draw 5, but supporter has been utilized now.
If Flavio manages to make a Blaziken in this active spot, it could draw out the game a little longer because Toki won't be able to take a one-hit KO without the addition of that Giovanni. So it's really important what Toki takes off here. Doesn't have it yet, but we do have a replacement stadium.
Yeah, there
and
you go.
That's it. Flavio got caught in Spydop's web as Toki takes game 2. I think that's the story, isn't it? So let's see how this is going to mop up. And I'm not loving that unfair stamp of the prices again, but much further up this time.
Yeah, definitely. As we do get a chance now, Flavio will be going first in this game 3 here. So like I said, just under 12 minutes remaining. It's this time going to be that Monkey Dory in the active spot. Ultra Ball pitching away that rare candy and a fire energy. Immediately just try and get the board set up with the right Pokemon so we can get into the Dracloaks, or Dreepies into Dracloaks, I'd say. Eventually get into that Blaziken EX, which we know one of them is prized. And then maybe just try and find a way to close out this game. That Articuno will be doing its utmost to try and prevent any shenanigans, however, as we do get the Dreepy hitting the field alongside that Monkey Dory.
Once again, a slightly slower start, but advantageously for Toki, we do still have draw supporters in the deck. We will be able to get a flurry of basics out. Is that going to be enough? Does Flavio have anything else? No. So for now, we are just passing the turn over to Toki, and we are going to be seeing a lot of basics hit that bench once again.
Yeah, it's going to be all about setting up your turn. On this first turn we have here, that Proton can be utilized, of course. Again, if you were going first, this time Toki is going second, so we'll be able to just utilize it anyway. But it's a great card to have, especially when you're setting up multiple stage 1s. It is kind of interesting in this list that Toki is playing, is that it's not playing the sort of... Oh, he's playing... we have seen a lot of Team Rocket Mewtwo attacks in comparison. Often we like to see, or what we've seen a lot with Team Rocket, is that it's that Spydot's really starting to utilize that single prizer as a main or sort of key attacker here. But it looks like it's the full 3 once again. That Team Rocket's Mimikyu coming down alongside its brethren. And just kind of waiting in the wings to see if a Dragon Ball EX ever rears its head, being able to mimicry.
Absolutely. Being able to copy that attack is so oppressive. The Dragon Ball doesn't like a taste of its own medicine in that respect. So actually it does give us that extra power, and you're putting the threat down. Not only is it a good pivot for when you get knocked out because it's got that free retreat, but also you're able then to put pressure on and say, well, if you do make a Dragon Ball, I can do your attack as well. And I've only got 60 HP. I'm just a little guy.
Absolutely. Lily's determination now. Flavio really needs to hit a few other basics here, or even that Buddy Buddy's Puffin, or just some way to just get an additional sort of board state setup here as we get the 8 cards. What are we working with? Just an Ultra Ball as a way to get more Pokemon out of the field, into the field right now. Not ideal, but I'd rather have that rather than nothing, I suppose. These hands have been always very awkward for Flavio throughout this series so far. Looks like just eyeing up that Torchic, really sort of putting a lot of pressure. But maybe, just for now, let's go Dreepy once again.
I think because we're struggling with card draw at the moment, making as many Dracloak as we can to kind of solidify that is what led us to success in game 1. So we want to try and replicate that again in game 2. This kind of feels like an amalgamation of both of them, where both sides are getting that kind of not bad setup, that good setup at the beginning. And then we'll see how this concludes as both decks playing kind of on what I'd call full power.
Yeah, absolutely. And here comes Toki now. Does have that Team Rocket's Articuno in the active spot. Evolution up to the Spidots. Bug catching set also. Getting a chance to look for some more grass pieces at the same time. Does find 2 grass Pokemon. And Tarantula and another Spidots there. Going to be hitting the hand. Going to be feeling pretty good about that for the moment at least. But what we're going to want to try and do is really start applying pressure. We know time is whittling away. Does need to try and take 6 prizes to be able to win game 3 and actually move themselves into a position of being 5-0 at this tournament here in Utrecht. So let's see what direction we go. And we've got Lily's determination as well. We're going to see another fresh 8 cards. Let's just see how and what we work with. Can we find a way to maneuver into a position where we can actually attack?
we might be able to. The long story short of it is that we need an energy switch, and we need some grass type energy. So we're gonna need something going on a bit, because we don't have any grass type energy in the discard pile right now. So maybe if we ultra ball some away or something, we could get some in. But otherwise, we're looking a little bit low on the ground, and energy is the real kind of oppressor there. It's the one thing we need that we just don't have. Let's see if bug catching second help it can with double the grass type energy. That could be huge.
Yeah, it could be huge, but I'm not too sure I saw an ultra ball in the hand, because that's the only real way that we can pitch away a grass energy to utilize something like the charging up into a energy switch combo. Is it there? I don't think it is. So it's gonna be,
you're right.
Must be an attachment to the active at some stage. We're gonna need to maneuver out of spot. But for the moment, just kind of deciding which way to go about this. Yep, there you go. Energy attachment to the active. Because when we retreat, we can charging it up later. It's just a pass over, giving Flavio an opportunity here to just stabilize a bit further. Top deck's an ultra ball. Couple of key pieces we don't want to be discarding away, though. Badu and a Night Stretcher. We can slow this game down a little bit further.
I like that. We know that that's what brought us to success in game 1, was slowing everything down and then eventually kind of coming out with this Dragon Ball. Or they were considering pitching it away with an Ultra Ball.
Let's get another Dracloak going maybe, but yeah, send away the Dragon Ball. It looks like when we have access to things like Night Stretcher, we're not too concerned about knowing where our Dragon Ball EXs are, especially when we're utilizing the Ultra Ball already. We're going to have a fewer of those. It just looks like it's going to be that Meowth for the last-ditch catch for a Lily's Determination here. You can see some fresher cards being utilized, just going straight to hand, just kind of deciding, deliberating what we do with maybe that dark energy that was in the hand as well. Just kind of deciding. Yeah, I think we're just going to... And just that Stadium's an option as well. Maybe to utilize some of the shenanigans with that Adrenabrain. I believe that was a risky runes.
But not yet. We're going to hold on to our horses and make sure that we're having as many stadium bumps as we can, so that Toki's Team Rocket's factories don't stay in the engine. So let's see if these extra cards from Lily are going to help out and get us towards that early aggression, or whether we're just going to keep building the board. Keep building the board. It's feeling really good now, though, because this hand is spectacular for it. Yeah,
so much better than what he's been working with in previous turns. We do get the second Dracloak now hitting the field, and also a Torchic looks like it's going to be coming down from that poker pad as well. Such a stark difference in terms of some of the hands we've been working with thus far in this series. We do have another Dreepy also available. What are we going to be working from this spot? Just going to be shuffling up, kind of deliberating how we work this hand out, of course. Remember, whenever you use Recon Directive, one card goes to the bottom of the deck, and then one goes into hand. Does finally decide maybe to bench this Dreepy as well, knowing we can maybe find a way into a Rare Candy Dragapult combo. Didn't use the second Recon Directive.
Just decided to pass the turn. Over to Toki. Now we've got a lot more in our path that we can consider here, even maybe targeting down the Dracloak with the one energy on in an attempt to slow Flavio down. Of course, we're going to go ahead and attach for turn the grass energy on Team Rocket's Mewtwo. We now have the retreat cost in for the Team Rocket's Articuno from last turn, so that can just retreat nice and easy. But being considered right now is the Giovanni, which will switch both Pokemon. And we are going for that Dracloak with the energy. I do this loads. Try and make sure that your Dragapult opponents just don't have the energy in deck, so that Crispin becomes a lot harder to utilize. Yeah, choosing not to discard from the Team Rocket's Articuno either. Just, again, keeping the energy on it if it ever gets gusted up or brought back up to the active spot. So we do have another easier retreat as well. Eraser Ball doing plenty of damage here. We have that Monkey Dory back in the active spot as well. Recon Directive being able to pull out another Dracloak, which also utilizes again, does find Rare Candy. Now, do we have anything to be able to Rare Candy straight up into? Rare Candy taken, of course. We do have Blaziken in hand. So here comes the second EX of Flavio's board now. But is that a way to really kind of slow the game down enough? We now have access to things if we have the Fire Energy in the discard pile, which I believe there was. There's a Judge as well. Oh, Judge coming in. Both players shuffle their hand into their deck and draw 4. I think just confirming between both players whether
we can, if I could take it back and play another card first. I think his opponent very graciously saying that you can. There comes the fire energy attachment from the Night Stretcher before the judge is being utilized here now. So as you mentioned, Amy, both players shuffle in and draw 4 cards. One of the few sort of, I guess, hand shuffle disruption cards that we have at the moment in the format. It's just a 1 copy, but sometimes that 1 copy is all that you need.
Sometimes it's enough just to disrupt your opponent down, especially when we're opting for Unfair Stamp as our ace spec. This kind of gives you like a pseudo extra way of making your opponent's hand a little different, maybe a little struggle. But we've managed to get that Pheasantipity as well, going for a flip the script, just draw more cards, see more. And we do have the ability at this point. Now, the energy in the discard pile is kind of an advantage to us thanks to that Blaziken, so we can still go ahead and use that ability this turn. So we might be launching an attack, that Smolder Assault for 200 damage once we've used our ability to grab another energy from that discard pile.
Yeah, who needs to be utilizing Phantom Dive when I've got Smolder Assault in hand? I feel like we've seen more Smolder Assaults than Phantom Dives thus far from our first Dragapult deck of the feature match area. As we do now go back over to Toki, that Mewtwo heavily damaged, 80 HP remaining on it right now. It's not really too much we can work with. We do have an Ultra Ball to discard certain aspects, but it does often favor, like we've seen in Game 1 and Game 2, both the second Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX also hitting the field. We have the Ultra Ball now, and Unfair Stamp just waiting in the wings. So which is the direction that we go here? Because we can deal a lot of damage, but it's not enough, Amy.
The nice thing about the Unfair Stamp here is that we might not be taking a knockout. Might actually just be softening something up. So that might allow us in the future to be able to take that a little further. You won't be allowing your opponent to use Pheasantipity, so their only excess card draw will be those 2 to cloak, other than their draw for turn. They will see more cards that way, but 3 guaranteed off the Pheasantipity is always a nice comeback mechanic, and we're disallowing that at this stage. Taking the Lily's Clefairy, so it might not be a stamp turn this turn. Looks like we're just going to go for the Erasure Ball. We're taking 1 energy off that Articuno, and we're just laying in wait. And it worked so well last game. I really can't blame Toki for that one.
Yep, 220 damage to the active Blaziken EX. 13 seconds remaining on the clock. Looks like we're going to be very unlikely to finish this because, well, Dragapult does usually have ways to take multiple prizes on its turns, but when you're facing up against the Team Rocket's Articuno, that's where it's a bit difficult. I think this is where has just been announced, players just working out between themselves the turn order, as we do get a recon directive now, and we're just going to get the dies just at the top of the cameras there, just to kind of showcase 1 and 3 are on Toki. Flavio will be turn 2 of time. If you are new or have just come into this game, this is game 3 and time has been called, so we get 3 additional turns on top of the turn that it currently is. As we do maneuver now into the Dragapult EX, we know Phantom Dive will only be able to place the 6 damage counters on the Spidops. That's it. Just choose to boss's orders, the bench Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX as well. And there it is. There's the Blaziken ability. Seething Spirit being able to attach the Psychic to the active as well. And now 200 to the active. And it's just got to be 6 on those Spidops.
There's a lot of damage around on Toki's board now. Flavio kind of going for that approach of how many prize cards can I take in one go, because that seems to be our angle here. Not going to be able to potentially take enough within the time limit, but Toki, depending on if they can get this Mewtwo out of the active and maybe for a Mimikyu play, might work out, but is looking a little sticky on both sides.
Yeah, this is just going to be a attachment and a pass over to Flavio there. So this will be turn 2. So Flavio's final turn of this Swiss round 5. Is there anything that we can do? I mean, we have 2 heavily damaged Mewtwo EXs on the board state right now. We only have access to 1 Monkey Dory on the board as well. So that could have been one way to just try and take out both Mewtwo's, but there's the handshake, Amy. It will just be a tie, I believe, here in Swiss round 5. It does mean both
pre-rotation, so it'll be interesting to see whether he's moved away from Dragapult or is going to carry on that experience here into a Dragapult dominating format.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. It's going to be a very interesting one. Swiss round 6, both players on that perfect 6-0 record, but both want to turn that 5-0 to a 6-0. Let's consult prize cards there for Bert, Meowth, and then for Oscar Meowth as well. A couple copies of Dragapult in those prizes as well. 3 copies of Hilda, actually.
Wow.
Only has 1 to play with there, Bert, for the rest of this game. But here we go. There's our fist bump. Our Swiss round 6 feature match is getting started here. Oscar kicking us off.
And you might be teased by those prize cards thinking this is Dragapult versus Dragapult, but that's Staryu kicking things off for Bert, who'll be going second. Meanwhile, Oscar kicking things straight off with a Buddy Buddy Poffin.
Buddy Poffin, as he is going to set up his Dragapult EX archetype, trying to get those Dreepy down so they can evolve into that fantastic draw power, Mike, that is Dracloak.
Recon Directive, looking at those top 2 cards of the deck, allowing you to see so many cards and choose the best ones, making your hand stronger and stronger, but it is the top of that evolution line that's so powerful.
Yeah, that Dragapult EX, Mike, has the most scariest attack in the game. Phantom Dive, batten down your windows. Don't let Dragapult EX in, because not only will he deal 200 damage to your opponent's active, he will also sprinkle
6 damage counters to the bench. And I think you can see the early Dreepies going down. You'll be wondering what other part of Oscar's deck there is, and it is going to be the Dunsparce, which we mentioned previously. Very powerful draw engine, and will make this deck oh so strong. But Bert is the one with the interesting archetype here. We've got so many questions how this will work.
Yep.
Is that Staryu with the Mega Starmie EX? How these two will synergize together will be interesting to see. I
think bench damage is the obvious synergy between the two, Mike, because as we do see a Lily Determination being played there for Bert to have a fresh hand of 8 trading cards. That Mega Starmie is very similar in a lot of ways actually to Dragapult EX, with that Jetting Blow attack. It deals 120 damage to the active and then 50 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon for 1 energy on the stage 1. So you can sort of see where Bert's deck's trying to go. We're really hitting the active, we're really hitting the bench, and you've got Dragapult EX there for that mid to late game.
And with Mega Starmie being the 2nd most popular archetype at this event, combining the number 1 with the number 2 has created this interesting amalgamation of 2 powerful attackers. One that is better in the early stages and one that is better in the late stages. And maybe those numbers really do line up. 120 from the Mega Starmie with the 200 of the Dragapult. Start seeing that 320 mark that's very powerful.
I wonder if we can have a little insight here, Mike, into why Bert has picked this deck. What got in the finals of Prague?
That was a Dragapult.
So do you have, and the Crystal, right? And
yeah,
the Crystal, yeah. So I wonder if Bert's thinking, well, I really want to play Dragapult, but I'll kind of want to have a game plan against the Crystal as well. Because bear in mind, Mega Starmie's 2nd attack, Nebula Beam, 210 damage, and goes through all effects on your opponent's Pokemon. So I wonder if that's some of the reasoning there.
Yeah, and both of these players opting to have an out to Crystal because it's one of those decks you do not want to lose to. For Oscar has the Dunsparce EX, and so they are opting for these partners to Dragapult that have good matchups where Dragapult might not. And recognizing item lock on both sides, they've preemptively got Dracloaks into the hand, which is a great recognition of what might be available to the opponent. You know, at this stage, there is unknown factors as to what be coming out from either side. And for Bert, we'll just be setting up, well, 2 Staryu, 2 Dreepy, and ready to get going next turn. What can Oscar do to set up the board and start swinging the other way?
Yeah, interesting decision-making. You both say both players preemptively getting Dracloak down, but they're not to know that both players actually don't play Budu, so there will be no itchy pollen. Anyone who is, you know, has allergies, you're safe in this round, that's for sure. We are going to kick the turn off there for Oscar with the Recon Directive. Wonder what he's going for.
And this is the key to this deck, is every decision off of a Recon Directive adds up. If you make the right decision now, it'll make every subsequent Recon Directive that bit more important. It kind of reminds me of Lost Box of old with the flower selecting. Any of these kinds of decks that have quite consistent draw throughout the game, but lots of decisions. That's why these top players are opting for that Dracloak engine, as it definitely gives them that advantage.
Yeah, so it lets you manipulate the bottom of your deck. Then if you don't manipulate it via deck search, the bottom cards will stay like that. So it reminds me of the Iono times as well. We are going to see a turn attachment to the bench Dracloak, so we aren't going to see any Mind Bend shenanigans, but we are going to see a Lily's Determination.
The supporter of choice for pretty much every deck in our format. as it allows you to see so many cards in the early stages. Shuffle your hand into your deck and draw 8 cards if you've not taken a prize card. Otherwise, you'll be drawing 6 if you have. And so early on is one of the most powerful supporters we've ever had in the Pokemon TCG in terms of setting up. And we'll see what is in that hand for Oscar, looking to try and get another Dracloak going. And I saw a poker pad there, as well as that A-Spec of choice, the Unfair Stamp.
Yeah, that will be interesting as we do see the second Dracloak being involved into there and the use of Recon Directive, because with the Lily's Determination being played and the turn attachment to the bench, we know that the Staryu is going to be safe. That means we could be seeing a Jetting Blow next turn from Mega Starmie. So Oscar's saying, well, if you do that, I could immediately reset your hand down to 2.
Exactly, and the A-Spec of choice on the other side for Burt is that Legacy Energy, so a unique choice here. Makes a lot of sense, trying to make that Mega Starmie less of a liability, and it will be that Budu
he does
coming
play
down.
a Budu. Sorry, I didn't catch that on the deck list. Apologies, that's my bad, viewers. There is a Budu there. Itchy Pollen going to start having his mitts all over this game.
Yeah,
and that would be terrifying. Imagine if you could weave in the Unfair Stamp with a Budu as well.
Yeah, it would be scary, and having that Monkey Dory in play will be something that will be a key factor in this match. As
here we go.
The item lock kicks off. Itchy Pollen from the Budu, and what a nuisance it's been across the format, and what a partner Dragapult is for it. But really now, it's what can you do, but do you have the ability to get that Mega Starmie going and start applying pressure?
I've got a question. I've got an answer to that question. I think I saw a Mega Starmie and a Hilda in the hand. So Hilda comes in, go grab you. Already has the energy, so I think doesn't even need to play the Hilda. I think can fire it off. There is that Hilda letting you grab an Evolution Pokemon and an energy.
Maybe for that Dracloak at this stage, just
potentially
stabilize the board and energy for the Dragapult. But yeah, Mega Starmie, a unique attacker in the format right now. I think a lot of people thought it wasn't powerful enough to keep up with the format, but it seems to be rising to the top. And it is just thanks to that simplicity of just one energy attack, the bulk of the 330 HP, and how easy it is to get going in these early stages, dismantling boards which are aiming to be slow, like we typically see out of Dragapult.
The only problem with this Jetting Blow is, though, you're dealing 120 damage to the active, that's great, and you can put 50 in one of your opponent's Pokemon, but with a Budu in the active, you're kind of wasting that damage into the active, and then 3 damage can come bouncing back with Monkey Dory at some point, so not the most efficient uses here.
Will be that scary A-Spec that everyone's scared to take the first knockout thanks to. You know, this is why Budu is so powerful right now, because it denies your opponent's setup, and if they choose to take it out, they will just be finding themselves in an Unfair Stamp position, and it looks like that's going to be what happens here for Burt.
Here we go, the big Jetting Blow, 120 damage into the active, 50 damage, I should say, on one of the bench Pokemon. That means Monkey Dory will start this turn off with 6 damage counters on as our first prize card taken here in our Swiss Round 6 feature match. Back over to Oscar.
And those Dracloaks looking in great range of a Dragapult plus Monkey Dory damage movement. So really looking to find those key pieces now. Oscar opting to draw before the Unfair Stamp. Really wants to find that combo first to know what's the best option.
What have we got in that hand? We got an Ultra Ball, right? Do we have Psychic Energy? We've got Dragapult. Oh, wow, we've got quite a lot, actually. We only need to find the Psychic Energy here, Mike, to start firing off Phantom Dive.
I guess worried about attaching the Dark Energy before the Unfair Stamp in case the missing of energy happens the other side, and will be evolving. I guess it could also just be to get that Dracloak usage before the Unfair Stamp.
For sure. I don't mind that. Getting use in before you evolve. We're going to see an Ultra Ball. Looks like being debated here. We've got the Pheasant Dipty down already, so this... Well, how much hit points does Dunsparce have? It's 70, so that is safe from Jetting Blow, so you could start trying to get one of those down.
Oh, it's just whether
boss's orders.
Oh, wow. So a boss onto the Dracloak will mean Crispin's not available, but we'll be able to take away some of that draw for Burt. So Burt will only get 2 cards here and only have 1 Dracloak on board, assuming Oscar is able to find the Psychic Energy the other side of this Unfair Stamp. Yeah,
it does still have Flip the Script available and a Recon Directive, but you're right. Otherwise, we could still get the KO with a Jet Headbutt plus Monkey... Well, we need the Dark Energy for that as well, actually. So, yeah, it's going to be a big few cards there. Do we see a Psychic Energy? Not yet, Mike.
We'll be able to set up a little bit more with the Buddy Buddy Poffin, and does have that Risky Ruin in hand, but doesn't want to provide damage on board.
Is worth noting, did prize the Psychic Energy has Oscar, so does only have 2 available in the deck, and without Crispin, no way to sort of pluck them out the deck. There is no like energy search or anything like this. Is there a Psychic in the discard pile? Is Night Stretch alive?
There is a Psychic in the discard pile. It wasn't that Monkey Dory at the beginning.
You are correct, yes. So Night Stretcher is live as well. So we have 4 outs in the deck currently then. 2 Night Stretcher and then the 2 copies of Psychic. Let's see if we can find them. Flip the script, Mike.
Draw 3. What will be coming off of those 3 cards?
The Night Stretcher.
That's the Night Stretcher. Drakloak for 2 more.
Here we go. We're cooking now. Oscar is in the kitchen. Pots and pans are out. Heating up here. This is exactly what he is going to be able to remove both Drakloak threats this turn via a combination of Phantom Dive and Monkey Dory as well.
Yeah, just no Dark Energy quite for that Monkey Dory.
Oh, no, I apologise.
Taking out that Drakloak at this stage will be huge.
Really putting the pressure on with that, though.
Will he look to spread the damage or all 6 on 1? That's interesting to see at this stage.
Well, there's the KO on the active. It is going to be all 6 there, Mike, on that bench. Drakloak.
And the Mega Starmie moves up to the active. So early pressure from Bert, punished with the unfair stamp. But now the Legacy Energy in hand for Bert. Where can that be placed to provide some support? Just 2 cards to look at from the onboard draw. Otherwise, it all has to be from that reduced hand size.
There is a world in which you bench that Monkey Dory and attach Legacy Energy to that. You can actually move all 6 of those damage counts off that Drakloak.
And I think that Monkey Dory in range of the jetting blow of the Mega Starmie EX. So great position here for Bert considering.
But is that the wisest use of your A-Spec, though? I mean, it would work, I guess, but... Oh, he has a crisp. Okay, so you don't actually need to connect... what's the word I'm looking for? Commit, there we go, your A-Spec for that play. And you get an extra energy in play by Crispin as well.
I wonder if that will go towards the Drakloak to start building up for the Dragapult. It is, unfortunately, going to be a liability, as 90 HP is in range of the Phantom Dive, 6 damage counters, and 30 for a Monkey Dory. But that's asking a lot of Oscar, because he will be having this Monkey Dory likely taken out at this stage.
Well, you can take the Monkey Dory out just from the Adrenabrain use ×2, right? So then you could just place your 50 somewhere. Let's have a look, see how we work this out. And so we are going to see the turn attachment on the fire. Crispin did get the extra dark in play as well. So we do have Adrenabrain use ×2 here, Mike.
And this is the toughest bit. When you're playing against Dragapult, you accumulate damage on your side of the board, and you do have targets like that Drakloak, which can be important to slow down your opponent. Will give flip the script here to Oscar, so still able to see plenty of resources, but just targeting that draw engine as a key focus.
Yeah, so we did see Jet in below, 120 damage into active, and then the 50 damage to KO the bench. Drakloak is over to Oscar now, starting to turn off with that flip the script. Another Drakloak hits the field.
And that Dark Energy in hand will mean the Drakloak can be targeted for Oscar. So a bit of back and forth here, thanks to those Monkey Dories. Such a key part of these kinds of matchups. It is a battle of who can establish the most Monkey Dories. And at this stage, Bert is winning, but that one on Oscar's side can be utilized this turn.
Yeah, I just kind of worry that, you know, if Bert Drakloak does get KO'd here with a combination of Adrenabrain and Phantom Dive, that he will be left with that Starmie. And I don't think Starmie really wants to get in a slugging match with multiple Dragapult EX, Mark. I don't think it's built for that.
Not at all. Does have the second attack, which catches people off guard, getting a little bit of extra damage. 210 damage thanks to Nebula Beam. And I think that will be in the back of Bert's mind as a way to take out the Dragapult. But it will just be 3 damage moved onto the Drakloak. A boss's orders onto a Monkey Dory.
Ooh, okay. Now, this is interesting, Mark, because it is going to remove the Drakloak from play, but it also removes one Adrenabrain use as well. We did say it's a battle of Adrenabrain, and Oscar's going to even it up.
And it takes damage out of play. There will be no damage left on the board, as the Mega Starmie would sponge a hit, leaving damage for Bert to use. But by taking out the Monkey Dory and the Drakloak, that'll be a clean knockout. And the Dunsparce getting used to draw some cards here.
Yeah, runaway draw, drawing 3 and shuffling itself away. Don't mind that at all. There's the Buddy Pop. I'm going to re-establish a Dunsparce, I would imagine. Double Dunsparce, perhaps. And this is where the strength of this deck lies, when you can sort of have your draw engine, you say, which is set up with multiple one-prize Pokemon.
And I think having the Dunsparce engine, it means those Buddy Poffins are live throughout the game, where typically, after the early stages, they become less and less usable.
So it looks like we are going to see the Phantom Dive combination, 200 damage to the active, 6 damage counters on that bench. Drakloak means that will be a double KO. The old-fashioned way is over to Bert now. What can he do?
You can really see the difference in draw at this stage. Bert not able to see many cards a turn, especially now that Drakloak is gone. And you can see the difference in hand size. Oscar just accumulating resources, giving him the options to dismantle this Mega Starmie's board.
You would love to just Nebula Beam and carry this active, right? That's not an option with no ignition energy in hand, so it will be a jetting blow. Does have boss's orders. Legacy energy is interesting. That will reduce the amount of prize cards Megastormy gives up upon KO from 3 to 2. Boss's orders onto Drakloak, though. That would be a KO, then 50 damage. But remember, Mike, with that Adrenabrain, that's going to bounce straight back.
100%, and everything on Oscar's bench will be safe thanks to no damage left on board.
Yep.
So a KO onto that Drakloak will put 50 somewhere. Where are you going to put it at this stage, Bert?
On the Monkey Dory. So that's one more prize card there for Bert. Back over to Oscar now, who I think is safe to say is in the driver's seat. What do you think he's going to try and pull off here, Mike?
With that legacy energy on the Megastormy, it's not the final 3 prize cards that Oscar needs. He'll have to find prize cards elsewhere, as the active is now effectively a 2-prize Mega Pokemon. And the Flip the Script and the Dudunsparce just providing 6 fresh cards every turn for Oscar. And it really does just allow him to create more and more stability on his board. And you can see here.
Oh, no.
Speaking of stability, why not have another Monkey Dory?
Oh, dear. If Oscar can establish double Monkey Dory, Starmie Jetting Blow essentially reads 120 damage to the active. Because the 50 is just going to come straight back. And if Mega Starmie's did say that, no one will be playing that. I can tell you that for free. But one interesting thing is here, though, is that Bert, with one more energy, can actually KO the Dragapult, right? 120, 210, yeah. So can actually KO that. So does actually start establishing, I was about to say establishing energy on Drakloak, but here immediately comes with a Crispin.
And with that double Monkey Dory on the side of Oscar, Bert's Monkey Dory will be likely the target to remove it from play. And yes, the knockout might come through to take out the Dragapult, but it will just be such a stable board compared. And again, this is that power of the draw engine. We mentioned how important Drakloak is in terms of that recon directive, but add the Dudunsparce and Pheasantipity on top of that, and the cards are flowing. And there we go. 2 Monkey Dory, both with a Darkness Energy attached, will be able to move plenty damage back over to Bert's side.
Just some ultimate monkey madness here in our Swiss round 6 feature match. Oscar been able to manipulate 6 damage counters now. Oh dear, it's just a bit rude, isn't it? I think, all things considered.
And there we go. That's the 3rd prize card. You're asking, where's Oscar going to find it? And it's really looking very positive at this stage. And Bert, after that unfair stamp, has just really struggled to get more established at this stage.
Just debating on what to move damage onto. Yep, that is going to be in range of that Phantom Dive combination. 200 damage it will be into the active, and then 6 damage counters will KO the Monkey Dory. Might go down to 2 prize cards remaining from Oscar and Bert. I think it's safe to say he's on a one-way ticket to Brookington Station right now. What can he draw? Boss's orders.
And that's going to be
it's going to be the concession, Mike.
Scooped in the final moments there. KO these really important support Pokemon. Last time we saw 3 Hilda in the prize for Bert. Not this time, but just a few cards here and there. Nothing too major at this stage. Maybe the Judge on the side of Oscar if that's a way to disrupt, but otherwise pretty safe to say both players are happy with those prize cards.
Double GP could come back to bite Oscar, potentially. We'll see how the game does pan out there. But it is over to Bert. Let's see what is. Open us off there with that Buddy Poffin. Now, this is interesting. We'll get to, because last game he did lead the Starmie. Is he going to, I'm going to say, is this still part of his game plan? But it is, of course.
I think the early aggression from Mega Starmie is often the winning factor for Bert.
Yeah.
But in last game, it punished him as the unfair stamp sent him back to a low hand size. So should that not happen, it does give Bert a lot of early pressure to get ahead.
It's just going to be the Buddy Poppin for Staryu and the GP. Now it is over to Oscar. Let's have a look. GP, Buddy Poppin. That seems good, Mike.
It does. And this will be where those 2 GP prized will be recognised at this first deck search. As you mentioned, quite an important 2 prize cards. It doesn't allow you to go as wide with those Drakloaks. And what we saw last game is both Bert and Oscar were targeting the Drakloaks. And so if you have 2 GP prize, it can be quite hard to establish the 3rd and the 4th, as you'd have to be using those recovery cards like the stretchers, which are in much lower counts now in most decks.
We are going to see Dreepy and the Budu coming down. Worth noting, Oscar does only play 2 copies of Dunsparce, has prized one of those as well. So when you've got Starmie knocking on your bench door, as it were, not being able to have just raw copies of the card can come back to bite you when you're trying to reload attackers. But we are going to see the turn attachment to Monkey Toy will be the Dark Energy as well. And I imagine we'll see the Retreat and then an Itchy Pollen. Oh, does find both his copy of Dreepy. Does Oscar turn 1 though? And then the Pokepad, I imagine, will be for a Dracloak.
Could be. It could also be for the Dunsparce.
Could be.
Depends on how much that rest of that hand it feels is good enough. It looks like it's going to be the Dracloak at this stage. Playing around a potential item lock, as we mentioned. Bert doesn't play a Budu, but this is definitely the format where playing your Pokepads a turn early to get your Dracloaks has been key. There's not much hand disruption, but item lock can often punish you if you don't.
Yep, you really don't want to just be walking into item lock right there. You don't want to do what Bert did and just, you know, dead draw yourself, as it were, on the back of it. Oh, Boss's orders into Dreepy. Oh, that's going to make the jetting blow going to be very hard now. So we are going to see the turn attachment, Retreat, and then the Itchy Pollen.
Has that Dracloak and an Ultra Ball for next turn. And with this item lock, should slow down Bert. Did just have that Dracloak in hand, but the Ultra Ball off the top will no longer be usable.
That Boss's orders. What a hurdle for Bert to jump over immediately here in our Game 2 scenario. It's going to start off, though, with a Lily's Determination and a Dracloak. Now, is there a way? Could find the one-off Air Balloon. That would get you there for a Jetting Blow.
8 cards off this Lily's Determination.
Yeah,
There's a good
and
chance.
Recon Directive as well.
We're in our round 6 here, as these players are 5-0, have earned their spot to be here at the final stages to try and make phase 2. Still plenty more of the tournament to go, but a win here would guarantee them into phase 2. And for Bert, a seasoned player back as far as 2016, where he was in the world's top 8, and is now still a player, local player from Netherlands, looking to try and make a big victory in Utrecht today.
But I think, Mike, as we mentioned, trying to find the Air Balloon, Mega Starmie, basic water energy combination, found 0 pieces of that puzzle, so it will just be a turn attachment and a pass.
And there we go. That is going to give the time for Oscar to set up that first Dracloak. We'll be searching 2 powerful cards here. Oscar just making sure to make the right decision. A small hand size. And with the Ultra Ball in hand, might even be looking at a resource to discard. It's that important, as the Ultra Ball has to discard 2 cards. And what's it going to be? That Buddy Poffin? There's not many targets for that, so we'll just be used to discard with the Ultra Ball.
Yeah, it could be costly. Obviously, there is no Flip the Script live. There is no Dunsparce. There will be no Dunsparce. So this could grab another Dracloak, perhaps. Or it could be going to be for that Meowth, perhaps. That last-ditch catch ability.
Allows you to find a supporter from your deck, introduced in perfect order.
Yeah, perfect card from perfect order for its perfect situation right now. The closed games can find you Boss's Orders. Early game can find you Lily's Determination. If you want to attach energy, it can find you
Crispin. You tested me there, Shane.
Yeah, I was. I didn't throw you an easy one, did I?
And it will be the energy attachment before the Lilies. So the perfect Lilies, no cards in hand. We'll be just seeing a fresh 8 at this stage. And the reason why Meowth fits so well in a lot of the top decks is Ultra Balls are plentiful in the format. Often a 4 count in many decks like Dragapult. So it does give you that opportunity to get yourself in the game should your hands not be as favourable as you want.
Yeah, I think it's a very fair card, right? It has an incredibly high power level with that ability, last ditch catch, and you grab any supporter, but it also has 170 hit points. So a lot of things can just look at it the wrong way and it will get KO. It's a very fair card to have in format. A fantastic bailout option. What has Oscar drawn there from that 8?
Not much, to be honest.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
Buddy Poffin might be able to find that the Dunsparce line and start getting that going, as there was a Dunsparce in hand. One of the Dunsparce's prize, 2 Dreepy prize, so not many targets here, but does have that 1 bench space available, so may as well go fully wide and set things up a little bit stronger.
Yeah, I think I'd like to see the Dunsparce come down here. We saw Oscar use that a lot in the last game, as we do see Dunsparce hitting the bench there. But I think that's going to be pretty much... Yeah, it's going to be the Itchy Pollen. That is over to Bert. Oh, dear.
And that's what Itchy Pollen does. It gives you time. It allows your deck to set up. And as much as we talk about how great Dragapult is, It can take a little while to set up.
I think we could be seeing a Phantom Dive here, though, Mike. Dragapult EX is in hand. Crispin can satisfy the energy cost here. So I think Bert might just catapult himself here to an early Phantom Dive.
And with 2 damage on board and the Monkey Dory with the Dark Energy, that would allow for more to be spread on the bench. But knocking out a Budu with Phantom Dive, not great.
Yeah,
but still is a strong way to get going.
And I guess you could at least reach to that Dreepy on the bench and KO that. Yeah, because you can't play Crispin and Bossasaurus in the same turn. Ooh, went over for a Dark Energy instead. Is Psychic in hand? Have I missed something? I'm sure Dragapult is in hand, right?
Potentially a Psychic in hand. Maybe it has a Monkey Dory to try and set that up.
Maybe.
Taking it slow. Maybe just a Jet Headbutt into the Budu.
Could be, could be. We are going to see the Crispin energy attached to the active and then into the Draclo. Does find the Psychic energy. So that'd be quite telling. Is there one in hand? There was one in hand the entire time.
Yeah, not the best 2 cards to see off of Draclo because access to both of them wasn't really needed at this stage, but at least accumulating resources this time round, very different to the end game of the last, as we'll see, that evolution into the Dragapult EX, the Psychic Energy, and potentially a Phantom Dive turn here to disrupt the board. What bench targets are there for you? What are you going to put behind that Dragapult to set up for the future? It looks like there's no Dreepy available.
There is the Adrenabrain. Only going to move 1. Oh, it does need to move 1. It's just going to be the KO on the Phantom Dive on the Dreepy on the bench. 200 damage into the active. Now, this was the turn where Oscar slammed the door shut on Bert with that unfair stamp. Is it available this turn? Let's find out.
Well, that hand after the Lilies wasn't so strong on this occasion. So we'll be looking to find some more resources here. Has a bit of draw with that Dracloak and the Dunsparce. Runaway draw allowing him to see 3 cards and shuffle that Pokemon back in.
Okay. Does have a Fire Energy, but hasn't got the Dragapult EX. Hasn't got Pheasantipity. So we'll have to use that runaway draw if he wants to draw other cards this turn.
I think what's been interesting in this match so far is both players have Risky Ruin as their stadium of choice, but neither of them looking to play it down. Worried about setting damage up on their own side that they can't deal with. It will be a perfectly timed card, one where that damage is important. Otherwise, it's being held to avoid the negative effects to one's own side. As the Crispin comes through, fire to the active and the Dark, probably for that Monkey Dory on the bench. No damage to play with, so maybe this is that time where Risky Ruin might come in.
Yep, definitely could. But it's going to be a big runaway draw, though, here, Mike. I mean, the turn is... There's a lot going on. Could play a boss order to be a little bit disruptive. But here is the runaway draw then. Dragapult EX. No. Oh, wait, no, it is.
There we go.
Wow, that's what we needed. Runaway draw.
And the Pheasantipity EX. Maybe avoiding putting that down thanks to Meowth already on the bench. But, yeah, we'll be able to set up an attack this turn.
Here we go. Oscar was back against the wall a little bit here, but I think has at least navigated out to where we can at least announce Phantom Dive. Can use Pheasantipity as well, of course.
Ooh, some good cards there.
Yeah.
There's the Poker Pad and the Buddy Buddy.
So you can re-establish that Dunsparce if he likes. Is going to be the Dragapult EX hitting the field there for Oscar. The Dragapult versus Dragapult match here. The face-off. There is the Dark Energy attached. Adrenabrain is live as well for Oscar.
I wonder how much of Oscar only putting 2 Dreepy down was a clue to Bert that he had 2 Dreepy prized, as Bert did target that particular line last time, has now not got a backup Dreepy. So this puts him in quite a vulnerable position should this active Dragapult EX get taken down across 2 turns. But to be the first one attacking in the Dragapult EX mirror match can put you in a strong position as it creates that 2-hit knockout. And with neither side having a backup Dreepy built up, it can be locked out with the secondary effect of Phantom Dive thanks to the Monkey Dory.
Yeah, I guess Bert's plan there, as you do say, to try and get around the 2-hit war, is that he could Phantom Dive into the active and then use Mega Starmie's second attack, Nebula Beam. Is it Nebula Beam the second attack? Yeah, Nebula Beam to pick up the KO. That would require finding the ignition energy. You did mention Risky Ruins there, Mike. There it is.
Just getting enough damage to move across to be able to take out a Staryu at this stage.
Oh, no.
And that is just in range now with 50 HP left. So we'll be able to pick up a knockout at this stage. And that knows there's no unfair stamp on the other side as the Legacy Energy was revealed last game. And so can confidently take knockouts at this stage. I'm assuming it's going to have to be that Staryu, right?
I think you wouldn't move the damage over there. Let's have a look. It's going to be... Oh, okay.
I guess spreading that damage out, knowing that it sets up an ultimatum for Bert where he has to move it off the monkey or off the star U.
Yeah, good point, good point. So we are going to see the Phantom Dive concluding. That is over to Bert now. The top deck Legacy Energies of Ultra Ball available. Yeah, interesting few turns here for Bert, though, to navigate out of here.
And you've got to imagine Bert came into this event choosing the Mega Starmie combination because it has a better matchup into the Dragapult in some way. You know, that is the main reason why Mega Starmie has been popular at these events, is it has a strong matchup into Dragapult as well as some of Dragapult's main rivals. And so we'll be looking to execute that here on the bench, maybe get a Mega Starmie going at this stage thanks to that Ultra Ball.
He's going to go for a Monkey Dory, it's looking like. Really valuing her Adrenabrain. There's another Ultra Ball in hand for what it's worth. Also a Night Stretcher. There is not a Mega Starmie in this card pile, though. There is a Dracloak. Not super helpful. Oh, and a Risky Ruins activation as well, of course.
Can't be bumped as they both play the same stadium.
Yep, so that is going to be in play for the rest of the game now. No ifs, ands, and buts about it.
And with this Dark Energy, we'll be able to move quite a lot of damage over, potentially taking out the Monkey Dory on Oscar's side with the Dark Energy.
Yeah, you could do that. There's a lot of options. I think that's why Bert's just trying to debate those options. Like, a second Ultra Ball is going to be played here. You have to imagine this has to be for the Mega Starmie now, right?
And we alluded to at the beginning of this match that Mega Starmie's damage output of 120 matches up very nicely with the 200 damage output of Phantom Dive, adding up to that perfect 320 that is required to knock out a Dragapult EX. Jetting Blow might not seem like much, but 120 to the active, 50 to the bench for one water energy is actually a very efficient attack and has provided a lot of early pressure for Bert throughout the tournament.
Yeah, super efficient, right? Has access to the bench as well. Decent damage into the active. Mega Starmie is going to evolve on the damaged one, it's looking like. So that's 210 hit points. So Legacy, no, it's going to be Dark Energy developed. So now 6 damage counters can be moved from Bert's bench Monkey Dory or active Dragapult.
And he's going to be thinking about the 4 prize cards left. How can he map that out? And with Meowth EX on the bench, as well as that Pheasantipity EX, we'll be thinking about how he can take those out, as well as what's on the board. Has a boss's orders in hand, so might look to do a combination like Pheasantipity EX plus Dunsparce KO, which looks like it's going to be that here. And moving the damage onto the active and that Dunsparce would take out the draw engine here for Oscar, hopefully stalling him in this position.
Yeah, so there's going to be Adrenabrain into the active, bringing it in line. Adrenabrain on the bench to Dunsparce. That's going to be a big, the bad, the scary 3 prize turn for Bert.
1 prize card left for Bert. We'll just have to try and find that over the next few turns. For Oscar, we'll be able to take away this main attacker, but can he hold off Bert taking a final prize card in this stage? And no damage left on board as well is key. Oscar has nothing to play with unless he puts a Pokemon in play. And in that sense, he is quite limited. As there are 2 Dreepy in the prizes and a Dunsparce. Otherwise, it's liabilities.
Yeah, going to say anything you put down is going to be an easy 1 prize, right? As you do say. So, yeah, this is tough for Oscar. Has a few questions to answer here. Wow, the 3 prize turn, Mike.
And that's how quickly it can turn around with these spreading archetypes. And they will be looking to try and not only take a big knockout this turn, but make it as hard as possible for Bert to get back in the game, as there is now that Mega Starmie on the board, has no energy. So technically at this stage, Bert does not have an attacker. We know he's got the Legacy Energy in hand, but if we were able to see Oscar disrupt him at this stage, that would be different.
Well, this could finally unfair stamp this Lily's, right? 6 trading cards. Do we see the A-Spec? No. We can't get any use of Recon Directive. Was there a Night Stretcher to grab Fez, perhaps?
I mean, that's it. The Pheasantipity EX and the Dunsparce were taken out in that last turn, so no draw power on board.
Oh, boy. This is looking quite scary.
Just that Moltres, not particularly for this matchup, but could be a useful damage addition to the board, allowing him to move 20 over, perhaps.
Guess there's a world in which it potentially could pick up a KO. Doesn't pick up this Dragapult one, though. Here we go. There's your Adrenabrain. 20 damage on the bench, so we can actually get a KO on active. So we're going to respond back with his own 3 prize turn there. There's Oscar on the board. 3 prize cards remaining. Is only 1 for Bert, though. Okay, here we go. He's playing quick. We've got Legacy. Is that Boss's orders in hand? Legacy Energy?
Boss's orders.
And Mega Starmie is going to take game 2.
Finding that benched 1 prizer. That's all that was needed in these final stages.
We are going into a game 3 scenarios. Consult those prizes. 1 Mega Starmie, 2 copies of Boss's orders. Not too bad. As we do go into our game 3 feature match here, Swiss round 6 here at the Utrecht special event. Oscar kicking us off. Regional, I should say, not special.
Both players looking to go first, as the evolution is so important. Getting your ability to put a Dreepy down, put a Star U down, get them evolving up as soon as possible does give you a bit of an advantage going forward. Some of our players opting to play Rare Candy in their Dragapult decks. On this occasion, that's not going to be the case for both players, where Mega Starmie for Burt is the kind of replacement for that slower evolution as an early pressure attacker.
All right, quick turn there for Oscar. Buddy Poffin, Dreepy, Budu, Dunsparce. Turn ties him to the active and a pass over to Burt. Going to start us off there with a Buddy Poffin.
Both players finding their Buddy Poffin on that first turn. A key in pretty much every one of these evolving decks, finding 2 Pokemon with 70 HP or less and putting them onto your bench.
Just consult in those prize cards here. I imagine we're going to go for like a Dreepy and a Star U here. Is that the only search we have in Burt's hand? We'll have to have a look. Let's have a look. Oh, I thought you were going to show us the hand there, but he hasn't. So Dreepy and Star U.
Just going to have a little bit of a check here to work out the prize cards. Both players acutely aware that there are 12 minutes left on the clock.
Yep.
Very experienced players we've got here on our round 6 feature match. So they'll be wanting to try and get a victory. They know how important it is. And so we'll be looking to play that a little bit faster and try and see if they can make it happen. The games have been reasonably quick, but lots of important decisions have been made in those moments where Dracloak decisions add up. And we might see some quicker Dracloak decisions this game to try and get that result.
Yeah, as we do say, both players want to have as many match points as possible, so when they get into phase 2 and beyond, they can try and have as high a seeding as that would matter in the asymmetrical top cut and beyond. So we're going to see a Pokepad being played and a Crispin.
Pokepad preemptively played, recognising the buddy on the bench.
Yep.
Item lock would deny that next turn, and we've seen that in all 3 games. Pokepad for Dracloak at an early stage.
There we go, Crispin, 2 energy, fire, and a Psychic. Now, I wonder where these are going to go. I guess you could be... Oh, I guess you're not actually safe from a Dragon Headbutt next turn because of Crispin, so we are going to split the energy there, yep. And it looks like we're just going to see the pass.
You see the Dracloak ready for next turn.
Yep.
One of the advantages of Mega Starmie is because it's only 1 energy required to attack. Often you find the Monkey Dory is a bit easier to set up, where for Oscar, in order to attack, will need to use Crispins and avoid putting them onto that Monkey Dory. You can see no energy on board right now will mean that an attachment on the other side of this lead will be key to keep in the flow of the game. But an item lock will be put in play from Oscar to slow down Burt as much as possible.
Yeah, because you don't really want to have to be using Crispin as your energy acceleration for the turn. You'd rather just turn attach. We're going to see energy here. We've got the Psychic. Got quite a few Dark. One a Psychic. There's another Psychic and the Fez. And this is going to be interesting. Going to keep the Fez. Got to leave energy in deck, of course, for Crispins or anything like this. Another Dracloak coming down. Recon Directive ×2.
Oh, interesting. That unfair stamp. 1 game 1 for Oscar.
Yeah. As
he played it after that early aggression from Burt. So we'll want to have that in hand just in case. And you can just see that little bit of bounce in Oscar's step. As he's trying to get through the turns quickly. Knows that he's got a strong board state here. Good setup. Gets that Itchy Pollen. No items for Burt.
Okay, is over to Burt now. I think does have a Hilda in hand, so he could work towards Mega Starmie if he likes. Legacy Energy. Going to put that to the bottom. Off the Recon Directive. There is a Hilda in hand, so you could actually start off with a Jetting Blow here, if you like. Okay. Here is the Hilda. Okay, this will be very telling. Does this go for Dracloak or Mega Starmie and a Water? Let's find out.
Well, that Mega Starmie has been put to the front straight away. There's the Legacy Energy that we just saw put to the bottom of the Recon Directive. And that early aggression from Burt might be facing down an unfair stamp similar to game 1.
Yeah, and it's exactly the same as game 1, where the Jetting Blow is going to be carrying a Budu in the active. You'd love for that to be you'd love for this to try and get rid of 2 Dracloak in ideal circumstances, or at least damage both of them, but that's not going to be possible here, Mike, and he could be starting the turn next turn with 2 cards in hand.
Monkey Dory going down. I wonder if planning for that unfair stamp to be coming his way, sometimes you do just have to take these knockouts and hope that unfair stamp isn't there. We have the advantage of knowing it will be coming, but it will be that Drakloak to the active and a big turn for Oscar here.
Yep, it's over to Oscar now. Does have the unfair stamp in hand, of course. Bert taking his first prize card here in our Swiss round 6 feature match here at the Utrecht Regional Championships. The winner of this match should have a spot in phase 2 if you are just joining us there. Here's a Crispin. Okay. Fire energy, psych energy.
Guarantees that energy before the unfair stamp. Has got the Fez plus the draw of that Drakloak. Really good position to be in. Has the Ultra Ball even.
Ball, yeah. This is looking quite good, isn't it?
You could say quite. I think you could. Yeah. Looking very good here for. It will be interesting to see whether he goes to the Monkey Dory instead of the Dragapult at this stage to get that dark energy committed before the unfair stamp. Oh, there's the Dragapult
in hand. Wow, Risky Ruins as well, putting the extra 2 damage in play. This right here is a turn, Mike. There is the Fez bench and the unfair stamp.
Didn't even need any more resources at this stage. We'll be seeing 5 cards from the unfair stamp, another 3 from the flip the script, a recon directive to boot. So we'll have a huge hand on the other side of this disruption and might even get a chance to take away the Drakloak here for Bert, in which case Bert will be in the same position he was game 1 with 2 cards and a dream.
Oh, goodness. That's a bit mean, isn't it? Could we get it developed as Recon Directive number 2? There was Flip the Script as well. I mean, Recon Directive number 1, I should say. There's a whole host of cards in that hand, a treasure trove in that hand. There's a Pokepad. Could even use the Dunsparce here as well. One away draw if you like.
So much power in this turn for Oscar. Unfair Stamp not only sees new cards, but it puts you on the other side with draw on board, and that is so powerful at this stage. We'll be moving 3 over to that Drakloak, and we'll be able to take a huge knockout on the draw engine as 200 to the active, 60 to the bench, taking out the Drakloak. What can you do here, Bert?
Cross your fingers. Let's have a look. We're going to start off the turn with a Pokepad. Haven't been able to consult the hand yet. We are going to see a Drakloak Recon Director going to be used here. This is a dangerous situation here if you're Bert, though. You're active. Well, I guess now 2 prize. That is 1 Phantom Dive away from being KO'd.
And these Drakloaks are never safe when you've got Monkey Dory on board.
No, they're really not, are they? There's Recon Direct. Oh, dear. Psychic Energy and a Dragapult.
Yeah, it's looking...
Oh, no, that hand, Mike.
It's not looking good here for Bert. That is the power of Unfair Stamp right there. It won game 1 for Oscar. It looks like to be the same story here in game 3. Can Bert find a way back into this? It's going to be so difficult with so much draw on board for Oscar. 120 to the active, 50 onto the Monkey Dory, and Oscar's going to dismantle this board now.
Oh, no. This is where Oscar's eyes are widening. Another Monkey Dory Mike Ken set up. Oh, no. Anything on Bert's side of the field now can be KO'd with a combination of Adrenaline Brain and Phantom Dive.
Yeah, we'll probably get rid of the Drakloak, but could take the Monkey Dory down at this stage. We'll be taking that active KO, and at this stage, the Legacy Energy almost feels redundant because it's not the prize cards that Oscar's looking to take here. It's taking away the attackers and the draw engine.
Yep, and if Bert's hand stays the way it is, there's going to be no Pokemon left to bench. We could be seeing a conclusion to this game rather quickly. Here is Adrenaline Brain number 1, as you do say, Mike, is on Drakloak. Oh, no.
Adrenaline Brain number 2 will also be onto the board. We'll be going onto that Monkey Dory. So a complete knockout here onto the Mega Starmie, taking the Drakloak out. A few damage to spare onto the Monkey Dory, and Oscar's edging closer. This could be it,
Mike.
And that's going to be a chance now for Oscar to take the victory.
Round 6, and Oscar...
Now, we do have Benjamin as possibly my favourite player of the day so far, because there's a lot of grass types there.
You saying it's usurping your Team Rocket's Spider?
Yeah, no, this is immediately topped it. 100% Benjamin now, best friend.
Unfair stamping those prizes alongside some other key pieces for Pat Raphael. But there's the fist bump. Here we go. Swiss round 7 kicks things off. Raphael will be kicking things off here. Benjamin's just got that little Applin in the active spot, looking at a Latias EX and the Teal Mask over on EX. Already Teal dancing his way to getting more cards into the hand. And there comes the Wellspring as well. That's going to be pretty scary.
There's a lot of Ogerpon on both sides of the field for these matchups, but which one will suffice? Now, we're definitely going to need some more basic Pokemon because we've established how scary the early game pressure can be when a Pokemon can do damage to not just the active Pokemon, but also the benched Pokemon. Now, unfortunately, Benjamin is not running that Shaman, so there is no way to avoid the damage of a Wellspring Mask Ogerpon, but we have some big basic Pokemon that can kind of sponge the damage instead. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's just, as you just see there, just kind of cherry picking from the bug catching set, that Grass Energy and the ever so important cards like the Teal Mask Ogerpon also in hand as well. Now can just Teal Dance himself to just start getting some of those energies on the board, because Amy Benjamin is playing Hydrapple EX, and we do see it in hand as well. So that's another way to really get into it. Forest of Vitality also coming down. This is his first turn. We do get the Lily's Determination as well. Does just want to play cards down so he doesn't draw into them, of course.
Yeah, we want to get as much going as we can. We need more basics on the board right now. A Teal Mask alone isn't going to get us out of a sticky situation, staring down a Wellspring Mask Ogerpon. Now, we do have plenty of larger bodies kind of in this deck in general. We've got obviously the Tapu Bulu, we've got the Hydrapple and the Meganium itself. The Celebi doesn't have shabby HP, but unfortunately is just that little bit too short of a Wellspring, so that would go down. So we're really looking for maybe the Tapu Bulu kind of angle, or maybe just attaching again to this Ogerpon and kind of utilizing those single prize Pokemon later. Yeah, outside of that hand, doesn't want to give an easy target for the Wellspring Ogerpon's torrential pump attacks. We do get now another Teal Dance on that Teal Mask Ogerpon EX. Do draw into that very unique art of the Flutter Mane there. We do get the Meowth coming down, last ditch catch being activated, being able to grab supporter from the deck. One of those decks where you do generally want to utilize and use a number of Pokemon to attack into and attack with, I should say, and then eventually sort of start sweeping with big Pokemon like that Raging Bolt EX as your late game finishers. But you have a number of Pokemon you can start swinging away with. Which direction do we take here? At the moment, it's just that Applin staring down at your board. Yeah, that's a lovely thing about both of these decks, actually. They have a plethora of attackers and Pokemon that utilize energy kind of really effectively. Very efficient decks in both ways. We can be really kind of open with our gameplay, and both can adapt to each other's moves every single turn. You might be thinking 5 turns ahead, but at the same time, these players are going to be able to adapt on the fly because of the different amount of attacking Pokemon they have. But even those attacking Pokemon can quite often have secondary effects that help you out of a lot of situations. And I think that's a really beautiful thing about this deck and the deck choice of actually both of these, to be honest. I was going to say the Raging Bolt, but actually I think both have that nice flexibility that you get with these kind of style of decks. We're going with the Crispin, again, just really pushing forward with that energy acceleration. But that's what both of these decks excel at, and really neither tend to miss a beat. Yeah, it's kind of important here, of course, because there was no other benched Pokemon from Benji's side. Sorry, I do call him Benji because I know him for quite some while, and everyone knows him as Benji, fam. Just in case anyone has ever missed that. But with it being a Terra bench Pokemon, it also cannot be attacked from the Wellspring's Torrential Pump if you wanted to shuffle the energies away as well. So therefore, this is why Raphael's gone down this line here to try and take down the Applin. Does also bench the Flutter Mane, which is a really another sort of unique Pokemon maybe that we can utilize at some stage. But we are just going to free retreat with that Skyliner ability and swing away with that Teal Mask Ogerpon EX. Now taking the first prize of this Swiss Round 7. Benjamin Pham does have Pheasantipity in hand now. I believe he just top decked that. So that's a pretty nice pickup. We do have a chance to just flip the script now. And what can we find? We do find a Meowth, a Grass Energy, and a Lily's Determination. He's got a lot of those Lily's Determination in hand. We're going to Teal Dance first, see what other pieces we can pull together. It's going to be... You know what, we're only actually 1 energy away from being able to return KO this other Ogerpon. If we did want to, we could just attach one more energy, and that does get the exact knockout. We're going for the Dawn to just help out our little fellas for now. We're going to need some extra oomph for later in the game. Looking at our Meganium line now to double the effectiveness of all of our grass energy in play, but it does work for your opponent as well.
Yeah, so that Myriad Leaf Shower currently dealing 30 more for each damage attached to both active Pokemon. So as it currently stands, you're dealing 120 from your own base Ogerpon EX. You sort of, well, actually it's 90 times 2, so it's 180 plus the 30 is already 210. So a Meganium line will be just from your own energies. You're already dealing enough damage to knock out your opposing Teal Mask Ogerpon EX. Really just overcarrying at this stage.
Yeah, it's absolutely massive, and that'll really help out. Oh my goodness! So we don't need to attach the extra energy. We've got the Forest of Vitality. We can evolve straight up to Meganium. Now our energy is doing double, and so we're going to be getting the effect of that Ogerpon with 3 energy times the 2. Plus the 30 from the base damage of the attack. It's a big old KO on the opposing Ogerpon.
Yeah, absolutely. Massive knockout there, removing free energy from play on Raphael's side of the board as well. There comes a nice stretcher. It does come immediately back with another grass energy to boot as well. Does have access to the A-spec of choice, and it will be that favorite of yours, Amy. There is that unfair stamp currently in hand, but is this the right turn to use it? We're just eyeing up the Ultra Ball first with the other 2 cards. The other Latias EX has been picked up from the prizes with that lightning energy. And now which direction we go in? Looks like it might be that Pheasantipity going onto the board just to give you some additional draw power once you try to unfair stamp your way to victory.
So this is the scary part, right? This is why I was saying the Meganium actually does help your opponent a little bit as well. Because they're running this Teal Mask Ogerpon, all of your energy now counts as 2 grass energy, and Ogerpon's damage is based on how many energy you have attached, and you have an effective 6 energy attached, which is already enough for the opposing Ogerpon to KO this Ogerpon, and now there's a lot of Ogerpon, I'm saying, and it's sounding weird now.
We'll try and save you from there. That Wild Growth is an incredible ability, usually utilized for your own board state so that you can start swinging away from massive amounts of damage. Your opponent, who might have to kind of try and get into that stage, still will have to find a way to get free energies onto that Teal Mask Ogerpon to be able to swing away with that Myriad Leaf Shower. We do get the Pheasantipity, flip the script now. Does have 2 energies there, but we've already done 1 Teal Dance. There's no real other way to maybe energy switch up. No, I wouldn't even be able to do that. It does require 3 grass energies, so we're in a bit of a sticky situation here. Maybe eyeing up different attackers we could try and utilize. We don't have access to anything like the Area 0 under depths yet, because right now we are board locked.
Yeah, we can't even sort of glass... Is that a glass trumpet, actually?
There is a glass trumpet.
So they could trumpet onto the Meowth, but again, we don't have the energy switch to be able to move it around, so it's just a pass.
Yeah, just a pass over, leaving Fluttermane in the active spot, just to be annoying. So that Fluttermane, with that ability we've seen before, Midnight Fluttering, as long as this Pokemon is in your active spot, your opponent's active Pokemon only has no abilities. So the active Teal Mask Ogerpon EX will not be able to use Teal Dance in this scenario. But what we can do is trying to build up some more energies across the board. We still have Forest of Vitality on the field, and it looks like this is the direction that Benjamin is going to go down, just evolving up that Applin straight up eventually into that Hydrapple EX, which is just reality. That Ripening Charge ability is pretty cool, allow you to actually get additional grass attachments, but then also it has that Syrup Storm, which does so much damage in a similar way to how Teal Mask Ogerpon EX does. And there it is, Hydrapple EX in the active spot now, 330 HP, Grass Dragon knockout on the Fluttermane there, going down to 3 prizes, and it's back over to Raphael.
Huge, being able to use 1 energy to count as 2 for this Hydrapple. A 1 energy attacker in effect once this Meganium is in play is ginormous. Now we're into this Teal Mask Ogerpon, which is going to have a large road ahead of it to take out a Hydrapple. So we're just Teal Dancing now. Area 0 comes into effect, so we finally managed to get rid of that Forest of Vitality, but just a little too late.
Yeah, it's one of those now, as we do see the Raging Bolt hit the field. Of course, a card we've seen for quite some time now, still very relevant in non-weakness Pokemon as a Dragon type with that Bellowing Thunder attack, 70 times the number of basic energy discarded from all of your Pokemon. So to take a knockout on this Hydrapple here, it will require loads of energy cards at this point. But where there's a will, there's a way. Right now, there's 3 energies on the board state. We do have access to Crispin with that Meowth as well. There'll be an additional 2. We do have access to more energy cards as well. So 7 times 5 is what we're looking for. It's very doable. And then it's just down to how else then Benjamin can retaliate with. Let's see if we get there first, actually. I was being too presumptuous and go forward. But that is actually 5.
Yeah, we are. Raging Bolt, of course, our 2 energy on there already. Going to flip the script. Of course, we've got the free retreat on this Ogerpon thanks to Skyliner, so that's not going to be too much of a problem. But we do get an access of another teal dance. We're dancing all over the show. This is a little party going on between both sides here, and we've got plenty of energy now. We can, go ahead and scoop that up. Raging Bolt with this essentially infinite damage output as long as you've got the energy to support it.
Yep, so now it's just a decision based on what energies we have access to. There's a Glass Trumpet as well. Maybe just being able to really control the kind of board in terms of energy costs, as both Meowths get powered up now with a Lightning and a Fighting energy themselves. Has access to Nice Stretcher. Here we go, Bellowing Thunder. We just need 5 here, so 7 times 5 is the 35 number. There goes the Lightning, the Psychic, the Grass, the Fighting, and 1 more to finalize and finish off the Hydrapple EX.
Going to be one of the grass from the Ogerpon. It's really easy to get those back on, and there we go for the big KO on Hydrapple, taking all of those heads down individually. Has done the job. Moving back over to Benjamin's side. Now that the prize race has been evened up, can Benjamin continue to fling, enough damage back at their opponent to take knockouts? We only 3 more prize cards, so we don't have to go big on this turn.
Yeah, I believe with the 3 energies on the active Pokemon right now, so that would be 90 damage times 2 because of the Wild Growth ability. Has 30 base damage, so that's 210 plus the active energy that's currently on the Raging Bolt. And just like that, he's able to start setting up a second Teal Mask Ogerpon EX in the background, get it prepped, ready for another attack as another attacker, and really just simply swinging back. Just back and forth, taking massive knockouts, but you're in the ascendancy because you'll be going down to 1 prize remaining after this knockout here.
Meganium bringing those big gains to Teal Mask Ogerpon, giving it all of the power it needs, getting that excess damage output from the additional pseudo energy. And we've got the unfair stamp just to really put the cherry on the cake and disrupt Raphael's hand at the same time.
Yeah, just why not? I've drawn into it. Why not put you down to 2? Yes, you have Pheasantipity EX, but let's limit what you have access to. And that way I can really just kind of force the issue and be in such a great spot with these 5 cards. There is a Stadium once again as well, maybe limiting what Raphael might have access to. He does currently have 1 bench space remaining. There are 7 Pokemon currently on the bench there for Raphael, as we do get to flip the script as well. So there it is. Area 0 Underdepths has been bumped from play, as we now see the Meowth go. And the Wellspring Ogerpon EX as well. That hasn't been useful. And a knockout, of course. The Raging Bolt has gone down.
Do we top deck a Meowth there? That might just get us out of this sticky situation.
We flip the script first. We find another Raging Bolt. And Lily's Clefairy, can we make it? No, it's going to be a concession. Benjamin Pham will be taking this game 1. It's bump already going. We're going straight into game 2 here. Raphael looks like he's going to be going first once again. Nothing too crazy on both sides. A couple of energies on Raphael's side. Here comes an Ultra Ball. Does start that Latias EX with that Skyliner ability once again. So we'll be able to maneuver, I should say, around the board. There's the Serena and the Grass energy pitched away to the discard. Let's see which direction we're going in. Looks like he's eyeing up that Mega Kangaskhan EX. Plays 3 copies is ever so important to get into the active spot as soon as possible, because then you can draw cards, you can get an energy attachment on, and actually just start swinging away, because it's a pretty big Pokemon. but you just have to be wary that Benjamin could retaliate very quickly with Wild Growth and Teal Mask Ogerpons.
I think that's my concern. A Mega Pokemon makes the opponent take 3 prize cards. That's halfway to winning just for knocking out 1 Pokemon. So the risk versus reward feels dramatic.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just that Tapu Bulu in the active spot there for Benjamin. We do get Mega Kangaskhan now utilizing that run errand ability. Once in the active spot, you get to draw 2 cards, get the energy attachment, and it's a pass over. So Benjamin fam is on you to just try and stabilize the board. There comes the little Applin with that 40 HP for the moment. Forester type Vitality comes down. Benjamin does play 4 copies of the stadium. And here comes the Lily's Determination as well, getting the full 8 cards here from the supporter.
It's an important core of the deck to be able to get the Forest, because you don't want to give your opponent too many opportunities to take out benched Pokemon before they evolve fully. You want to be able to make sure that Meganium is in play as soon as possible, because it really is the driving factor of this deck.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know we can't use it on, well, to evolve on the first turn, but we might as well still have him be able to play it out now, because that way we won't have to draw into it a bit further down the line as a bug catching set does come. Look at the top 7, choose 2 of grass Pokemon and grass
Oh, there's plenty
energies.
to pick
Yeah.
from.
Can't wait. Just wants to go for the energies here, and that means the hand must be looking pretty comfortable for Benjamin's side at the moment, especially if you do have a Teal Mask Ogerpon EX as an example, because having that draw engine, that draw power, getting those energies on the board is pretty important from this scenario.
It really is, and honestly, I can see why Benjamin has chosen this deck, and I think I'll be building it when I get home. I can't lie to you, Alex.
Yeah.
We got 2 Ogerpon, which is why I would have taken those 2 energy, because we get to Teal Dance on both of them. We got the Meganium. I think we're waiting on a Chikorita, so come on, Chikorita, come out of the... No, not out of the deck yet. We've got Bayleaf. We've got, oh no, bars and no Chikorita to be seen. But if Forest of Vitality sticks around, hopefully we'll see one soon.
Yeah, so we're going to go straight into the run errand. I do see an Ultra Ball in Raphael's hand, so we can go for something like the Meowth and start loading up with Crispin as an option. Did find a couple of pieces in terms of those Terra Pokemon as well coming to hand, that Wellspring and the Teal Mask. Teal Mask is ever so important. We can start seeing more cards at the same time. Does hit the Psychic Energy, but now what decision do we make in terms of what we discard? Likely to be the 2 Pokemon that's in hand that are a little bit less useful now. We already have a Latias EX. The Wellspring Ogerpon is, you know, wasn't as impactful for the moment, but maybe he's just always thinking, well, maybe at one stage does Sob really come into effect at some stage, but we have access to Night Stretchers, right?
It's a head scratcher for sure, because the hand is not flush.
No, not at all.
We don't have much to go on here. You're right, we can maybe sob and keep this Tapu Bulu kind of stuck in the active spot for a while, but ultimately I think we're looking like going for a Meowth to refresh our hand possibly, or maybe even just Crispin to put some early pressure on with the Wellspring Ogerpon. I'm not certain right now, but we're definitely going to take a supporter. There's the Meowth. And Cat's got your tongue, of course. We've got the Lilies.
Yeah, it's gone. It looks like that's why Raphael was eyeing up that Wellspring Ogerpon EX. Does bench it, does attach the Psychic Energy. Sob currently is an attack that can be utilized for 1 colorless energy. I mean, it wouldn't be that efficient if you just left the Mega Kangaskhan EX in the active spot. We've kind of spoken about it already, because it requires the free energies to start swinging away. Does apply pressure, but when you know your opponent can take big 1-hit KOs, it's not really tanking enough damage for you to then send it away with sort of Area 0 Underdepths and Chen Pao combinations, I should say, as the Area 0 Underdepths does hit the field now.
I love that combination personally. I think it's spectacular to be able to undo your own Area 0 if needs be. Is fantastic. You can kind of budge Pokemon with damage on out of the scenario so they can't get knocked out, which is just a brilliant way of utilizing a Pokemon that people didn't think was going to be useful for a really long time.
Yeah, so this is a really cute scenario as well. So right now the Tapu Bulu does have 120 HP remaining. We know that also this Applin, unless it gets evolved up, will also struggle to not be knocked out by something like the Torrential Pump at some stage as well. If we're able to gust it up and utilize the Wellspring Ogerpon to knock that out instead and deal the 120 to the Tapu Bulu. So we're just setting up some awkward scenarios because Benjamin fam won't be able to maneuver this Tapu Bulu out the spot here.
And that's part of one of the important things this turn. We've got the apple straight into Diplin, and now it's just a pass because Tapu Bulu's stuck.
Yeah, it does hit the energy switch as well. So now just missing a water energy here. I'm not too sure we've had access to something like that. Well, water energy in a boss's orders, I should say. But at the same time, is this one way to kind of say cheese the game a little bit, maybe slow the game down or take 2 prizes? Do we continue sobbing for the moment and maybe just kind of getting into that gameplay as we do get the Meowth? Oh, it's just kind of eyeing up. Another last-ditch catch likely to come down here.
And it certainly isn't a last ditch at this point. I think I'd say it's a first ditch. Like, I mean, it's second technically, but honestly, a brilliant utilization for Crispin, and that's going to get us that water energy that we were so desperate for. Yeah,
so we'll be able to get that attached. We won't be able to gust up the other Pokemon on Benjamin's side of the board right now. That Diplin, of course, only 80 HP. But what we can do is just kind of start to say, if you're not able to evolve it up on your next turn, because Benjamin wasn't able to really do too much, we can just sob here for the moment. I mean, we haven't attached another energy yet, but we'll just save it in hand. Yep, there's the sob. Tapu Bulu down now to 100 HP, Amy. And that's a scary position for Benjamin.
It really is a very, very scary spot to be in. And Tapu Bulu has such a high retreat cost of 3 that, it's not looking good. We go for the Teal Dance, and we got the Hydrapple!
He's Teal Dance straight into the Hydrapple EX and was able to maneuver out of that position now. And now that Wellspring Ogerpon EX is not as much of a threat anymore. So then, do we just continue sobbing for the moment whilst Benjamin has been committing all of those grass energies to the bench Tilmar's Ogerpon EXs until you're ready to start swinging away, maybe gust something up with a bigger attacker?
I don't know. There's 15 energy in Benjamin's deck. That's a lot. I don't think he's going to be running out anytime soon. So I feel like at this point, you've got to admit that Benjamin feels like they're in a strong position going forward. And of course, we can do a little bit of damage by using Torrential Pump and targeting down the Hydrapple a little bit for just to kind of start to make a dent in that huge HP total. Obviously, we can't target the Ogerpon, which is lovely, because otherwise that would be kind of a scary situation because they're not exactly flush with HP themselves.
No, not at all. But I guess one of the key things that we will keep an eye out for is that Chikorita hasn't hit the field. We haven't seen the Meganium come down through further evolutions yet. So Tapu Bulu does require 4 energies if we don't get that. But here comes the bug catching set.
Here we go.
No Forest of Vitality yet available though. But even if we can find it, let's see what we get from these 7 here. We do get some grass energies. We do find Chikorita, it looks like, as well. But right now, is that the key thing to try and go for? We already have the grass. We need some energies, maybe to see some cars. Yeah, it's always going to be the first choice. I feel like you got to take Chikorita here. Yeah, there it is.
It's so terrifying because you know the Wellspring's on the cusp of being able to use Torrential Pump, and then Chikorita's just down before it could even get started.
I think you can just hold it. You just hold it until you find that forest. Once you find forest, you can just keep quickly evolve up to the Meganium, and then you're well protected, and you can start swinging away as well. Because remember, Tapu Bulu, despite requiring 4 energy cards, it's 2 with Meganium in play, but then also it actually one-hit KOs the Tapu Bulu, and the energy attachment, the energy acceleration from Hydrapple EX also heals up the Tapu Bulu.
It does.
And kind of gets it closer to being able to send off a Woodhammer for 220.
I think a lot of people forget about the effect of Ripening Charge. Actually, tapping away at that Tapu Bulu and giving it a little bit of damage here and there just wasn't as effective as we were thinking it might be, as we now have been able to heal up. And once during a turn, you can attach a basic grass energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. If you did that, you heal 30. So we can keep healing this Tapu Bulu if, you know, a more dramatic attack line isn't made by Raphael quite soon.
Yeah, so here comes the Meowth to grab the boss's orders. Just kind of deciding which direction we go down here. We just need to, it would have to be a big swing. Oh my God, an extra energy attachment to, that Tilmar's Ogerpon EX as well. Really trying to ramp it up so we can start dealing one-hit KOs on the opposing Tilmar's, really setting the tone, because that's 4 energies. That's currently 120 plus the base 150, and under 2 energies on the bench of Benjamin's side, that would be 210 damage, and that would be a knockout. Is this the direction? Is this the moment where Raphael really goes for here? Here it is. It's moving to the active spot, Amy.
Boss's orders. We're choosing one of the Tilmar's Ogerpon, of course we are, and that's the KO.
Massive knockout here, really setting the tone, going down to 4 prizes. Benjamin Pham here really needs to find a couple of pieces. Does have the Forest of Vitality in hand already there. Do we have all the other pieces? Chikorita, Bayleaf, straight into Meganium, Wild Growth, live. Pheasantipity hitting the board now. Is this the moment? Tapu Bulu is ready to be what you just called it, Tapu Bully, and bully away against those Tilmas Ogerpon EXs, Amy.
Absolutely, we're going for that stamp as well. Is truly unfair. I can't believe it. This Chikorita has gone all the way already into Meganium and is now doubling the effect of all grass energy on Benjamin's board.
Yeah, and this is the scariest thing. Just that one knockout, that one top deck of Forest of Vitality has just truly unlocked Benjamin's deck here. We get the flip the script here as well, so 3 further cards.
Ooh, we got the energy. We needed that to be able to attach to Tealmask Ogerpon or Hydrapple.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter. We can continue drawing cards first with more Teal Dances.
Woo!
Because we only need to use Tapu Bulu or Tapu Bully to just start wood hammering away. And we're taking knockouts here. And I mean, you got to feel pretty good about yourself in Benjamin's side. And then it's just going to be on Raphael to retaliate against this single prizer. Another Teal Dance as well. Just how many cards have we seen already, Benjamin? And just found another Grass Energies. You did say there were 15 there.
There are. It's a lot. I feel like if I play this deck, I'll get my starting hand. It'll be 1 basic, and then the rest will be energy.
Oh, there we go. There is the Wood Hammer for knockout with a single prizer. 30 damage to itself. Also going down to 4 prize cards as well now. Benjamin in a pretty good spot. I mean, there was 4 energy attachments on that turn. 1 from the Hydrapple, ripening, the Teal Dances, and then the attachment for turn as well. Kangaskhan in the active spot. Can run errand for more. Does find the boss's orders in hand. And also a Cypher Maniacs. He's just kind of, I guess, deliberating whether there's something we could Cypher Maniacs for. But what is there? We're just going to run errand, I think, just to see if we can hit something that's useful in this scenario.
It's a really sticky situation at this point. Raphael's really on the back foot.
Finds Pheasantipity for flip the script, which is nice.
We can keep going.
Grass Energy, Energy Switch, and the Chien-Pao come into play.
Just a bit too late. We don't really need the Chien-Pao anymore. What we need is some pressure. We need to be able to keep taking knockouts to keep up with Benjamin at this point.
Yeah, so in this stage, we can go for a Teal Dance. Maybe start loading up the Tilmask Ogerpon EX. No other Grass Energy on the board, however. So unless we find a Night Stretch or another Grass Energy, that boss's orders might not be something we can utilize. Here it is. What we're working with, that is a Stadium.
Ooh, area 0.
We can work with a couple of more pieces. But do we have anything else we can do in this scenario? Looks like we can still maybe go for a boss's orders play and utilize Sob once again. It's maybe one way to kind of slow the game down a little bit as well. Maybe setting up some of those Pokemon for certain plays as an energy switch goes on to the Wellspring Ogerpon EX here from the Teal Mask. 110 HP on the active Tapu Bulu. Not on any other attackers or other Pokemon on the bench that could be knocked out here.
No, but we can boss Swordas to just start to deal a little bit of excess damage somewhere. Looks like we're going for Meganium because, you know, we don't have the energy on it right now. It can't retreat. It won't knock out, but it will do some substantial damage. Yeah,
we are actually shuffling away with the Torrential Pump there. Meganium down now to 40 HP, or sorry, 60 HP remaining because of that Torrential Pump. Does take a prize, does take Raphael down to 3 prize cards remaining. Benji just needs 1 Grass Energy to be able to retreat because it will count for 2 once again. Nothing in hand yet, though. We do have Flip the Script. Let's see. 1, 2.
Oh, there it is. There's the energy. And if we use Hydrapple to attach it, we can actually heal 30 as well.
And it's always a little bit cheeky to be able to do something like that. There's the ability marker on the Hydrapple. Energy accelerated to the Meganium. Down to 70 damage taken. Ultra Ball as well. Let's pitch away some of these less useful cards. That's Celebi, double Celebi, which we haven't seen yet throughout this series, is being pitched away to see what card can we get here. Maybe just continue to get the board in an as comfortable state as possible. We already have seen 1 Tilmask Ogerpon EX go down. Of course, does play all 4. There was 1 in hand as well, so maybe it's just a thinning at this stage, which is important. Just checking what else we have access to. But it's, again, looking at a pretty good spot here because we can just start firing away with your own attackers. The free energies on that Teal Mask Ogerpon EX already dealing 90 times 2 with Wild Growth, which is 180, plus the 30 base. It's already a knockout, already sending you down to 2 prizes. Sometimes
some
just
big decisions.
Is it? Sometimes it is just a case of preparing your deck, preparing your hand, ready for anything that could come your way, because you're going to put yourself in such a commanding spot. Or you can just start swinging away with Hydrapple EX as well, which, I mean, it deals a lot of damage with Syrup Storm. 30 plus, 30 more for each grass energy attached to all of your Pokemon. So it's even bigger, harder to knock out, of course, with 330 HP. Forest of Vitality, prepping his second Meganium.
Straight up to Meganium again, just in case this one goes down. We don't want to risk another torrential pump situation, taking Meganium down on the bench. And now, of course, we're into Hydrapple for that Syrup Storm, making a sticky situation for Raphael.
Yeah, this is going to be just an easy and simple knockout here. I think Benji's just kind of eyeing up at Lana's aid to get some energies back into the hand as well.
Wise choice. We need to keep this engine going. We need to keep the grass energy flowing. And we've got some unused Teal Mask abilities. We can go ahead and do some more dancing.
Yeah, I mean, one of the key things that Benji's just going to be looking for is just, I mean, like a boss's orders for a future turn. If this Hydrapple goes down, for example, it's just Teal Dance straight into 2 more grass energies there. So we've got plenty of energies to work with. And that Hydrapple ready to swing away. Plenty of heads. And just getting an extra energy attachment there, just deliberating where it should really go.
Do you want some grass energy with your grass energy? Because we got plenty over here. It's absolutely wonderful to see. It's just going to go onto the Hydrapple itself. And of course, we've got a very, very sticky knockout there.
Now, what can we do in this scenario, Rafa? You've got 3 prize cards remaining to take. You do just top deck to Crispin, which that will be able to mean you can start swinging away as well, but you're then just under threat of what is on Benjamin's bench. What can we do? What can we draw into, perhaps, with that run errand? Which direction do we go in here? So I think he's just deliberating which supporters he has access to, what else in the deck he can utilize as well.
The difficult situation I feel here is that we not only need to deal with the Hydrapple, but we also need to make sure that whatever we leave in the active spot has some sort of defense or enough HP that a Teal Mask Ogerpon isn't going to be the next threat, because that's realistically the only attacking force on Benjamin's side. So if we could knock out with something big enough, that would be great, but I just don't know if it's there. Now, obviously, the Mega Kangaskhan is our highest HP Pokemon right now, but its attack just doesn't do enough.
Exactly that, as we do get the Cypher Maniac Code-Breaking being utilized and being used here to be able to put 2 cards to the top of the deck, cherry-picked, and then can just draw straight into them with Run Errand. We knew one of them was that Unfair Stamp, and then it was just the other energy switch as well, going to the active.
They're going to do it. They're going to go for the coin flips, Alex. Rapid fire combo. Flip a coin till you get tails. You do 50 extra damage for each heads. It might have to be all down to a gamble.
Yeah, I mean, one of those things, maybe with this Unfair Stamp, maybe it's just easier to try and take down the 4 energies that are currently sat on the Teal Mask Ogerpon EX, perhaps, with just 1 heads. That way you're reducing away, well, actually, 120 times 2, 240 damage from the board. But what can we draw into here? Just a couple of Pokemon, a grass energy, so we can Teal Dance, we can flip the script as well. There's a few more options and opportunities. It is just going to be a flip. This is it.
Here we go.
Heads. That's number 1, 250.
Heads.
2, 300, 350 is a knockout on the Hydrapple EX, but Benjamin fam will just be able to send this Ogerpon EX in the out spot. And there's the fist bump hitting me.
Oh my goodness.
That here with the Dragapult.
2 copies of the handheld fan. They're his only copies. You'd love to see them. And for Ted, 2 copies of Crispin. Not the greatest. Does only play 3 copies. So only 1 copy available to him. But we are going to get our Swiss round 8 feature match here started. Ted Tobin on the left, Joris on the right. And it is Ted getting us started here, playing that Dragapult EX, crushing hammers archetype.
And getting to choose first is a big factor in the current format. We mentioned before about evolving turn by turn. It is that key difference now, post-rotation versus pre-rotation. We don't have TM evolution.
Nope.
We don't have that ability to set up explosively. We have to just do it the old-fashioned way, evolve turn by turn.
Yeah. So it looks like we are going to get the turn started here with Buddy Buddy Puff in there for Ted. Let's have a little run through of this Dragapult EX archetype. Very simple. Revolves around that Dragapult EX, an absolute behemoth, 320 hit point, stage 2 dragon type. No weakness, might I say, with that Phantom Dive attack for 1 fire, 1 psychic. Does 200 damage and sprinkle 6 damage counters on your opponent's bench. Is over to Joris, though, who is playing the Alakazam. Fantastic start there, Mike, with the the telepathic energy, I should say, to get rolling.
Really brought Alakazam to life. Post-rotation, allowing you to search out 2 more Abras nice and easily. And with that Dudunsparce engine, it's so typically combined with able to set up very, very well. And Dudunsparce is starting to feature across the board, even in decks like Dragapult. And it is because it just provides so much card draw. Is exactly what Alakazam needs to hit big numbers.
Yeah, because that attack, that powerful hand for 1 psychic energy, does 20 for each card in your hand. Well, it places 2 damage count on your opponent's active, so it's essentially, 20 damage. So the aim of the game is simply for Joris. He just wants to build a big hand as possible and announce powerful hand, ideally 3 times to KO 3 2+ Pokemon. Wham, bam, thank you. And he wants to advance to that 8-0 record. But it looks like we are just going to see the free retreat, and it is going to be a pass. And there's no way. Is that an attack? I should say on the Abrod.
Yeah, it's just a
teleportation attack. Does 10 damage and then switches as well.
Yeah, great way to protect that energy on the bench. One scary thing about Dragapult is it does spread those 6 damage counters to the bench, and Abra only having 50 HP does make it liable to being KO'd and multiple KOs for Dragapult. So Ted will be looking to get up to that Dragapult as soon as possible. But one prize decks are interesting right now in the format because they have such strong matchups into a lot of these 2 prize decks, like your Enzoroarks, Raging Bolts, Meganium, Ogerpon decks. But when it comes to Dragapult, because they have that spread and can KO these low HP basic Pokemon, it makes it quite hard into what is considered the strongest deck in the room. So for Joris, going 7-0, I wonder how much Joris has had to face against Dragapult and whether they found a route to victory that others have struggled to find.
I imagine he must have gone through a fair few. He does play the 2 copies of Handheld Fan. You imagine that would be a card that you would love to use in this Dragapult EX arc, or against Dragapult EX archetype, I should say. But Ted's had a fantastic turn here. It has played Lilies, has got 2 copies of Draclo out, so can use Recon Directive ×2. I didn't find a basic energy or an energy attachment, I should say, on the last turn. So, Joris has got a few turns here where we hopefully shouldn't be worrying about Phantom Dive.
And for Ted, has 2 forms of disruption to try and reduce that hand size in Alakazam. Has a judge, a singular judge.
Yeah, in hand currently.
And the unfair stamp, which can be blocked through the Genesect with that Ace Nullifier for Joris. But ultimately, those hand disruptions, well-timed, will be the winning moments for Ted throughout this game. So a lot about timing here. Choosing the right cards at the right moments will make a massive difference.
Oh, we're going to see a rare candy Alakazam there. So we're going to see 2 cards from the Psychic, draw Kadabra, and you evolve into it, draw 2. Alakazam, when you evolve into it, you can draw 3. Wow. Okay, now could we try and work towards the Genesect? We've got a very easy KO here. Still have to actually get the Dunsparce out of the active. Battle Cage, Mike.
Yeah, the Battle Cage was your caster pick.
It was. Go on, Joris. Stopping your opponent manipulating damage counters on your bench Pokemon. Love that.
Great way to counter Dragapult if it sticks, but can often get bumped in those pivotal moments.
It can, but we are going to open up with a Dawn here as well. Looks like Joris is eyeing up a Genesect, an Alakazam, and the Dunsparce as well. If that Genesect does get a tool card attached, that would prevent Ted for... Oh, and there is the tool card. No Ace Specs for Ted. Oh, wow, this is a fantastic turn. He can obviously easily KO the GP, but for now, very strong turn.
And this is where that judge is going to be so important, the backup disruption to potentially make it harder for the Alakazam to build a big hand size, but ultimately set up well now to start taking knockouts And that tempo for Alakazam is the key. The first knockout, if you're the first person to take a knockout, you've got a really hard board to break down. So it will be able to put Joris in the best position to keep taking knockouts. And there we go, Alakazam in the active.
Wow, look at that hand size. It hasn't even turn attached yet. There is telepathic energy. So can grab another psychic Pokemon, put them on the bench, can put 2 if you really like. The only problem is AIRPODS does only have 50 hit points. So they are very susceptible.
Well, as long as that battle cage sticks, they will be safe. But the downside of stadiums is they are passive. So Ted will be able to...
Ted asked him, was that enough cards in hand? Yeah, I think it is, Ted, don't worry.
And I think Ted plays the risky ruins in a 2 count. So we'll be looking for that this turn to try and open up the damage.
Does have a Dragapult EX in hand. 3 uses of Recon Directive. Crushing Hammer. I mean, to be fair, Alakazam doesn't play the greatest amount of energy. That could be a win con. You know, does... I mean, yeah. Joris doesn't play that much energy recovery, I should say. Lana's aid at a 1 and a couple rescues. Here is a Crushing Hammer, though.
And a heads.
Okay, remove an energy is going to go from the bench. Of course, Joris shaking his head. Oh, no. I mean oh, wow. Cheering as well.
I mean, that's him committing to the idea that he might not get a knockout here.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, just going to be looking to maybe disrupt here and get rid of all the energy and then finish off the game.
I mean, I tell you what, that could be possible, right? Because Joris only plays 1 basic psychic and Lana's aid only recovers, basic energy. So, I mean, it's not outside the realm of possibility here that he could try and remove a lot of energy. Looks like Ted just debating, just looking at the Pokemon, looking at hit points. Yeah, this is really interesting, Mike.
Yeah, so the 4 telepathic energy, 1 basic psychic, and an enriching energy as the final, which wouldn't allow him to attack with Alakazam. But it could just be down to not wanting to put any easy knockouts in play because the Pheasantdip TX is in hand. And so it might just be looking to stabilize the board rather than getting aggressive and taking knockouts, because that's exactly when Alakazam punishes you. It comes back, draws loads of cards, and gets the return knockout.
As it looks like Teddy's going to play an Ultra Ball, going to grab a Dunsparce, get it into play. Whether or not he's going to use it, I'm not sure. Hasn't found the Fire Range yet, so maybe that's what we're hunting for. 1, 2, and 3, none there.
Does have the Buddy Poffin to reload. Maybe the Dunsparce or the Pokepad can do it.
Yeah. I didn't actually see many fire energy there. I wasn't surprised any.
Maybe thinking about the judge at this stage, but...
Potentially.
Might not want to waste it when the board is looking fairly in his favour. Doesn't need to do it. Maybe can do it later on once the Alakazams are all evolved
there is
up.
The Fez. Oh, there's the fire energy off the last card, Mike.
And the stadium.
And the stadium. Good find. Oh, no. That really has flipped the script there with the judge. Fire energy. Risky Ruby to replace the stadium. And a hand reduction to 4 for Joris. What a swing turn from Ted.
Going to be able to take 2 knockouts here. Get the Abras down. Take out that Alakazam. No energy in play.
Oh, dear. Well, I mean, they're all face down. We should be okay there. I mean, that's the problem of a turn like that. Joris could be quaking in his boots a little bit here.
Yeah, going to hope for a good 4 cards off of this judge, as it could be a tough position to recover from.
Uh-oh.
Pokemon for next turn.
We have got a hill there. It's going to be Phantom Dive, KO active. 5 on the Abra, still has 1 to play with.
I mean, it could go on any target here. Nothing obvious at this stage. Just going to put it on the Genesect there. Got to be thinking about Monkey Dory maths in the future. So the Genesect there, the target, as an Abra moves to the active.
Did have Alakazam in hand. Going to draw 3. 1, 2, 3. Has got the Battle Cage back. Has got the Hilda. Hilda can grab you energy. And the Alakazam actually to attack with Rare Candy. We're not going to come anywhere close to a 1-hit KO this turn, Mike.
And that's the lack of Dunsparce, the lack of Abras to evolve.
Yeah.
Because one of them was KO'd previously, so... lack of draw at this stage will mean this knockout's hard to do.
Oh, you got to put to a risky ruins damage on those Dunsparce. Did have a replacement stadium, but hasn't put it down. So we will need to get 2 damage counters on both of those Dunsparce. I'm sure we'll be able to sort that out.
I mean, might even opt to try and get the evolution through the Pokepad instead.
Okay, there is a stadium replacement.
But yeah, with the rare candy in hand, we'll be able to evolve the
popping
active.
goes straight to the bench, doesn't it? So you won't get
It would still get the 20 damage there, just confirming that here. Good spot from you there, Shay. And this is it,
There we go.
The damage being spread around as it is really starting to ramp up at this stage. Because even like you said, even getting the Alakazam here doesn't do enough. You don't have enough cards in hand to knock out this Dragapult.
It doesn't, and that's where having the lack of Dunsparce developed, you haven't got that sort of immediate, bounce the hand back up to like, the colossal hand size. Even if he was to use enriching, well, you can't attack if he was, but still wouldn't be enough.
Exactly, and that's where that energy being discarded with Crushing Hammer so important now, because that would have allowed the attack to come off with the enriching energy. So this is what we spoke about when we spoke about Crushing Hammer at the beginning of the show, is that it's not vital for Dragapult to win. It just makes Dragapult win harder. And I think that Crushing Hammer there was a prime example of just that.
See, that looks like a big old hand, but no, what would we need? 16, right? To get the one-hit KO on a Dragapult. And yeah, I don't think we're anywhere near that. However, had we had energy developed, maybe we could have got there.
I'm really hoping that
it's just going to be the pass.
Battle Cage wants it to stick, but at this stage, there's a risky ruin in Ted's hand already.
There? Oh, no. Uh-oh. Yep, Ted is off to the races, Mike.
The Dunsparce to Draclo, going to see loads of cards, already has everything in hand to be able to take out that Dunsparce with the enriching energy. Might even look to try and get rid of that Genesect at this stage, so the unfair stamp becomes live.
Yeah, just to really make sure there is no way back in. But I think if you're just so far ahead at this point, right? I mean, we'll be taking another 2 prize cards. Joris has 5 to take. Hand size, almost irrelevant. Energy attachments down. Recon directive. This right here is going to be a strong turn here.
And if you take out the Kadabra and a Dunsparce, it really reduces the draw again.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you can't draw another 3 once the Alakazam's already there. You have to take it out. And that would really mean only 1 to Dunsparce is available. Wouldn't be able to use the enriching energy again because it would get taken off the board. So everything about this turn for Ted is going to put him so far ahead that Joris is going to struggle to not only KO the Dragapult, but chain together multiple KOs at this stage.
Just thinking, so let's have a look. Boss orders, risky ruins are all there. Wow, this is, do we need the boss's orders, I think, right? So I think Ted is just working out exactly, how best can I dissect this Alakazam board state. As you rightly say, if you just take out Kadabra plus Dunsparce, that's a lot of draw power reduction.
You can see Ted having so many decisions to make because of how big his hand size is. He's working out, do I boss? Do I Crispin? Do I see more cards?
Good problems to have, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And just looking to stabilize at this stage to set up for the chain of attacks to finish the game.
Just debating whether to evolve into another Dragapult. I don't think you need to do that. You have no chance you're going to get one hit KO. There's the staging replacement. Uh-oh. Phantom Dive's damage sprinkling is now live. Oh, dear, Mike.
And those risky ruin 20 damage from last turn.
Yeah, that's so impactful, isn't it?
That Dunsparce put in range.
Yep, there we go. So it's going to be 200 damage into the active, 6 damage counter spread. That's going to be enough to carry Dunsparce and still has 2 more to play with.
Where's he going to put it? Put it 5 on that Dunsparce to finish it. 1
one left, I should say, yep.
And I think at this point, that Genesect in range potentially next turn, it stops Joris from being able to play anything crazy on the bench. But he will now be able to stick the Battle Cage and will be putting the Dunsparce in the active.
I think if you are Joris, at what point do we start thinking about a game 2 and a game 3?
Well, I mean, you got the draw, so you can get rid of that damage. The Battle Cage would be a great card to find at this stage, as it would protect the bench.
We'll need to promote a Pokemon after that runaway draw. And we need to shuffle the deck if we're not going to play anything. Okay, we've got the Buddy Puffin. Going to go eyeing up the Dedenne. Now, that's interesting. Now, Electromagnetic Radar lets you grab back a trainer card and put it back into your hand. But that's a 70 hit point Pokemon. That's not a lot.
Let's put 20 damage on it again from the risky ruin.
Yeah.
No Battle Cage in hand this time, I don't think.
Didn't go for Dunsparce there. I mean, the Dedenne, I should say. Too many Pokemon beginning with D. There's a turn attachment. I mean, how many have we got here? I mean, you could put down the Fez, but oof, that's scary. I think we might have enough here, actually.
I think you'll have to put down the Fez to try and find that Battle Cage. Otherwise, This will be...
So we need 16 for the one-hit KO. I think we have that, but without Battle Cage, you're right. Yoris is so vulnerable to bench damage. What we got there? 1, 2... Okay, didn't get to catch that. Let's try again.
Yeah, this is always the hard bit for us watching
2,
at home.
3,
We don't know...
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, no. That is not close enough. Could the Liner's Aid get us there? I don't think we have enough basic energy for that.
Well, you get
I guess you get back the Pokemon as well. So I think Liner's Aid does get us there.
That'll be +2, which would be 300, because you'd have to play a card.
Oh, no, it won't, yeah.
So that's going to be game
concession.
There. Yoris conceding, recognising it was too much to ask in that turn.
Things didn't quite fall my... Oh, unfair stamp in the prizes there for Ted. Now, it is at the bottom, so traditionally you would get access to that earlier on. Not a guarantee, of course, but we are going to get started for game 2.
That starting hand.
Oh, no, Yoris!
No Abra to put that telepathic energy on. Oh, wow. And oh, the Monkey Dory can hit for 60, which would take out this Dunsparce.
Oh, my, yeah, because that's the right Dunsparce. It's the free retreat. We're only got 60 hit points. Has Ted got... Oh, no, I just realized. Even if he hasn't got a Dreepy, I mean, Yoris can't do anything with the Genesect. So, this could be a fairly quick game 2.
I mean, it might not be that quick. There's a Dawn in hand. There is some ability to stabilise afterwards. But you're asking quite a lot at that stage. I'm just going to put that Psychic on the active with the Crispin and the Fire to hand.
Wow. What a different game when we could see the aggressive Mind Bend. Ooh, yeah, we are going to see the Mind Bend. I like this. Applying pressure. And why not? You haven't got your Abra down. Let's really put you on a clock.
I mean, we saw Andrew Hedrick win the final of LA Regional, attacking with Monkey Dory early on in game 1. We also saw Monkey Dory with the winning attack in Prague for Mateusz Rashkovic. So not just a support Pokemon, very much an attacker in the deck for these Dragapult archetypes.
Here we go. Fantastic pressure there from Ted Tobin. Already up a game and immediately taking a prize card at his earliest opportunity. Now, with this Dawn, Yoris will be able to get some Pokemon into play. Does have the telepathic energy to start getting more Abra around if he likes as well, but already on the back foot.
And it's all about the pressure that's coming out from this Monkey Dory on Ted's side. We'll be able to keep pressure on early stage, take knockouts. And Alakazam only has a few turns to play with normally because it's a one-prize deck. But against Dragapult, you really don't have much time at all because they can take multiple KOs in one turn.
You are so correct. Debate whether to put the Battle Cage down. I think you hold on to that for now. Oh, no. Crushing Hammer. Are we going to go 3 for 3, Ted? You wouldn't, would you? Oh, he has. Oh, no. And that's the thing. If you can't get ahead of energy attachments, Mike, with Alakazam, you can't get enriching energy in the play, in the mix.
Yeah, we saw it last game. It was had to be used, but it wasn't even a progressive turn. It was just to draw cards. But if there was an energy in play, an attack could have been made in the same turn, enriching energy was there. So you're so right. The Crushing Hammers have really changed this game.
And the Lilies as well. Wow. I want to draw attention to that Ultra Ball there, though, Mike. Ultra Balling away, Meowth and Pheasantipity said, I'm not giving you any easy prize cards this game. You're going to have to work for those 6 prize cards, Yoris.
And even putting 60 damage on the Genesect is great because that puts it in range of the Phantom Dive Sprinkles. So not a bad 60 damage at all. And all the while that's happening, Ted will be able to build behind it. Just 6 cards off the Lilies after getting an early knockout.
There's other Stadium, probably not going to use that. I would imagine you'd love to use that to replace Battle Cage. There's a Recon Directed ×2, Crushing Hammer and a Dragapult EX, I believe. I mean, maybe the Crushing Hammer, you know, if you're flipping all these heads, it's mighty good, is going to take the Dragapult EX. That's a sensible choice.
And so the Monkey Dory in the active and a Dracloak on the bench. Really not much developed here for Ted, but it might just be enough at this early stage.
Mind Bend.
No way to get that Genesect out of the active.
No, I don't think so.
It would just be stuck there, so...
No, no Air Balloon. Here we go. Rare Candy Alakazam. Psychic draw, big draw. Kadabra Psychic draw, so that's +5, +7.
Wow, so loads of card draw. Has the opportunity to attack if he had that energy banked, which he doesn't. So that Genesect will be stuck in the active, has no way to attach retreat, has no Air Balloon. And it really just shows you how big that early knockout from the Monkey Dory is and will be for the rest of this game.
Especially in combination with that Crushing Hammer, though. I mean, had that Crushing Hammer not been there, Yours is flying. He's basically saying, you've only got one Dracloak, I'm applying pressure, I've got all my boards set up. That one crushing hammerheads completely flips the script on this game.
Both these players 7-0 here in Utrecht. Will be very happy with that position going into phase 2. Don't need to worry about qualifying for phase 2 at this stage. They did that earlier today. But it will just be every win from this stage forward, placing them higher and higher, getting them closer to that victory that they're hoping to get. For Ted, he's already made Worlds. He's already won a regional level event. For Joris, this could be a chance to make his way into that top 135 of Europe and qualify for Worlds.
And this is the interesting thing. With that Dunsparce getting KO turn 1 and 2 currently in the prizes for Joris, hasn't got access to Dunsparce right now unless you start manipulating your discard pile. So that's why we're seeing so many Abra and Kadabra. This is like, well, if I haven't got access to Dunsparce, I have to draw cards this way. I mean, you can attach that. I mean, you can retreat if you like. What are we going to go into, though? Into Alakazam, that makes sense. But do you want that to get confused, though? I don't know if you do.
I guess if the Alakazam gets KO'd, you've still got draw on board behind it.
Okay.
So it's the least valuable card to see a big hand size, so I can see that. But ultimately, for Ted, he's so far ahead with 1 knockout and that damage sprinkled on the Genesect. A huge knockout this turn with the Dragapult could be enough just to put him 3 prizes left in a great position to take game 2 here on the feature table.
Wow, yeah. Eyeing up the Crispin. Does have Dragapult? Oh, yeah, Dragapult X in hand. So that's it. Phantom Dive is currently live. Oh, wow. That would KO active Alakazam. You could KO Abra. You could KO Genesect. And Joris still hasn't got ahead on energy attachments, so can't weave in enriching energy into the mix.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, Ted's not really drawing that well here.
No, he's not. You're right.
Just able to keep an attack every turn, keep that pressure on, has been key for his success at this stage of the game. But at any moment, Joris takes a key knockout, would be able to potentially get back into the game.
We are going to see the turn attachment there after the Crispin. We are going to see the Mind Bend is looking like for the 60. Okay, I mean, could have applied pressure here, but I mean, the confusion's just as impactful, though, because you got to coin flip if you want to attack. You can't get it out of the active. Hasn't even got energy to attach at this point, might I say. I
really like that. Just punishing that retreat, removing the energy from play, making it so that the damage is getting spread without too much pressure in return. Joris might want to try and flip through his heads because that's all he'll be able to do. And because he put a Pokemon in the active that can't evolve, he can't get around it.
No, that's why I was surprised. I mean, sure, you might give up the Genesect KO, but now you're in it's an equally awkward scenario. Oh, no. I mean, we've got the Psych Energy in hand. Hasn't got a tool for the Ace Nullifier, so it looks like we are going to see a turn attachment. It's going to be a retreat. Okay. This is an important coin flip here, Mike. If heads, this attack will go through and remove that Dracloak.
Ted has flipped 3 heads with those crushing hammer. Joris just needs to flip a single heads.
Here we go. Powerful hand. And it's heads. That's going to remove the Dracloak. Ted getting punished for not Phantom Diving this last turn, Mike.
And there we go. That is a huge knockout at this stage. A key piece, draw engine, and the attacker in the future. No rare candy in Ted's list.
Nope.
So won't be able to get to that Dragapult this turn.
And this is where Joris can start to... Joris has been given a little bit, a window of opportunity. He needs to jump through it head first. Here we go. Is over to Ted now. It's going to evolve into Dracloak and evolve and use Recon Directive.
Now I can finally start going wide on that board, struggling to find those Dreepy in the first half of this game. Does still have that Monkey Dory to attack and can start spreading even more damage, setting up for a big future turn. But now looking to stabilize. No stadium has been put in play at this stage.
Yeah.
Neither player wanting to be the first, because then it will get bumped and then suddenly the stadium battle goes in favor of your opponent. So a really different game here in game 2 compared to game 1.
It is. And I wonder, if you were Ted, would you have Phantom Dove last turn?
I mean, I am not Ted. I'm not as good as Ted, and I would have thought to get aggressive, but actually recognizing that the Monkey Dory damage might in the future go in his favor, and might even just be looking to play slowly here with those crushing hammers as a win condition.
Still got those to fall back. I think we've only seen, one of those just getting crushing hammer this turn, right, I believe?
Yeah, and just the one energy in deck there for Crispin, so...
Okay, how many Night Stretch? He does play 2 copies of Night Stretch. I don't think we've seen them being used yet. Okay.
Okay, might just be looking to spread that energy about onto the Dreepy.
I think you have to spread them about, but it's going to be the Mind Bend. Not enough for a KO, mind. 120 damage in Alakazam is over to Yoris now. What can he do? Handheld Fan, Ace Nullifier is now live. Dunsparce was taken from the prize card, so they're going to start weaving in Runaway Draw. So we haven't seen the judge yet from Tessa. Has got one way to manipulate that hand still. No boss's orders. You'd love a boss's orders here. I mean, you're going to have to retreat, surely.
I mean, at this stage, if Yoris flips tails...
We're not going to retreat. You're going to say you're going to knock himself out, right?
Knock himself out, so really important coin flip coming up.
Did draw the boss's orders, though.
I mean, at this stage, perhaps he has to play risky. He's
maybe so, yeah.
He retreats, loses the energy. That's too much for him to recover from.
Oh, Mike, is he going to do it again?
Another heads flip will be huge.
Oh, he's only gone and done it, Yoris!
Another heads!
Another heads, another prize card. As I said, he's jumping through that window of opportunity. Ted is nowhere near a Phantom Dive.
Confusion is not affecting this Alakazam.
Yeah, what's
powerful hand.
Well, they say Alakazam's a clever poker. We can't confuse Alakazam. He knows what he's doing.
That Monkey Dory trying so hard to exert confusion, but the Dracloaks keep going down. And maybe Monkey Dory will have to have another go.
I mean, you know what? It's only fair. Ted was been flipping his heads with a crushing ham. So you're saying, well, I'm only doing what you're doing, Ted, at the end of the day. You know, you flip heads, I flip heads. Okay. Is over to Ted now, though, who all he can do is try and reload as much as possible.
As much as these head flips have been great, it has been only a 1 prize knockout each time.
This is true.
So Yoris has only got 2 prize cards so far, where Ted has got 1 and plenty of damage sprinkled about. So... you know, the long game is definitely in favour of Dragapult once you start putting damage on board. So maybe Ted has calculated this. He feels comfortable putting that 60 damage on, even if the coin flips go his way. But I'm sure he was hoping for a little bit of confusion there to go in his favour.
Has got boss's orders. I think he's debating whether to boss something up to try and stall. Has got a judge as well. Just debating on what best to do here.
Could be the energy again.
Could be the, I mean, So there's a Night Stretcher. We needed that. As attached to Dracloaks, that's kind of confirming he's going all in on that. And it's going to be a Mind Bend KO, I would imagine. Or could boss his orders and leave the Alakazam for later, maybe? Trying to Adrena Brain it at some point. Or Phantom Dive it, perhaps. Don't mind it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the power of those energy disruptions. If you get a few head flips, suddenly you got a new win condition, which is... trying to manipulate the energy on board. If all the energy disappear for Yoris, he won't have a way to attack. He's already lost 2 energy this game with the telepathics.
True.
As he's retreated with 1 and the other got knocked out.
Now, it is worth noting that Yoris only plays 2 copies of boss's orders, by the way. So that GP is going to stay there. Here is Ted's boss's orders. I mean, I guess when your opponent is confused, but they keep flipping heads, I mean, you have to boss orders around it. Would this be in Genesect then? Oh,
yeah.
I mean, bringing it back. Okay, and it is a pass back over to Yoris. Runaway draw. That's going to get back enriching energy. Did draw into Battle Cage for what it's worth.
I mean, maybe just trying to get as much draw done on board so Yoris cannot get away from a judge next turn. Perhaps Ted just happy to play the slow game here and completely block off any win condition by taking away all the energy. Definitely thinking of an unusual victory route here by Ted. Last game, it was just take 2 prizes over and over again, and you'll be happy. But now we'll be looking to manipulate the board a little bit differently.
Big psychic hand there from the Alakazam. Psychic draw, I should say. I mean, has got a lot of options, but without boss's orders, I mean, we are just going to be announcing Psychic Hand into the Dreepy. Whether or not we're doing it with a Confusion flip, I mean, that's only one way to find out, but yeah, it hasn't got the greatest of resources left. Sacred Ash, Lana's Aid to get back energy. He's been very more, careful with energy attachments. Apart from the enriching, he's only attached that 1 basic Psychic.
There's a Night Stretcher, but it's in the prizes. So is the Lana's Aid.
Oh, Lana's Aid is prize. Oh, yeah, good spot.
Yoris has 2 recovery cards in the prizes.
Sorry, just play a 3rd copy of Boss, but that's in the prizes as well, sorry. So, here we go. Telepathic energy. Oh, got to be careful with that, though. Could get Crushing hammered off. Oh, okay, you're going to retreat. That makes sense. So Battle Cage comes down, want to pay retreat, big psychic hand. I mean, it would be a KO, it's going to be more than enough. But worth knowing, with that Battle Cage, Mike, that Alakazam on the bench is currently safe.
And this is where that big Phantom Dive turn could be impactful. Phantom Dive combined with a Judge.
Yep, is in hand.
Would be really powerful. So there we go. Risky Ruins, Buddy Poffin. The stadium bump is there.
Yeah.
So this is a big turn now for Ted, because this is the turn he's been waiting for. He's been playing slow, been playing safe, building up to a big Dragapult knockout. And at this stage, with the Drakloak in the active, it looks to be this turn.
Yeah, this is going to be a turn. Recon Directive, Crushing Hammer, that could be impactful. Oh, here we go. We haven't seen a tail slip yet. There's the Dragapult EX. You know, Riz, it's just on the active telepathic, isn't it? So Crushing Hammer isn't too impactful right now.
And you could also take out the Kadabra here, and that would reduce the draw massively. Would get 2 from that Lucky Helmet, but the Judge here timed to perfection. It's 1 disruption card. When that Ace Nullified Genesect's in play, you cannot use your Unfair Stamp. So the Judge as the backup option for Ted. 4 cards for Yoris will be drawn off the back of this shuffle.
I mean, can Yoris do the unthinkable and go from 4 to 16? I don't know. Lucky Helmet does get you back up to 8. Here we go, though. 4 cards for both our players here. Crushing Hammer. Battle. I mean, but Risky Ruins and a Boss's Orders that was. So there's the Monkey Dory. Ooh. Oh, I think you do go after Dunsparce, right? Just to make sure you're not going to get to 16 cards. A big KO on the active, of course. 6 damage counters on the bench to Dunsparce. That is a KO. Does get to draw 2 from Lucky Helmet.
And with 2 Alakazam in play, the Kadabra on the bench being your only draw, you're going to really struggle to build up this hand size here.
And here's the problem we went into. Can't use Enriching because we ain't got no Psych Energy in play again. So if I'm correct, all we can do is +3 here from Alakazam on the bench. But then you can't, it won't be +3. If you want to attack, it'll be +2 because you're going to turn attach. So, I mean, sure you can use Dawn and Hilda, but we're not getting 16.
I mean, that's why that Judge turn is so powerful. Ted was being patient, waiting for the right turn to pull it off. And 3 prize cards left for Yoris. It's going to be asking quite a lot, especially with how much damage is already on the board. You know, there's a way that Ted could take a big 3 prize knockout next turn with a little bit of spread from that Monkey Dory if that Risky Ruins adds some damage to the board.
Yep, that is currently live. You are correct. More than easy enough to pull off, right? Because... yeah, bench Alakazam has 20. Genesect has 50. Get some Monkey Dory in the mix.
Well, he's already got the damage on board with the Dunsparce and the Monkey.
So, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So without a Battle Cage going down, without a knockout on this Dragapult, it's going to be a lot to ask for Yoris.
It definitely will be. Iron up the Buddy Poffin here. Telepathic Energy. Yeah, we still have the Alakazam. Wait, he hasn't got Alakazam in hand. Has he? Are they all in play or discard pile? They must be.
Yeah, and there's no...
yeah, wow.
No Battle Cage in hand. Very little draw at this stage.
Yeah, no Alakazam in deck. Oh, no. So we're not even going to get that Psychic draw, I should say. No Battle Cage, Mike. I think that means Yoris is in trouble.
I think so. We'll be able to get some damage on the Dragapult, but Ted is staring down a 3 prize turn next turn.
Oh, no. And I tell you what, that is 3 prize cards the hard way. There's no EX or Megapode when we get knocked out here.
You can start to see those 60 damages from the Monkey Dory throughout the game have been incredibly impactful, as Ted now is going to be finding his way to victory in this turn.
Does he see it?
And it's going to be just that draw for turn.
Surely you see it.
Just checking how much damage it is.
Yoris is like, yeah, here's your turn, by the way. I think Ted is just eyeing it up. Don't make any mistakes here. Requires 10 damage.
Putting that 10 onto the Alakazam.
Onto one of them.
Taking the active out, 60 across the 2 benched, and Ted will be taking 3 prizes here to win the game. 8-0 going into phase 2. Ted is one of our front runners.
Yep, congratulations. What a
This is it. An opportunity to see, ooh, nice and pink on the right-hand side there for Kim. and a couple of opportunities. Oh, there's just a 101 line as well. And we do also get a big Pokemon for Christian. There's a fist bump. The Wellspring Ogerpon EX is also prized. It looks like Christian's kicking. Oh, no, maybe not. Maybe it's Kim kicking us off with the Buddy Poffin.
Bringing all the buddies to the bench. Dreepy needs some friends to back them up. Now, it's a great start to be able to get more Dreepy out because, of course, we do have one in the prize cards and one Dragapult and our one of Meowth. So having a couple of good supporters for draw in hand this early is kind of nice. We're sitting on a pretty good hand. We've got the Dracloak ready for next turn. So honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if this was just a pass the turn after this and we're ready up for next turn. Going first has definitely done Kim well this time, as we'll be able to make a really decisive play next turn and maybe even judge Christian, which could really mess up his play. So hopefully Christian has something they can jump back with, but they won't be able to put the early pressure on with that Wellspring Ogerpon EX, which is very good at knocking out those Dreepy, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. Christian's already mentioned in the interview when speaking to him, he did want to play against this matchup. He's yet to play against Dragapult, so this is his opportunity really to showcase exactly why he's decided to pilot Raging Bolt here, as you do get a Dark Energy attachment and committed to the active, and it's a pass over. Christian's got plenty of cards to work with 2 mulligans that he's taken as well. Let's see how we're going to be able to maneuver with this hand here. Has a couple of energies. We'll be able to Teal Dance as well to draw additional cards, but he's also got that Meowth, maybe just trying to get into sort of more important Pokemon for setup. Here's the Teal Dance aiming for 1 and hits the Mega Kangaskhan, which is always nice to see.
That's a lovely top deck from that Teal Dance. Ogerpon putting in the work already this game. I'm so surprised he managed to dodge all of the Dragapult in the room so far, but what a place to be. If you want to show off and you want to show I know how this matchup works, who better than one of the big experts themselves, Kim, right?
Absolutely, as we do get now the Meowth EX, a staple in so many decks now because of that fantastic last-ditch catch ability, something we've seen a bit of a throwback in other Pokemon cards previously as well, but able to grab a supporter from your deck, and this is one of the key aspects. This allows Christian to then start setting up the board state, maybe deciding to go for something like a Cyrano, to then go into free EX Pokemon, which looks like the decision here from Christian. So that Latias EX to get that free retreat onto all basic Pokemon with that Skyliner ability, prep and understand where that Lily's Clefairy EX is, but also then can just move over into that Mega Kangaskhan, start drawing more cards, get attachments on, and then apply pressure on a future turn.
Very well said. Let's see what Serrano's got in store. It was a nice selection as far as I'm concerned. We've got Latias. We've got our Skyliner ability online now, so free retreat for our basic Pokemon. And then, yeah, it looks like we've just grabbed our Raging Bolt, an Attacker, very important, and Lily's Clefairy, which is obviously going to put a lot of pressure on Kim to disrupt Christian to avoid that pesky eventuality.
Yeah, now I wonder if Christian is aware of the type of lift that Kim is playing, I should say, sorry, with the double judge as well, because that's something we've got to keep an eye out for. Mega Kangaskhan in the active spot, run error now for 2 cards. Energy attachment, so important. Needs to find Crispin for the next turn.
All the energy switch!
Doesn't need it. Energy switch for that turn as well. And we're just going to prep ourselves for the next turn. So this could be massive, and it's just a pass over. Big hand to work with. It's over to Kim. We do have Dracloak, and then also the judge straight away.
Straight down, both players, shuffle your hand into your deck, draw 4 cards. Christian's going to be thinking, oh no, what a pickle.
Especially after cherry picking that Lily's Clefairy EX to the hand a moment ago as well. Just trying to think, maybe Kim won't be disrupting me anytime soon. But this is the direction that Kim's got. Kim does get the 4 cards, but does have access to 1 Recon Directive, at least for the interim.
Let's see what we get. Boss, Lily, Hammer, Pokepad. Okay, not awful, not great. We can Pokepad for another Dracloak, and that'll give us a little bit more draw power, but we're going to go and see what we can see first. We're going to go for the Ultra Ball there off that first Recon Directive, and I imagine we're going to Pokepad for another go at that, because this still is very far from ideal.
Yep, absolutely. It does hold on to the Crushing Hammer for the moment as well. That could be one way to try and disrupt the build of Christian with the 2 energies on the active Mega Kangaskhan. Does mean he will have to try and find maybe another Grass Energy and E-Switch or Crispin to actually start firing off that rapid fire combo from the Mega Kangaskhan. So we'll see whether that's the direction he goes in. Second Recon Directive now.
Here we go. Okay, Psychic Energy, that's a nice start. We need some of that, but we're still a little bit short of what we want here. It might be worth Ultra Balling for that third Dracloak, or it's whether we just try and start putting pressure on Christian. Here's our first coin flip of the match. Oh, it's the tails.
So not impactful for the moment, just a pass over, gets the attachment onto the Dracloak with the Psychic Energy. Now over to Christian. Can we take advantage of the situation? Gets a teal dance off, which is always nice, before the run errand. Does have the energy in hand already as well. Now to start swinging away. Run errand, 2 more cards. We're seeing some decent cards here, but I mean, not too much else we're really having to work with. I think we could be in an okay spot here. Although you would love to be targeting down that Dracloak with energy.
You really would, but I don't know if there's any way that we can actually kind of advance our play too much more this turn. We might go for a Meowth so that we have a good draw supporter, but otherwise, that's kind of really all we need.
No, he's going for the boss's order.
I love that.
This is, you called me out, Amy, you got it right, but it's the boss's order to try and accelerate the game where you can apply so much more pressure. You still have the draw power, and the Mega Kangaskhan doesn't typically get knocked out. So there's the first prize of Phase 2 feature match here in the Swiss Round 9, and that's 1 Dracloak down. Kim's working with 1 Dreepy, 1 Dracloak. What can we do here? It's eyeing up that Ultra Ball. Does have Lily's determination to try and get back into the game and draw into some key pieces as well. But Christian applying the pressure nice and early.
Yeah, that judge didn't really have the desired effect in the end, as Christian was able to replenish the hand and utilize the boss's orders to put early game heavy pressure on by just taking out the Dracloak that had the Psychic Energy. Obviously, the Dreepy has an energy, but it's a Darkness Energy, and Dragapult don't like those.
Not as useful. Not really supposed to be attached to the Dreepy. It's always nice to get him attached to you. Utilize the retreats, maybe, so you know the Dark is in the discard pile, maybe to move it over into something like a Badoo, or maybe even utilize it for something like the Yveltal, for example, to get into the active spot. But here's a Lily's determination for 8. For the moment, we do have access to another Buddy Poffin. We do know 1 Dreepy is in the prizes, so with 1 in the discard pile now, won't be able to go into that, but is eyeing up the Badoo, maybe just to slow the game down a little bit more so that we can start setting up the board state and start retaliating as soon as possible.
Yeah, I don't want to be giving Christian any more wiggle room, really. So if we're not going to be able to launch a meaningful attack, if we're Kim, the better alternative surely is just to be really annoying and make all of Christian's Pokemon really itchy with that pollen, and no item cards will be able to be utilized.
Yeah, we do have double Night Stretcher in hand as well, so that'd be one way to just maybe get back another Dreepy, maybe the other Dracloak as well. So that's deciding in this scenario where we're going to be going into the Badoo anyway. So we've got another Recon Directive activated now. So let's see what we hit here. There's a Crispin.
Ooh, we like the Crispin, but we've decided not to go for that this time. We do have energy in hand and a Night Stretcher. I suppose we just don't have the Fire type energy, right?
Well, we've got a Psychic, so at least we can get an energy attachment somewhere.
We do have the Fire in hand as well.
So we've got some things to work with. We do have the Crushing Hammer in hand at the same time. We're getting the Dragapult. We're telepathing the Dragapult here into the hand as well, unless we decide to evolve up. For the moment, sometimes a lot of our players like to keep those abilities around so that we can keep utilizing Recon Directive, see more cards. It's always ever so important. Let's see the direction we go down here. Kim's just second guessing himself, making sure he's aware of what is prized from his game plan.
Yeah, keeping Dracloak in the game, but not evolving to Dragapult doesn't give Christian an opportunity to make it kind of squishier with some damage. But we are going to evolve that bench one just to make sure that we definitely have it for next turn. The attachment of the Psychic Energy, retreat using that Darkness Energy earlier attached to the active, and we're into Badoo for a bit of Itchy Pollen time.
Yeah, time to set the scene here with an Itchy Pollen item lock on Christian's side of the board. Oh, Christian's just top decked another boss's order, so can maybe target down another key Pokemon there, as we do get another run errand. So do we want to utilize another one of those boss's orders? Because there's only 2 in the list. We're going to have to start swinging away at the active Pokemon at some stage, but is it better just to take down some of those support Pokemon, especially when Dracloak has that Recon Directive there? Here comes Area Zero, Underdebt, and a Cyrano first.
Not going to go for the boss's orders yet. Not worth it right now. Need to establish the board and get as much energy flowing as possible, because Crushing Hammers are no good if you've just got ton of energy all over the board. At that point, it becomes really difficult because the Crushing Hammers do at that point feel like dead cards in the deck. They're just not having enough of a desired effect. And that's the beauty of this format right now, is a lot of our Pokemon that are attacking with very little energy attached to be able to use the attack.
So I really like this from Christian, because by getting another Teal Mask Ogerpon, we can spread the energies across all of our Pokemon, so we can get Raging Bolt, basically threatening the board here, as there is another Rapid Fire combo. But we've also grabbed Lily's Clefairy EX. That's another threat. We've grabbed Pheasantipity EX, which gives us some more draw power should you do anything to cause and wreak havoc on his side of the board. So this is really heads-up play here from Christian, and I really, really like that.
Ooh, it's a heads this time, but which energy are we taking? We're taking the Lightning away from Raging Bolt, which is a good call. Team Rocket's Watchtower comes down, so the Meowth aren't going to be working, and neither is Kangaskhan, but the Meowth can actually run away to the discard pile because they are being bumped off because Area 0 isn't there anymore.
Easy targets, so you don't want them on the field, especially when they've done their job. They've caught some stuff from the deck, taken the Spore out, and this is really tricky for Christian now with the Watchtower coming down, because I believe one of the other Latias may have been discarded already. He doesn't really want to give that up, or just having that maneuverability is ever so important. But that Pheasantipity being there, you want that draw power, and that's what it looks like. Oh, it's deliberating. Pheasantipity hits the discard pile, back down to 5 on the bench.
And Lily's comes down, determined to get Kim into a more stable position, and we're going to be able to draw that fresh 8 cards.
Yeah, so just deliberating exactly what's available in the discard pile for Christian's side, but Kim's going to continue working through what he has access to. 2 more cards there. Hits the 3rd Crushing Hammer there.
Recon Directive sees even more cards.
Yeah, pretty nice. Poker Pad allows you to grab the other Dracloak as well, evolve that up, get another Recon Directive, sort of protect yourself a little bit more.
And that's the beauty of this deck, right? We've seen so many cards already. Kim basically knows half the deck's here, half the deck's there, and that's between the discard pile and the deck itself. And because we obviously have those night stretchers, any Pokemon or energy in the discard pile essentially becomes a pseudo draw pile, because we can just fish them out at any point.
Yeah, absolutely. And now it's going to be key here, because we're going to be firing off that Phantom Dive. There's a number of Pokemon that he can set up for sort of multiple knockouts at some stage as well. There's a Recon. Is that another Judge?
It's Judge or Hammer.
I mean, if he hits more of the Hammer heads, it can be pretty impactful here.
Yeah, this is a coin flip decision, let alone coin flipping off that Hammer.
This 50-50, and it's making Kim think about it.
I think he should flip a coin.
Yeah. I mean, if he's able to flip, if he's still got the other one in hand, which means we will see all 4 Crushing Hammers being played in sort of these few short turns that we've had, it could be really impactful. He hit double heads, but he's got one in. He's got one already. He's taken the Judge.
He's gone for the less risky move.
No, I think that's a little bit more preferred. Like, he would have to hit double heads for it to be really impactful. Here comes the Phantom Dive now. Now it's going to be key to go which direction. Do we start putting some damage counters on Teal Mask Ogerpons just to kind of bring him within range? You've got the Latias as well. So there's a number of different options here. Or even start prepping the Raging Bolt to be knocked out in one hit at the same time. Goes for the Lily's Clefairy EX, just applying 6. So that's now down to 130 HP, I believe. It had 190 as a base. Maybe just try and telepath a way to really make it super easy to knock it out.
Yeah, sometimes that's just what you want, and maybe even beyond that, being able to use multiple attacks and kind of just chip away. It's got such low HP that you might not even need to attack it from the active spot at any point. Crispin comes down and accelerates that energy even more for Christian.
Yeah, and let's have a little look at those energies that are currently on the board, Amy. We've got 3 on the Mega Kangaskhan. We got 1 on Teal Mask Ogerpon EX. We've got another 1 on Teal Mask Ogerpon EX. That's the 5 that you need for a massive knockout for a Raging Bolt. You just need to go down that route here. But we're going Lily's Clefairy because it's a little bit easier. It just needs a 2 energy attachment. There's a Teal Dance. And now just the extra energy attachment from hand will mean Lily's Clefairy will be able to start swinging away with weakness as well. It's a lot of damage that it does. Does it do enough right now with that Full Moon Rondo? Going
for another Teal Dance first, just see all of the cards that we can possibly see. We do have an energy switch in hand, so we could attach elsewhere. Considering the Night Stretcher, I think, for the lightning energy, and then possibly bringing Oh, okay, you're going for the water energy from the Kangaskhan, Night Stretcher, and then attach for turn to ready up our Raging Bolt for a future turn.
Yeah, full Moon Rondo doing 20 plus 20 more damage for each bench Pokemon. So there we have 7 bench Pokemon right now is 160, plus the base will be 160 damage times 2, 320. Perfect math to take a massive knockout on that Dragapult EX. And now Kim is really up against it with just double Dracloak in play.
Lily's Clefairy showing off why it's going into a lot of decks to try and push Dragapult out of this meta. It is fearsome, although small. And here we go into Kim's turn, looking at all the options available to us. We will be able to establish another Dragapult this turn, but can we get the energy on? I don't believe there's much left in deck. We've got Crispin in hand, but the energy needs to stay in the deck if we're going to be able to do that. So that fire energy is going to need to go back to the bottom. I'm not sure how many energy we've actually gone through yet, and whether, I don't think I've seen much darkness energy, so it may be possible to Crispin on that alone. There is the extra darkness energy, so we now know that Crispin is a possibility as long as the dark energy is put back, which it is. So there is a possibility here that now we might be able to establish a Dragapult somehow. I
guess the question is, do you fire off an attack with Dragapult EX, sort of leaving it vulnerable as a big Pokemon, or do you go down the Yveltal route? Try and slow the game down, maybe bring something up like the Latias EX, where it can't attack, and it looks like that's the angle we're going for here. Maybe start applying a lot of pressure and just putting some small amounts of damage with that Yveltal attack.
So one of the reasons that this deck is running that Latias in the multiples as well is that it can attack, and it does double damage because of the Lily's Clefairy. So it's actually kind of scary as well. That's why we run multiple Psychic Energy. You run the 2 on purpose for that, and 4 Energy Switch just does allow for that attacking prowess of the Latias. Practically everything in Christian's deck can attack, and I've known the Latias during testing to be very useful against this deck in a very bizarre way.
Yeah, so let's look at the direction we take here. It's just a pass over to Christian, and that just get the double energy attachments to the Dracloaks, two fire energies, 1 each apiece. And now it's just over to Christian. Can he work out the game plan here? Because he knows that Yveltal will be coming at some stage. Can't win on this turn unless you get some real cheeky knockouts with that Wellspring Ogremon EX, which he's just taken off the prizes as well. But would need something pretty crazy like double energy switch. Gets the Teal Dance. Let's see some more cards first. That's a Crispin.
Okay, that guess is a weirdly close.
Now it's down to what energies we have left in deck, for example.
We've definitely got some grass energy left in deck. I don't know about the others, though. Looks like we might have some fighting left, because there isn't one in hand, and there's one in prizes.
We haven't really seen them too much.
No, there's only 2 in the deck, so I think 1 is in the deck. So I think Crispin is a possibility. It's whether we want to use it on the Wellspring or not.
Well, I guess the water energy right now is committed to the Lily's Clefairy, which without an energy switch, we won't be able to move it out. It is just going to be a retreat into the Mega Kangaskhan with that Skyliner ability first. We'll run errand. We've got, a Glass Trumpet. Doesn't have any targets.
Nope.
Which is a bit of a shame for the moment, at least.
Meowth hit the discard pile earlier. I mean, Christian does have the opportunity to take this turn slow, because Kim currently can't take 6 prize cards in one go. And that's what they're up against.
So this is the tricky point. He's got to just double check what energies he has access to, because if Kim does go down the route of maybe trying to trap the Latias EX, he needs to be aware of the energy switches, which I see a couple in there. The Crispin here, I think there's still one more, well, a couple of energies left in the deck for another further Crispin, and then the Latias can then actually start swinging away, like you say, as well. But then it's just on whether Kim can handle that. And this is the Crispin. Oh, yeah, he's just double checking. One of them does get attached when you get 2. And we're coming to the active. So now we've got a Mega Kangaskhan ready to rapid fire combo once again. Double checking the hand.
I think at this point, we're just making sure that everything is in order, ready to go ahead and go down to 1 prize card, and kind of hope for the best in that situation. The worst thing here would be like an unfair stamp and then the clutch.
Yeah, little does he know, but Kim doesn't have access It's unfair stamp as it is prize. We saw that a little bit earlier from the prizes, of course. Yveltal does go into the active spot, does have that free retreat, but of course has that fantastic clutch attack as well. So Crushing Hammer coming into play now again. Tails this time. But I mean, look how many energies are on the board.
So many. Would it make a difference? I mean, I guess you can take one away from Raging Bolt and hope that they aren't able to reattach one of them, so that could have been an angle, but again, like, then they've still got Clefairy and Ogerpon and the Kangaskhan itself. Every single Pokemon in this deck right now can attack.
Pheasantipity taken from the Recon Directive here. What's the angle that we go down? Needs the Dark Energy to be able to even use Clutch as an option. Gone through a lot of the deck. There are a lot of cards in that discard pile. That deck is looking pretty thin at the moment as well.
It's a really sticky situation for Kim to be in, but Dragapult is very well known for being able to take these huge turns and come back from sticky situations like this. So Kim's assessing the whole situation to check whether this is as bad as it looks or whether he can take enough prize cards. I mean, we knock out this Mega Kangaskhan, right, and we get 3 prize cards. Then we're only a short stone's throw away from 6 at that point. So we've already got 2 Pokemon with damage in play. Lily's Clefairy could continue to have energy manipulated, damage manipulated onto it.
Yeah, I think the way Kim has to win this game will be to take essentially a 6-prize turn at some stage, because we're going to have to trap some things, and it's likely to have to be that Latias EX. Here comes a Pheasantipity. It was energy committed to the Dragapult. Now, it does have the Judge in hand, right? So that could be one way we can try and limit what's available. But is that enough? I mean, that Raging Bolt does have energies. Here's Flip the Script. Can we turn things around here? There's another Pokepad. What do we have access to? There's...
I think we're just trying to thin the deck to make sure that we kind of hit the cards we need in a future turn, because as you're saying, we do need to piece together something quite big. Going for that another Crushing Hammer.
It'd be big. It's another tail scoop up.
No, there it is. That was the final coin flip.
So we'll be going into game 2. We get a glance of the prizes here. Pheasantipity in the prizes. Chen Pao, Raging Bolt. Again, nothing too crazy on either side, I don't believe.
No.
So it's Kim starting, and he's just got an energy attachment to that Yveltal. Dark energy at least, which is nice, so that you can utilize Clutch at some stage. But Christian does open with a Cyrano, and I'm sure we're going to see that Latias EX come down. We're going to see Mega Kangaskhan.
Is that a hand?
Oh, well. Yeah, there you go. He's opened with 3 Meowths in his hand, which is pretty cute. He does play all 3.
Okay, lovely. So we're going to get some mega card draw here, and Latios coming down as well to give the Meowth free retreat. We're going to be able to attach to Ogerpon. I mean, if I had to be devil's advocate, you could knock out that Yveltal this turn.
Yes, it's definitely possible. It's a scary thought, but I wonder if you're in Christian's shoes, you want to just take it a little bit slower, get yourself set up. Christian's, as when I spoke to him, he was happy going into this matchup, right?
I mean, it depends what he gets off the teal dance. That's the big one.
Very true. And the run errand. Don't forget that.
And now there's a run errand. So we're not going to be able to retreat another time. We are committing to taking it slow.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do get... Oh, there's the teal dance. So I think it was an Ultra Ball and a Glass Trumpet here.
Ooh,
so we'll at the very
lovely.
least get an attachment to the active. And then we have Meow for Crispin on future turn as well. But it's just whether we decide to maybe Ultra Ball away some of those energies, maybe get the Glass Trumpet going, because we can get it onto the Meowth on the bench.
Ooh, I like.
Opening for energy switch as well. But let's just take our time here. Surely we don't need to rush things. We're in a good little spot here. Got the right energies. But Ultra Ball first.
No, I like it. I like the Ultra Ball play, Alex. I like your thinking. I think Christian does too. Going for that second Mega Kangaskhan and a Grass type energy. Going to get that Trumpet a little bit on board. And we can only really attach to the Meowth anyway right now. It might not be impactful now, but might be impactful later. So important to grab the Meowth now and have the energy in the discard pile to be able to utilize that at all.
Yeah, and also kind of plays down some of those item cards which wouldn't be able to play if Kim is able to get into the Badoo, for example. But it's just a pass. He does get the Lily's Clefairy EX, threatening it as an attacker on a future turn.
Oh,
what's
Alex,
that hand looking like, Amy?
Bad. Bad with a capital B-A-D. But Meowth is in the back. So we do have a Meowth. We can get a draw supporter. We can change it up a little. But this, Meowth into a Lily's, I assume, is going to be kind of big.
Yeah, and this is kind of the decision here from Kim, actually just kind of deliberating.
Are we going to go for the boss and try and clutch early on? We're going for the Meowth, trying to use clutch to kind of slow Christian's play down a bit before we go into anything too crazy.
Yeah, I don't dislike this because Meowth isn't really going to be knocking anything out anytime soon. Does also get an energy onto the Monkey Dory, so that's also an opportunity to have a pivot Pokemon at some stage, as well as we do get a Teal Dance now from the Teal Mask. Ogrepon EX. Now we're just going to start committing some energies there and maybe eventually Tucktail, which allows you to go run away back into the deck.
I think it's probably going to happen. I think we get the attach for turn here. It's probably a pass, or we are going to trump it. We're going to threaten it now and say, look, I've got the opportunities. I'm going to do it. I'm going to put energy on this Meowth. We're going to put another one on Kangaskhan just to get it ready. And we're going in for our own Meowth.
Yeah, I also like, it looks like he also top decked that Team Rocket's Watchtower as well. So I wonder, no, he's not going to play it yet. He's going to keep it into hand for the moment. Lily's determination now is an opportunity to set up that board and continue clutching, because usually this will give him an opportunity to have at least 2 more turns. Depends if Christian can find something like the energy switch to Tucktail sooner rather than later.
Oh, let's find out. It's going to be a tricky situation, if not, because Kim then kind of has all of the time in the world.
Could Crushing Hammer those energies away as well and make it real annoying for Christian's side?
Could be frustrating indeed. So yeah, actually Meowth could be stuck in the active for quite a while, taking a cat nap.
Didn't find a Buddy Poffin though, only had to Pokebad for that one Dreepy. Does have access to a Dracloak in hand, but ideally would have wanted to find a couple of those Dreepy pieces just to really start getting into your big bad attackers at some stage. But can continue being really annoying with Boss's orders at some point as well. Here's another clutch, 40 damage on the Meowth EX now, down to 130.
Meowth stuck in the active once again.
I think he's hit a Crispin.
Oh, we got a Crispin. We could go ahead and Tucktail this turn, and that would allow Meowth to go back. So we would actually get to put all this Pokemon and all attached cards into your hand. So then the Grass-type energy we can reattach to the Ogrepon using Teal Dance. So actually, I really like this because specifically the energy bounces back to your hand as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also you have access to Meowth once again for another last-ditch catch. I mean, Kim's not to know that he actually has multiple already in hand. 60 damage to the Yveltal right now. But this is the opportunity. Does Kim go for after this Recon Directive? Depending on what we draw here, there's a Dreepy and another Dreepy in hand. So can put another 2 down here. Just putting that Dreepy away. Just taking the Dracloak. Gets another Dreepy down. Do we just boss his orders here? Maybe try and slow the game down a little bit further. I do like this.
Yeah, there we go. Latias coming forward, and yeah, going to be another couple of turns of clutching at straws and making sure that Latias isn't going anywhere anytime soon. And then Christian's put in an awkward position. Here we go. We have an energy switch, but we don't have any psychic type energy in play currently, and doesn't look like we've got a Crispin. We can play the Meowth to force a Crispin into play, but then we do still need more energy than that because we're going to need more psychic. Crispin has to get us 2 different types of energy.
Absolutely, and only plays 2 psychic energies. 1 is prize, so Latias won't be able to attack in this scenario. But again, Kim's not to know that. He's just causing an annoyance, dealing 40 damage because of the dark weakness on the Latias. Here comes Meowth back down again for the last-ditch catch. Let's see the direction that we go down.
Yeah, I think
we're double-checking what's available. But do we just even threaten it anyway and just say, look, we'll get some energy attachments. Are you sure you want to leave my Latias in the active spot maybe at some stage? There you go.
Put some pressure on. Try and make it seem like we can, just so that Kim takes the knockout. Because the earlier Kim takes the knockout, the earlier Christian can start to kind of fight back. So putting some pressure on Kim to try and illuminate that, you know, I can totally attack with this. And you know what? It can take out a Dragapult. So it might kind of feel to Kim like they're forced into a situation where the Dragapult needs to come out now. However, currently, that isn't the case. It's just not possible.
And what if I hit a Crushing Hammer? I know we just sent one to the bottom of the deck with Recon Directive. We get a Pokepad now being utilized or worked into to get a Pokemon into the hand. So Pokepad, such a great card in decks like these, in so many decks actually. It just opens the doors for so many for that card to be accessing so many different types of Pokemon. Non-rule box Pokemon, of course, but when you're getting things like Dracloak, you're getting things like Alakazams. It's such a great card, great consistency that's hit a lot of decks right now.
Certainly has. Ooh, okay. Finally got a fire energy on Ultra Cloak. We're going to boss Meowth and we're going to keep going with this clutch parade and just say, no, okay, I am afraid of that, actually. Clutch Meowth instead. So Meowth's back in the active again. And we're in this sticky situation where once again we might have to Crispin onto the Meowth.
Yeah, and it's one of those scenarios now where Kim's going to be looking for that dark energy, because I think, is that just a fire energy on the Monkey Dory for the moment?
Yeah, it is indeed.
So we won't be able to utilize and use Adrenabrain with that dark energy to try and heal up some of that Yveltal play, because we're going Crispin straight to the active right now, and it looks like we're going to get that energy switch being worked on in this scenario, which means that Meowth, with 2 attacks, will be able to take down a Yveltal with 110 HP.
Tucktail putting in some work. Meowth's got moves. Getting some energy attached there. We only need one more. We could energy switch, but we also have Teal Dance still online. So going to go ahead and move one of those grass energy for now, and then we're going to Teal Dance. And again, I love that these energy bounce back to the hand with the Meowth as well, so we can keep dancing turns and turns ahead as well. So Tucktail indeed going to take out Yveltal.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen a real archetype which has that kind of bouncing attack, either back to the bench or even back to hand, but we've seen it played and worked on with this Meowth so far. I mean, we've got another Meowth on the bench right now, so we could potentially see more Tucks at some point. But here we go. Kim working with that recon directive. See what we've got. There's the Monkey Dory coming to hand.
So much fire energy and no psychic to be seen. Every single time, we just haven't seen any psychic energy yet. We've only seen darkness. There it is, but we're debating taking the psychic energy. We have taken it rather than the Crispin, because this way we can use the Crispin and the Crushing Hammer and try and make a sticky situation for Christian. Here we go. We got the head. So now Kim has to pick which energy is taken away. We're going for that psychic energy, kind of telepathing that I'm not comfortable with that situation.
Yeah, it's key to look at with Christian actually taking 1 prize already. Did actually get the second psychic energy, the one that was prized off the prizes there, as we do get the combo of the Team Rocket's Watchtower and the Judge now. So just saying to Christian, well, you won't be able to utilize your run errands alongside anything like last-ditch catch.
No, Mega Kangaskhan and Meowth both offline. Rocket's Watchtower says normal types are not going to have any abilities. They are offline. We can use the Teal Mask Ogopon, but that is it. There's only going to draw us 1 card. So Christian will be working with a hand of 5 after their draw for turn, and we'll see whether they can then get anywhere further. Last game, Judge didn't do them many favors, but maybe this time it'll be different. So going for a Pokepad before our Recon Directive so that we can thin the deck of a card that we would rather not see on the Recon Directive.
Yeah, absolutely. Dragapult EX in the active spot now, trying to exploit the fact that Mega Kangaskhan won't be able to draw more cards, or Meowth EX able to use that ability, that fantastic search for a supporter ability as well. Recon Directive seeing double Night Stretcher in that scenario, and now it's on Kim to work out exactly where he's going to place that Phantom Dive damage counters on Christian's side of the board. Again, he put 6 straight on the Clefairy last time, but then this time is deciding to target both the Teal Mask Ogopon EX, the 1, and then the 6 onto the Latias. That's the 1.
Terror.
Is there a damage counter?
Oh, it's a damage counter. Oh, yeah, it's counter, not damage.
We're okay.
Oh,
we're okay. No, it's great to call out just in case, because that's a Terra Pokemon. This one's got one of those unique abilities that stops damage onto your bench or bench Terra Pokemon, which is a very unique thing here. We do instantly have the Area 0 under deck, so we do get access to that run errand now as well. We'll get Teal Dance as well. There's 4 energies on that Teal Mask Ogopon EX.
I always forget its damage count is not damage, and so we can still go ahead and just 1 is enough, making its HP down to 200. Such a terrifying notion for Christian. It's one of the reasons I kind of always wonder whether Dragapult, you know, really does have a bit of a pocket of opportunity here now to be able to use boss's orders, but we've already used up so many in the early game just to keep managing to rebuild a board state.
No, yeah, I think we've got 1 in hand, right? I think it's been a lot of Crispins for the Meowth and the Latias EX. He did use a number of the boss's orders in the first game as well. But again, he's only got access to 2, so that's the key thing here that Christian has to be wary of. Just deciding which direction we go down, because what should he target down? Can take 2 prizes with Meowth, can take a prize with the Dracloak, and yes, he goes for the draw power, try and limit what Kim has access to. So, Christian down to 4 prizes now, already 1 game up, 14 minutes to go. Kim's got to try and turn this around as soon as possible.
You know what? I think they can do it as well. That's the thing with Dragapult. You can take those big multi-prize turns, and there's a bunch of damage already littered around the board. So, it's not far-fetched to say that we could be able to do this.
Yep, absolutely. Recon Directive here, as we do get the Night Stretcher now for the second Recon Directive. That's going to be a crushing hammer to hand.
Ooh, okay, that could make the difference. That could start to slow things down as well.
And we know we don't have any damage on our side of the board at the moment. We can start prepping some other Pokemon, like other Dracloaks, other Dragapults, effectively, just in case one does go down. That Monkey Dory still hanging in there with that fire energy on it. Not typical, but does sometimes find it in a way to just retreat as a pivot Pokemon, which is always good.
Yeah, without our Yveltal, that just kind of gives us the natural pivot of the Yveltal's effect, but without having to worry about attaching for turn. So Crispin then allows us to get that double attachment on that Dracloak, and we're ready to rumble. Are we going to just attack? We are.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kangaskhan's down. We're taking 3 prize cards, but where is the rest of the damage going to be littered?
It's a really unique Pokemon to choose from here, because that Latias is down to 120, so 2 Phantom Dives could very easily knock it out, and it looks like it is going to be the 6 straight onto the Latias EX, but we could have gone down the 10 to the Pheasantipity once again, the 4 to the Raging Bolt EX, because that would have put it within range of another Phantom Dive as well. So there was a few different options, just committing to that Latias EX for the moment, as we now get the Lily's Clefairy EX in the active spot. Of course, with Skyliner, it doesn't matter anyway. We've got that in the active spot for the time being. Pheasantipity flipping the script, does have access to Crispin and also an energy switch here. Crispin, I think the Psychic Energy went back into deck, does have another Grass there, so it is live.
Got it. Going for the Lightning and the Psychic?
Yeah, this is pretty important here. One of the key things, though, if we leave that Lily's Clefairy EX in the active spot, a Dragapult EX can come up, swing away with Phantom Dive, knock out the Lily's Clefairy EX, and take a knockout on the Latias EX as well. So Christian's gone down the route of the Raging Bolt EX instead. 240 HP and a bit more bulkier, maybe could withstand a Phantom Dive.
Yeah, we've got to go with what's going to stick in there for the long game, because Kim's very good at taking multiple prize cards. Too good, in fact, at taking multiple prize cards. So we need to put every single barrier, every hoop to jump through. And, you know, we did telepath earlier that, of course, lots of boss's orders have already been used on Kim's side. So actually, it could get a bit sticky if Kim's just not able to draw into more of those. They do run 4, but we've used 3 of those 4 already.
Yep, here we go. So it's a massive knockout from the Raging Bolt. Bellowing Thunder to take the knockout here. Unfortunately, Latias EX is still on the board. If Kim can find a Dragapult EX, a Boss's Orders on the Teal Mask Ogerpon EX, that would be able to take 4 prizes with 3 just left to take. So can we do it here? We're just kind of maybe thinning out the deck, perhaps, before the Recon Directive. We're Dragapult EX and the Boss's Orders away from actually taking multiple prizes. I just want to double check. I am not missing anything else.
No, I don't think so. We are just hunting down those last puzzle pieces. We've got the Monkey Dory with the energy. We've got energy on our Dracloak. We have just those few little bits left to grab now. Here we go. There's a Pheasantipity. That's going to help out.
We're going to see so many cards, Amy. So, again, it doesn't have to even be on the Teal Mask Ogerpon EX. The Lily's Clefairy is still less than 200 damage. There's Flip the Script. There's an Ultra Ball, so that's one piece of the puzzle. And then just needs the Phantom Dive onto that Latias EX with 60 HP remaining. Can we get there?
It's going to be a long road, but we might be able to.
We're seeing 4 more cards at least.
Hopefully it's the one. We've got not a lot of cards left in deck, but only one of those is a Boss's Orders. And, you know, that's... I don't like the odds. I wouldn't get it.
Yeah,
not in a million years.
We've had to play 3 already,
3
right?
already, yep. So here we go. First Recon Directive.
Not
We've got
it.
Judge.
Judge will slow
Take
things
that as
down.
a just in case. It's not a bad one. All right, second recon directive, Alex.
He's not.
No.
He's missed it so far.
We've got a hammer and a watchtower.
The
We can
watchtower could be
good.
quite nice because we can bump the stadium. That removes the opportunity of something like the Chen Pao play to remove that Latias EX. Or do we? Nah, we can't really swing into this right now. I think we're just gonna have to slow the game down.
I think you've got to. Crushing hammer. It fails. No.
Maybe it's a, yeah, here we go. Monkey Dory also hitting the field. Now that we have a Terra Pokemon of our own, we are allowed to have 8 benched at the same time. Watchtower, we can now bump away one of those Pokemon, and Meowth goes. And now, do we just play the Judge, maybe maneuver into Badu at some stage as an option?
Attaching a Psychic Energy, we might mind bend, you know?
Yeah.
Confusion can be very disruptive. Opponent has to flip a coin to see whether they get to attack or not and do any damage, and then that 30 damage that would go on Raging Bolt if it fails could be effective later. So being able to utilize a possible Confusion plus Judge combo could be good, because if Christian doesn't get enough cards off this Judge plus draw for turn to attach more energy after a retreat to a different attacker, that could buy the time that Kim needs.
Yeah, so with Kim missing that boss's orders, I think he actually ended up finding it off the Judge. So next turn, he just needs to do it. Here comes the Mindbender. Confusion on the Raging Bolt. Just over 8 minutes remaining. Christian is currently 1 game up here in Swiss round 9. Kim looking for a way to get out of it.
We like that.
Showcasing all of them.
And I don't think the hand is great otherwise. I'm not going to lie to you. I think it's a not great situation.
I think, was there a Meowth in hand? So we can go into a last-ditch catch.
Okay.
Is that enough to maybe try and find some pieces? Right now, Chen Pao is still somewhere in the deck. So we do get the Meowth coming down. So we do get to use that ability, find ourselves a supporter. Maybe just thinking about going into Mega Kangaskhan as an option.
Yeah, maybe to be able to draw some cards and see if that can get us out of this situation.
Or maybe eyeing up his own sort of retreat lock with Sob as well. So there's a few avenues we can go down. I mean, your Wellspring Ogerpon then does get sort of mind-bended as well, which is a bit annoying, because you then can't sort of make the play where you're trying to take a double knockout with Wellspring. But maybe that's the direction you got to try and go down here. But is that enough?
Kangaskhan, Meowth, and Wellspring.
So Kangaskhan into the bench right now. It's got 1 more bench space available. So maybe it's not the Wellspring Ogerpon. It may be just going into a run errand to see some more cards. Feels like that's what Christian's a little bit short of right now with the double Area 0 Underdepths that he's already shown to Kim after picking up 3 from that Judges that Kim had played. So now the direction here, it's going to be a retreat into the Mega Kangaskhan EX. Here we go, run errands. We need to find Ultra Ball, Chen Pao. I don't think we found it. It was a boss's orders, Persimmon as well. Because we know Kim, as the eye in the sky, that Kim does have boss's orders. There it is. So Kim will take game 2 here in a Swiss
comeback plays are huge, which is why in game 1 we didn't see Kim give up.
Yep.
Kim knew that there was a potential of a 6-price turn. Oh my goodness gracious, golly.
4 energies for Kim there. But Christian's going to be kicking us off for this game 3 of Swiss round 9. Ultra Ball sort of immediately pitching away that second Latias EX and one of his 2 boss's orders as well. Just saying that I need to really apply a lot of pressure here. It's going to be that Mega Kangaskhan immediately coming down and just going straight into that run errand. If we can get an energy attachment, it's going to be ever so key, so we can start rapid fire combo as soon as possible. He knows times is of the essence right now.
Time is of the essence. 3 minutes and a bit on the clock.
There you go.
Don't have a lot. Energy went flying. There we go. The Power Pad Pokepad even, looking for our outs now, looking for Badu. We need to slow things down a bit. I don't think we're going to have time for this one to conclude. I'm going to be real with you, Alex. 3 minutes doesn't feel like enough when we've got multiple Pokemon on the field already. There was an opportunity that Kim could have not had anything else in their hand, couldn't get more basics out, but that isn't the case. Kim does have more basics, and those basics include Badu, who is rather an annoying little thing.
Yeah, especially when you're getting an Ultra Ball as well. So we're getting some Dreepies down. At the same time, we have Meowth as well, and also just another Dreepy in hand. So we're going to be Meowth using that last-ditch catch on his side, and then also grabbing that Lily's Determination. So almost a full bench, looking pretty happy with himself, just being able to then have that pivot option with that energy attachment as well, and a fresh 8 cards to work with.
Indeed. Let's see how far we can get into this game. If someone could take some prize cards and just pull ahead in this race. We go. We're going to get lots of cards, see if they're going to help us out, but I'm not sure. Of course, we've gone and got that Monkey Dory already with the retreat cost already. We've got, okay, we've got Stamp, we've got some hammers. That's pretty good.
Double Crashing Hammer. Feels good. Especially if you're going to Badu Itchy Pollen Lock as well at some point.
Whoa,
there's a head.
It's gone.
And there we go, straight into the Badu. We're going to then just work with what we have in hand as well.
Itchy Pollen.
10 damage, little tickle.
That's what it sounds like.
Okay, I'll believe you for that one.
You should. I've been itchy pollened a lot.
Serrano hits the field now. 1 minute 45 seconds to come. Teal Mask Ogerpon EX. Wellspring Ogerpon EX as well, and then maybe just one other, at least going to hand.
It's an Ogerpon party down there.
Yeah, we're just gonna get, I'm sure, a Teal Dance to work. See what we work with. And then also what else we can do. Yeah, I think both our players...
There's the handshake. We know that it's a tie. Neither player can pull out a win during the time that we have.